Imagine finally finding a mythic tier item that can change your miserable life, but being brutally murdered for it by the orders of your own father. Jaehyun spent his entire career as a disposable rank D meat shield because he chose the wrong combat class. The second he finally catches a lucky break and secures a god-tier artifact deep inside a dungeon, his supposed ally assassinates his team and leaves him bleeding out in the dirt. But death is not the end for him. A mysterious system activates at his final breath and sends him 11 years into the past with a second chance at life. Now armed with absolute knowledge of the future and a broken cheat skill, he is going to rewrite history and become the most terrifying mage the world has ever seen. Let us go back to the very beginning and see how a pathetic warrior transformed into a god of magic. So we're jumping straight into it. A lone raider is standing in front of a massive, fire-breathing dragon. I mean, this is the dream, right? The narrator starts explaining that raiders are the absolute elite, the ones who hunt down shadow creatures and loot long-lost treasures. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward kind of job. And of course, they look good while they're doing it. These guys are basically the celebrities of this world, hailed as heroes for keeping humanity safe. But then we cut back to reality, where our main guy, Jaehyun, is sitting in a room overflowing with trash, watching these exact heroes on his TV. Talk about a massive contrast. Jaehyun's eyes are glowing with this intense red light as he thinks about what it really means to be a raider. You'd think it would be inspiring. The screen goes dark with these ominous red scratches as the narrator asks if he knew, and you just know something is about to go wrong. The narration gets heavy, saying that a raider's heart beats the absolute fastest, and then a sudden, violent flash of white and orange light just tears right through the darkness, right before they're about to die. And we see Jaehyun standing in the middle of a literal inferno. This doesn't look like a hero shot at all, it looks like a funeral. The fire is closing in on his face, but he's not even running. He's just standing there, accepting it as the flames lick his skin. The orange glow reflects in his eyes as he stares straight into the heat. Talk about a grim way to kick off a story. But wait, what? We're suddenly in a cozy cafe. A woman walks past, completely clueless about the life and death struggle we just witnessed. This brown-haired guy is absolutely losing his mind, calling Jaehyun a crazy bastard. And just like that, I guess we're back in the present. Jaehyun is fuming, asking the guy if he's seriously suggesting he act as a meat shield. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too. The guy, Jung-woo-min, tries to play it cool. He just reminds Jaehyun that he was the one who said he needed money fast. What a low blow, man. Jaehyun looks totally defeated. He realized it was a little suspicious that he was even invited to a dungeon raid in the first place. We find out Woman is a job broker for independent raiders like Jaehyun. Basically, he's the guy who finds all the work that nobody else wants. Jaehyun remembers being excited to finally get a call for work. Poor guy had no idea it was a total trap. Everything changed once he heard what the actual request was. He's being asked to stand on the front lines against a horde of undead monsters with nothing but a shield. That is literally the definition of a meat shield. Jaehyun sighs, wondering why he's the only one struggling so hard. Even kids with lower ranks are somehow finding better jobs than him. Woman looks at him with this pitying expression, telling him he knows how it is, Hyung. Jaehyun snaps back, asking Woman if he's looking down on him because he's a martial arts nut, which is basically a slur for combat specialists. Woman doesn't even try to deny it. He just fixes his glasses and admits that, yeah, that's exactly the problem. The truth is, magicians are the ones owning the scene these days. Melee fighters are just yesterday's news. Warriors are slow, they get hurt way too often, and clients just don't want to hire them anymore. It's a brutal job market out there, and Jaehyun knows it. It's the bitter truth he has to swallow every single day of his life. While magicians are blasting monsters from a safe distance, the warriors are down in the mud getting absolutely shredded. It's not a fair fight at all. Jaehyun looks away, acknowledging that the glory days of warriors ended 10 years ago. There's just no place for them in the world now. He has this internal monologue where he's punching himself, wishing he had just picked magic when he had the chance. Time for a flashback. 11 years ago, Jaehyun was just a middle schooler taking his Awakener test. He actually scored high enough to get into Milei's Academy, which is the top school for training future raiders. And look at this chart. His magic aptitude was a staggering 97%. That's basically a god-tier stat. To put that in perspective, the current top magician, Seo Aina, only scored a 92. Jaehyun was literally a once-in-a-generation talent. On the flip side, his combat aptitude was a measly 34%. He was built for spells, not for swords. So what does he do? He picks up a sword anyway. Kid, what were you thinking? Looking back, Jaehyun admits he didn't have some noble reason for his choice. He was just a victim of the times. Back then, magicians were treated like absolute dirt. Their reputation was at an all-time low. They were called human buffing machines because they couldn't even take down low-rank mobs without a warrior to protect them. Oh, how the tables have turned. Now combat users are in the trash while magicians are treated like literal gods. Jaehyun stares out the window, wondering if his life would be better if he had just sucked it up and picked magic instead. A hand reaches out from the dark water of his thoughts. He knows a raider's growth stops at age 20. There's no resetting his stats now. Wooman keeps pressuring him, saying he only offered this opportunity to Jaehyun because he knows he's broke. Way to rub it in, man. Jaehyun clenches his fist on the table. He went from being a coveted talent to just another lowly D-rank warrior. His life has taken a massive turn for the worse, and he knows it better than anyone else. But he realizes he has no choice. In this world, if you want to eat, you can't be picky about the jobs you're given. Wooman brightens up instantly, relieved that Jaehyun is taking the bait. He tells him he's making the right choice. Hyung. Wooman says he'll text the location and tells Jaehyun not to be late for the 8 a.m. start. Jaehyun is left wondering why Wooman is going to be there personally. Jaehyun tries to play it cool, telling Wooman not to worry about him and to just focus on his own work. Wooman gives this suspicious little smirk and says he'll see him tomorrow. Something tells me he's definitely hiding something. The next day, we see the dungeon entrance. It's a massive, swirling blue portal tucked away in the middle of a forest. Jaehyun is geared up and ready to go, but he's already cursing Wooman's name. It's 8:52 a.m. and Wooman is nowhere to be found. Jaehyun is checking his phone, annoyed that he got stood up. He looks off into the distance, his sharp features in shadow. He's clearly used to being disappointed by now. He admits that Wooman is probably better off working with someone who actually has talent. The self-loathing is real with this one. We see other raiders in heavy armor. Jaehyun reflects on the massive gap between him, a D-rank warrior, and Wooman, who is an A-rank magician. He can't figure out why an A-rank would waste his time at a low-level agency when he could join any guild he wanted. His eye narrows as he gets lost in his own bitter thoughts, wondering what he would do if he were in Wooman's shoes. A dark, red-tinged silhouette appears in his mind, just radiating pure malice. The words "U.S. zealous bastard" float in red text. This guy's internal demons are really putting in overtime. Suddenly, a voice breaks his trance, calling out his name. He looks up, totally caught off guard. It's a big, friendly-looking guy in silver armor waving at him, yelling about how they meet again. It's Myung-ho, an older warrior. He laughs about how there's no work these days, even though these jobs are dangerous as hell. Jaehyun forces a small smile, agreeing that it's the only place left for warrior-class raiders like them. Myung-ho goes on a rant about how kids these days have no love for the sword and just want to throw fireballs from the back. Jaehyun's internal monologue is much colder. He thinks, "Love my ass, I'm about to starve to death." Myung-ho pats him on the shoulder, suggesting they grab some soju after the raid. He's really trying to keep their spirits up. Jaehyun looks down, finally giving in and agreeing that sounds good. But then Myung-ho makes a face, saying he's short on cash. Jaehyun tells him no can do, since he paid last time too. Jaehyun just stares at him with this deadpan expression. He knows exactly where this is going. Myung-ho tries to act tough, looking away with a guilty sweat drop on his face. And then he immediately folds, screaming that, alright, he'll pay for it again this final time. Myung-ho is such a pushover. He's grumbling to himself as Jaehyun watches him with this small, knowing smirk. Jaehyun laughs to himself, thinking about how easy Myung-ho is to manipulate. He's definitely not the pure-hearted hero type. Suddenly, someone yells for everyone to gather at the dungeon entrance. It's time to get to work. A guy in a suit and shades, the raid leader, announces they'll be entering in 30 minutes. The raiders start getting ready, the air getting heavy as they check their gear. Myung-ho and Jaehyun exchange a look and a heavy sigh. Time to get ready, I guess. They walk off together. Despite the bickering, they're still comrades in this death trap. Jaehyun takes one last look at his phone. He looks unusually solemn here. The narration returns, explaining that there are two things every raider has to worry about when entering a dungeon. The first is the possibility of coming across an unexpected fortune. We see Jaehyun standing near the portal, looking small against the trees. We get a flashback of other raiders finding a giant treasure chest. The gold can really cloud a person's judgment. The danger is that they put their guards down because they're too busy counting their imaginary riches. And that's when the dungeon tests them. That fortune can turn into a literal nightmare in a split second. Back in the present, Myung-ho yells at Jaehyun, asking him what he's doing. He asks if he's looking at his phone again, peering over his shoulder. He starts teasing him, asking if he's staring at a picture of his girlfriend or something. Classic. Jaehyun quickly shuts the screen off. He says it's nothing, but his face tells a completely different story. For a brief moment, we see the real Jaehyun sad and vulnerable. He was looking at a picture of him and his mother. He tells her he'll be back safely, and that's his real motivation. He stands before the giant blue vortex. It's a beautiful, terrifying gateway to another world. Inside, the dungeon is a massive, green-tinted cathedral. It's eerie and atmospheric as hell. Suddenly, a horde of monsters rushes out. Someone screams for the tanks to raise their shields. It's pure chaos. The leader is screaming at the top of his lungs for them to keep the line straight. He gets right in Jaehyun's face, telling them to maintain their position even if it kills them. He's a real piece of work. Jaehyun looks absolutely miserable. He thinks to himself, damn it, what a shitty-ass job. I feel for the guy. In the back, the magicians are calmly chanting their spells. They look like they're at a choir practice while the warriors are dying. And then, a massive wave of fire erupts from the magicians' line. The flames incinerate everything in their path. The power difference is absolutely insane. A giant skull of fire forms in the center of the blast. That's some high-level magic right there. As the smoke clears, the warriors are just standing there, looking like they were barely even needed. Jaehyun watches the flames, his orange eyes reflecting the destruction. He identifies them as the Meteor Guild, a rising star group made entirely of magicians. He looks away, thinking that if they're this powerful, he probably doesn't even have to worry about dying today. It's a bit of a relief, but also a stinging reminder of how useless he's become. The group takes a break in a hallway. The scale of the place is massive, with ruined columns and an eerie green light. Myung-ho chugs some water, letting out a long sigh of relief. He asks if the boss room is all that's left. They're almost at the end of this run. Myung-ho complains about getting old, wishing he had spent more time leveling up when he was a kid. Relatable content right there. Jaehyun teases him, saying he's still plenty lively and has a higher level than him anyway. Myung-ho changes the subject, asking if Jaehyun got any good drops from the monsters killed. Jaehyun says he's not sure and pulls up his holographic status screen to check. He taps the floating blue screen, looking for anything valuable. Suddenly, his eyes go wide. He lets out a confused sound because something's wrong. The screen starts glitching out with static and distorted colors. He wonders what this is. A strange, glitched box appears in front of him. This definitely wasn't part of the regular user interface. Jaehyun suddenly grabs his head in pain. He lets out a groan, like a massive migraine hitting him all at once. He's sweating, breathing hard. Whatever just happened, it was intense. A notification chime sounds, and he looks at a new prompt, the AESIR system. The message says the system has gone down, and the connection with the user will be cut. This is unheard of. Jaehyun is stunned. The system has gone down? That's literally never happened to anyone before. He stares at the words, his mind racing. If the system is down, what happens to his powers? Another box pops up, saying the reboot failed for unknown reasons. Great, just what he needed. He's totally confused, wondering what it's talking about. Suddenly, strange, green, glowing orbs start floating around the room. Jaehyun looks up, his eyes wide with shock. No one else seems to be reacting to them at all. He's frozen, just staring at the lights as they drift past him. A high-priority warning flashes. An unknown presence is in Ethel. He's infiltrating the AESR system. This is getting crazy. The word failed flashes. The text broken and distorted. It looks like the system is losing the battle. Jaehyun is reeling. An unknown presence? He remembers hearing a voice in his head just now. He mumbles to himself, wondering if it told him to follow the light. Myung-ho looks over, confused by Jaehyun's weird behavior, and asks him what he's talking about. Jaehyun tries to explain, saying he thought he heard someone telling him to follow the light. Close up on Jaehyun's eye. He's completely focused on something the others can't see. The entire hallway is filled with these glowing green orbs. It looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. The orbs float past the other raiders, who don't even blink. Jaehyun is the only one seeing this. He lets out a shocked gasp, completely mesmerized by the spectacle. He stares at a particularly bright orb and wonders if this is the light it wanted him to follow. Myung-ho asks if he's sick, genuinely concerned about his partner's sanity at this point. Jaehyun snaps out of it, saying he's okay, but his mind is screaming, did no one else see that? He looks around, but everyone else is just resting or checking their weapons. He's definitely alone in this. The lights start drifting toward a dark, unexplored tunnel at the back of the room. Jaehyun's face hardens. He's always been the cautious type, but this is way too weird to ignore. He decides he should check it out. This could be his big break, or his literal end. Jaehyun stands up and starts walking away. Myung-ho yells after him, but Jaehyun just says he'll be right back. He walks into the darkness, his silhouette framed by the green light. He's stepping into the unknown. He thinks to himself, what in the world is going on? That's the question we're all asking. Chapter 1 ends right here. Stay tuned for more. Jaehyun follows the glowing orbs deeper into the tunnel. It looks like he's walking right into the belly of some ancient beast. He finds a weirdly glowing patch on the wall and touches it. Bad idea? Maybe, but he's already too far gone to turn back now. The system immediately freaks out, reminding him that the Acer system is currently down. Great, just when things were getting interesting, the UI decides to quit on him. Jaehyun is tapping the empty air, looking completely done with this. He mumbles that it really isn't working, probably wondering why his life is one big technical error. He points at the glitched out floating screens. It looks like a corrupted save file from a PS2 game. New notifications pop up saying a function is partially damaged. It's attempting a reboot in safety mode, which is usually the last thing you want to see in a dungeon. Jae-hyun is absolutely fuming. He yells, "Damn, what in the world is going on?" venting his frustration at the cave walls. He thinks back on his life as an awakened since age 10. 17 years, and this system has never crashed once. This is beyond abnormal. He suspects that mysterious voice he heard is the real reason the system is failing. His sharp orange eyes are darting around, looking for any sign of another presence. The system failure looks like a digital nightmare. The text is melting and flickering, showing just how deep the unknown presence has infiltrated. Regardless of the glitches, Jae-hyun keeps moving. He's following the largest glowing orb into a blinding light at the end of the passage. He's convinced that whatever sent that message wanted him to follow these lights for a reason. Let's hope it's a good one and not just a flashy way to die. Jae-hyun realizes the Acer system is undergoing a massive change. As he steps out of the tunnel, the green light starts to fade into something much bigger. The narrator gives us some lore. The Acer system is named after the Norse gods like Odin and Thor. Heavy stuff for a video game mechanic. It was basically humanity's last hope after we got pushed to the edge of extinction. Talk about high stakes. Flashback time. 20 years ago, things were normal. Just a cruise ship sailing on a calm blue ocean. Then came 2011, the year of calamity. The waves turned violent, and everything went to hell. Right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a giant tree started growing to a height that shouldn't even be possible. This thing covered the entire sky in just 9 days. It's like nature decided to take the world back by force. People were split. Half thought it was the end of the world, while the other half called it a tree of blessing. People will argue about anything, even giant magic trees. We get a shot of a massive cathedral-like hall. The real name of this world-altering plant? Yggdrasil. The world tree from mythology just decided to show up in the modern world. No big deal. But on the 9th day, once the tree was fully grown, the blessing part turned out to be a total lie. Monsters started flooding out from everywhere. A massive, terrifying dragon dominates the sky as cities burn below. This is where the real tragedy began. Werewolves and other nightmares slaughtered half of mankind. The survivors didn't have it much better, with famine and plague taking another half of those left. This wolf monster looks absolutely feral, howling amidst the ruins of a city. This is the stuff of nightmares. Everyone was drowning in despair, just waiting for the lights to go out for good. But then, a silhouette appears in a burning doorway. This is the hero shot we've been waiting for. We see his boots stepping forward onto the scorched earth. Someone's actually brave enough to fight back. The wolves are growling, thinking they've got another easy meal. They couldn't be more wrong. A blonde guy with a glowing aura appears, looking like a literal god. This was the birth of hope for mankind. The monsters charge in, thinking they can take him down by sheer numbers. Bad move. He blasts them away with a massive wave of energy, not even breaking a sweat. Look at this guy's smirk. He's just pointing a finger and deleting monsters from existence. This is the first awakened. He's shredding through the wolf pack like they're made of paper. The power scale here is just off the charts. He was the first human to wield the authority of the gods. He looks like a total boss, standing calm while magic swirls around him. Among these new heroes were the raiders, specialized hunters who dedicated their lives to clearing out dungeons and monsters. Back to Jae-hyun. He knows the Acer system is the strongest weapon humanity has. He's worried though. If something as massive as the Acer system is failing, there's no way it's going to be a positive change. He's exploring a dark area lit by eerie green torches. It's got a real boss room ahead vibe. Jae-hyun stops, his boots crunching on the dirt. He sees something massive up ahead. He wonders if this is a giant door. It's a massive stone entrance covered in intricate carvings and sun symbols. Jae-hyun is completely floored, letting out a gasp. He looks like he just found a winning lottery ticket. He starts smiling, and it's a bit creepy, honestly. He's already thinking about the payday. It's a treasure gate. These things are basically the holy grail for raiders. Check out those wolf statues guarding the entrance. The narrator explains that these are hidden rooms that almost never appear, even in high-tier dungeons. Inside, you find piles of gold, ancient weapons, and chests filled with loot. This is every raider's wet dream. They normally contain special items or rare ingredients that you can't get anywhere else. Jae-hyun starts pushing the massive stone doors open. He's thinking about how these items sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars at minimum. His orange eye glows with greed as he wonders what he'll do if something A-class or higher appears in here. He thinks he can quit this shitty life right away. He's desperate for a way out of the meat shield business. He's actually praying to any god listening that it's an A-class gear or higher. The man is sweating from the anticipation. As the doors open, a blinding white light floods out. It's like opening the fridge at 3 a.m. He enters a giant room with pillars that seem to go on forever into a starry sky. This isn't just a room, it's another dimension. He walks up a long, white walkway toward a glowing altar. This looks way too fancy for a D-rank raider. He's in awe, realizing that the urban legends on TV were actually true. This place is magical as hell. The item is sitting on a pedestal, emitting a soft pink and white glow. It's a golden chalice or some kind of relic. Jaehyun is certain, no matter how you look at it, that should be the item. He looks so hopeful, it's almost sad. He walks up the final few steps, his gaze locked on the prize. He's one touch away from potentially changing his life forever. He reaches out with a gloved hand, his fingers just inches from the glowing treasure. Here we go. The light flares up as he touches it. The system pings, saying partial recovery has finally succeeded. Talk about perfect timing. A new screen shows he's acquired a piece of equipment and asks if he wants to appraise it. The suspense is killing me. Jaehyun is grinning now, looking totally smug. He thinks things are progressing in a proper way. The narrator notes that the system was reinstated at the perfect time. It's almost like it was planned. Wait, look at this. It's Odin's lost eye, and the rating is Mythic? That's like the highest tier possible. Jaehyun is feeling like the luckiest man alive, thinking about how good things come in waves. The description says it's the eye given up by Odin, the king of the gods. Jaehyun can't even process what he's seeing. He's staring at the floating blue status window, his mouth probably hanging open under that hair. But wait, there's more. He also got an EX rank active skill called Universal Derivation. This is just broken at this point. The skill lets him understand and literally destroy magic formulas. That's a total game changer for someone who is just a martial arts nut. It even allows him to use powerful magic without incanting and copy other people's skills using blank cards. He's basically a cheat code now. He knows that items like this sell for tens of millions of dollars. He's not just rich, he's set for several lifetimes. Magic items are even more valuable. He could basically name his price and the big guilds would pay it without blinking. He's laughing like a maniac now, thinking about how this is a mythic rank item, and the only one in the world at that. He's holding a piece of history and a fortune in his hands. He dreams of finally being free. No more being a meat shield, no more being looked down on, and definitely no more being broke. He thinks this shitty raider life is over. He looks like he's ready to do a victory lap. He looks at the eye, wondering if he should at least try it on once before selling it. Don't do it, man! He figures he might never see a mythic item again, so why not give it a test drive? A massive warning pops up. Odin's Lost EYE becomes bound once equipped. Jaehyun panics instantly, screaming to cancel the command. He's huffing and puffing on the floor, totally rattled. He lets out a breath of relief, thinking he almost wasted the mythic ranked item. Close call, buddy. He decides there's absolutely no reason to equip it. Selling it on the black market for millions is the smart move. He reasons that since he's past the age limit of 20, his level won't increase anymore anyway. A mythic item would just be a waste on him. He figures it wouldn't even be that effective for a lowly D rank like him. He's still got a lot of self-doubt to work through. He reflects on the system failure as an unexpected complication and a weird anomaly. However, he thinks he's used to these types of shitty complications. Poor guy's had it rough for a long time. He notes that in a world with dungeons, sudden weird situations are actually pretty common for raiders. And these situations usually fall into two categories: fortune or tragedy. He looks out at the beautiful treasure room, but something feels off. Back with the main group, Myung-ho is looking around for Jaehyun, thinking he should be back by now. He lets out a happy shout as he spots him walking back from the darkness. The raid leader looks annoyed as hell, shouting Jaehyun's name. He tells Jaehyun to hurry it up because they're departing for the main raid soon. Jaehyun plays it humble, apologizing for being late. The leader gives him a stern warning about acting independently in the future. They walk together, the leader still looking like he wants to give him a lecture. Myung-ho looks at Jaehyun with a weird expression. He can tell something is different about him. Myung-ho slaps a hand on Jaehyun's shoulder, telling him not to be so down about the leader's scolding. Jaehyun flashes a bright, genuine smile. He says he's alright. He's clearly in a good mood after finding that treasure. Jaehyun even offers to pay for the drinks tonight, which has Myung-ho completely baffled. He says he can't always be the one mooching off him. Myung-ho watches him walk off with the rest of the group, looking like he just saw a ghost. He wonders if Jaehyun finally matured at age 27. Myung-ho is genuinely surprised by the change in attitude. But as soon as Jaehyun is out of Myung-ho's line of sight, his face turns dark and serious. He lets out a breath of relief, thinking he's gotten away with it for now. He knows he has to keep that mythic item a secret at all costs. He knows a dungeon is a lawless place. If anyone found out about his haul, they'd kill him for it in a heartbeat. He thinks that spreading the knowledge that he obtained a good item here is just asking to be killed. He's being smart about this. He decides it's not too late to wait until after the raid to sell it. Patience is a virtue, especially when millions are on the line. Right now, the most important thing is to avoid gathering any suspicion. He rejoins the ranks, trying to blend in. Look at that intense orange eye. He's hyper-focused on keeping his poker face. The leader announces that since the front line has gathered, they are restarting the raid. Suddenly, massive red cracks start tearing through the ground with a loud snapping sound. A huge explosion rocks the area right in front of the leader. This is definitely not part of the plan. Jae-hyun looks back, his eyes wide with shock. Debris is flying everywhere. Raiders are screaming in terror as more explosions rip through the hallway. One guy is being sent flying. Someone screams, wondering what that was, as a huge piece of metal or stone flies through the air. Jae-hyun is looking around, totally confused, wondering what's going on. This doesn't look like a monster attack. Suddenly, a thick purple smoke starts filling the room. It's got a real toxic vibe. Raiders are falling left and right, clutching their throats. This is a nightmare. A female raider is coughing up blood, gasping and asking what this is. It's brutal to watch. Jae-hyun covers his mouth, realizing this is poison mist. He's quick to realize the danger. He knows if he breathes this in for too long, he's dead. He thinks he's got to get out of here. Myung-ho runs up to him, looking panicked and calling his name. He tells Jae-hyun they have to get out of there quickly, saying he thinks the mist is dangerous. No kidding, Myung-ho. Jae-hyun narrows his eyes, his gloved hand still over his face. He's trying to think clearly amidst the chaos. Jae-hyun screams for everyone to get out, but it's already too late. Suddenly, a bloody blade pierces through a raider's chest. Blood splatters everywhere. Someone is actually murdering them in the smoke. Close up on Jae-hyun's terrified eyes. He just realized this isn't an accident, it's an execution. No, Myung-ho. A spear is driven right through his chest. He's looking down in total disbelief, letting out a shocked gasp. Jae-hyun screams his name, but Myung-ho is already collapsing, blood pouring from his mouth. This is devastating. More raiders are being cut down in the purple gloom. It's a total massacre. Jae-hyun is paralyzed for a second, hand over his mouth. He's watching his only friend in this world die right in front of him. He looks up, his face twisted in horror. The reality of the situation is finally setting in. The words "I have to run" appear in a jagged red font on a black screen, splattered with blood. Jae-hyun sprints for his life, his heart pounding. He's panting and practically hyperventilating. More explosions rock the hallway as he runs. The sound is deafening. He slides down a dark slope, trying to put as much distance as possible between himself and the killers. The poison mist is spreading everywhere, making it impossible to see. It's a literal death trap. Jae-hyun is crouching behind some rubble, huffing for breath. His eyes are darting everywhere. He can't get the image of the people who were murdered out of his head, especially Myung-ho. He's sweating bullets, thinking about the killers. This wasn't the work of a monster. He thinks these are definitely the actions of dungeon contract killers. He's realized this is a professional hit. He figures their objective might be to wipe out the Meteor Guild. He realizes heading for the entrance is a suicide mission because they'll have guards waiting there. He's panicking, clutching his head and yelling "damn it" in his thoughts, wondering why this happened. He tells himself to calm down. He says to drop it, now isn't the time to worry about that. He's trying to regain control. He looks at the mythic item in his hand, thinking he just obtained it and wondering if he'll just die like this. He's getting his resolve back. He hears a noise in the dark. Someone is coming. A dark silhouette appears in the mist behind him. This can't be good. Suddenly, a massive blast of golden and orange energy erupts. It looks like a giant magical spear. The attack is huge, swirling with flames and lightning. Whoever threw this is not messing around. Jae-hyun is caught in the blast. He lets out a pained grunt as he's blown backward by the sheer force of the explosion. He looks up through the dust and smoke, coughing. A figure is walking toward him through the carnage. The figure is wearing a gray hoodie. He tells him he knew he would survive. Hyung, that voice, it's familiar. Jae-hyun's eyes widen in recognition. He whispers the name, Jung Wooman. Wooman lowers his hood, revealing a dark, twisted smirk. He looks completely different from the guy in the cafe. He tells him he told him, right? Close up on his creepy, smiling face. He's clearly enjoying this. Wooman is surrounded by crackling yellow lightning magic. He tells him that he'd be visiting him today. Wooman steps out of the shadows, lightning crackling around him like he owns the place. He asks if he didn't tell him. Yeah, real cool buddy. He gets right in the camera's face with that creepy, hoodie-wearing villain look. He's been waiting for this reunion all day. Jae-hyun's just standing there, sweating. He can't believe the guy he was just grabbing coffee with is behind all this. He finally finds his voice and asks if this whole mess is Wooman's doing. I think you already know the answer to that one. Wooman doesn't even flinch. He just lists off his crimes like he's checking off a grocery list. Poison fog, attacking the Meteor Guild, no biggie. Then he gives that nasty little smirk and says, yes, that's right, totally unbothered. Close up on Jae-hyun's eyes. They're practically glowing with shock. His whole world just got flipped upside down. He's trying so hard to keep it together, telling himself to stay calm. Then he asks the big question, why? Wooman just shrugs it off like he's talking about the weather. Apparently, it was just a request from a client, cold-blooded. He leans in, explaining that a lot of people just straight up hate the Meteor Guild. Guess they weren't too popular in the first place. Jae-hyun looks like he's trying to process this. Wooman says they were too arrogant, looking down on everyone else. Still not an excuse for murder, man. The story dives into these dungeon assassins, basically people who use secret dungeons as their private execution grounds. Terrifying stuff. We see glimpses of the carnage inside, people dying while the world outside has no idea what's happening. A shot of a victim in a pool of blood. This wasn't some random monster attack, it was a targeted hit in a blind spot. Jaehyun's inner monologue just screams shit as he sees more masked killers in the distance. He's in deep trouble. Wooman is radiating blue magic power now. Jaehyun realizes the power gap is way too wide. Taking him on is suicide. Wooman adjusts his glasses with that smug look. He's an A-rank magician, part of the top 2% of the whole country. Elite tier. And here's Jaehyun, just a D rank. Average, unskilled, and currently looking like a snack for Wooman's magic. Jaehyun's looking down, realizing he's not even their main target. If he just keeps his mouth shut, maybe he lives? He's sweating bullets because the system is still down. There's literally no way out of here safely. Memory panels flash by of warriors fighting for their lives. It's a brutal reminder of the world he lives in. He thinks of Myung-ho, that friendly warrior from before. It's got a sting knowing he couldn't save his comrade. He looks at Wooman standing there like an unstoppable god. Realistically, there's absolutely nothing a D rank can do. The narrator starts talking about when Yggdrasil first sprouted, setting the stage for something big. Wooman says he'll pretend nothing happened today, like he's doing him a favor. The world's just brutal to the weak. He starts charging up some serious energy, asking Jaehyun if he knew. This can't be good. A massive lightning bolt tears across the screen. Total destruction. Jaehyun is caught in the blast, bloodied and broken. He barely looks like the same person. He realizes that if he'd been even a fraction of a second slower, it would have been lights out. Big red text on a black screen says he would have died for sure. The stakes are literal death right now. Wooman's still smirking. He tells Jaehyun that the Meteor Guild wasn't the only target today. He points a finger like a gun, sparks flying everywhere. He's enjoying this way too much. A giant pillar of yellow lightning slams down. This guy is a literal human Tesla coil. Jaehyun is diving out of the way, just barely dodging the lightning strikes. He's fighting for every second. He looks absolutely ragged. He just yells shit in his head. I'm with you there, buddy. Wooman's already charging up the next one. Jaehyun's desperate, trying to figure out why he's being hunted like this. He takes another hit and can't wrap his head around it. He's just a D rank. Why go through all this trouble for him? Wooman is standing there casually while the air around him crackles. He looks bored, which is even scarier. Another magical circle forms. Jaehyun wonders if he accidentally pissed off the wrong person in his past life. He thinks, is there someone who wishes for my death? The background is all red and glitchy. Jaehyun is bleeding from his head, but he forces himself to think. He's got to find a connection. We see his eye through a mask of blood. He's searching his memories for any clue. He yells in his head, wondering who would do this. The text is jagged and full of rage. He's digging deep into his trauma. His vision is swimming with red glitches. He's on the edge of a breakthrough or a breakdown. A memory of a silhouette calls him a useless bastard. Ouch, that's some core memory level abuse. The voice says it doesn't know how a brat like him was conceived. That's the voice of his father. What a total piece of work. The realization hits Jaehyun like a truck. He finally puts the pieces together. He looks up, the horror clear on his face. He's finally seeing the man in the hoodie for who he really represents. Wooman is just standing there with a blank expression. Jaehyun asks the ultimate question, was it my father? We get an overhead shot of the two of them standing on the cracked, barren ground. It's a real standoff. Wooman's hand goes to his mouth. Is he? Laughing? Yeah, he's totally losing it. He turns away, his whole body shaking with laughter. He finds this situation absolutely hilarious. He lets out a burst of laughter. He's really enjoying the look on Jaehyun's face. This guy is a total psycho. He's howling now, clutching his sides. Jaehyun just stands there, watching the mask slip. Wooman wipes away a tear, still grinning. He calls Jaehyun smart, in that condescending way villains always do. He says that's why he likes him, while lightning literally arcs around his body. Super comforting, Wooman. Jaehyun looks down, his face in shadow. Wooman repeats that he likes him. The obsession is creepy. A faded memory of Jaehyun with his mom. This is what he's fighting to protect, or avenge. Jaehyun looks up with a cold, dead stare. He wants to ask him one thing. He's done being the victim. A haunting image of a body under a sheet in a morgue. Things just got incredibly heavy. Flashback to 5 years ago, winter. A young Jaehyun is sobbing his heart out. He asks if his father commissioned a hit back then too. He's connecting the death of his mom to his own father. Wooman's eyes light up behind his glasses. He's impressed that Jaehyun guessed right. He's a monster. He calls Jaehyun amazing while laughing. He doesn't care about the lives he's ruined. It's all just a game. Jaehyun smirks back through the blood. He's officially snapped. No more D-rank fear here. Wooman starts walking away, rambling about how he doesn't understand. A father killing his wife, and then his son. Lightning starts to gather around him again. This guy's a poet of destruction. A massive lightning strike hammers down right where Jaehyun is standing. Total whiteout. Woman holds out a hand, smiling warmly like he's not about to finish a murder. He asks Jaehyun if it isn't baffling. He's ready to end it. He says, well, that's what happened. Goodbye, Hyung. Cold as ice. Jaehyun is looking down, his hair covering his eyes. He looks defeated, but wait for it. We see just the corner of his mouth. He's smirking. Oh, woman messed up big time. A red eye glows through a glitched out blue system screen. Something's happening. The mythic item Odin's lost eye is activating. The air is literally crackling with power. Woman hears something weird and stops. He's looking back, starting to look a little unsure. Suddenly, the whole cave is flooded with blinding yellow light. Woman is covering his eyes. Close up on Woman, his glasses are reflecting the light, and he's finally looking worried. Jaehyun is standing in a massive pillar of golden energy. He looks like he's being reborn. Woman's jaw is on the floor. He wonders what this magic is. He knows he's outclassed now. The ground is literally shattering under Jaehyun's feet. The pressure is insane. Jaehyun is just standing there, calm as can be, as the mana swirls around him like a storm. Woman is sweating bullets. The mana is just getting stronger and stronger. He knows he's in trouble. Jaehyun's looking like a total boss now. Woman realizes he needs to end this right now before it's too late. He prepares his final attack. He says their play ends here and asks him to please die this time. He's desperate. A massive, spiraling bolt of lightning is fired straight at Jaehyun. It looks like it'll level the whole floor. Jaehyun doesn't even move. He's just watching it come like it's nothing. The bolt is inches away from his face. This is it. Close up on a bright, glowing golden eye. The lost eye is fully online. The lightning hits, but it just stops, like it's being sucked into a void. Woman's face says it all. Total, utter shock. He can't believe his strongest move just failed. Jaehyun looks up, one eye glowing like a sun. He looks absolutely terrifying. System message, Odin's lost eye has been equipped. It's official. He's the owner now. Jaehyun wipes blood from his mouth, looking at the glowing eye. He knows he can't sell it anymore. Sorry, bank account. A new system message, there is a blank card that can be used. Oh, it's about to get even better. Woman is screaming his head off, yelling that it's impossible. Yeah, tell that to the golden eye, buddy. He realizes his magic has been completely dispersed. He's totally defenseless. Jaehyun steps forward, calling out his name. He sounds like the Grim Reaper coming for his soul. The system message confirms, blank card used, skill activated. Jaehyun's eyes are glowing with pure hatred. He says he'll kill him as painfully as possible. I believe him. The system message pings, copying the active skill Lightning Chain. He's using Woman's own move against him. A massive storm of yellow lightning erupts from Jaehyun's hands. Karma is a you-know-what. Woman is getting absolutely fried by his own magic. He looks like a cartoon character getting shocked. He's shaking and gasping, asking how a D rank can use such high-level magic. Life's unfair, isn't it? Jaehyun's just standing there, surrounded by the storm. He looks like a god of thunder. Woman's desperate now, trying to bluff. He asks if Jaehyun thinks he can win with just one spell. Spoilers. Yes. Jaehyun charges forward with a massive energy blade. He doesn't know, but says they'll find out. Boss move. A massive explosion of yellow energy fills the entire screen. The sound must have been deafening. Woman is sent flying back, coughing up blood. The tables have officially turned. Another huge burst of energy. Jaehyun isn't letting up for even a second. An impact shot shows Woman's getting hammered into the ground. Jaehyun is standing calmly while the dust settles. He looks completely untouched. Woman is on his knees, gasping for air. He looks like he's seen a ghost. He tries to charge up one last desperation attack, but you can see he's running on empty. From above, we see the magical dome they're fighting in. It's a literal arena of death. System message. Active skill Universal Derivations has been activated. It's time for the finisher. Jaehyun fires a massive golden energy projectile. It's glowing with an insane amount of mana. It tears right through Woman's pathetic shield like a hot knife through butter. Woman's screaming in terror. He knows it's game over. Jaehyun creates a massive magical vortex, pulling Woman right into the center of the blast. Close up on Jaehyun's eye. He looks completely cold, focused, and ready to end this. Woman is caught in a field of blue and yellow energy. He can only let out a soft sound of defeat. A golden spear of light is heading right for his heart. He realizes he can't dodge it. Yeah, no kidding. Massive explosion. The whole area is lit up with fire and energy. Smoke and fire are everywhere. It's like a small bomb went off in that hallway. Jaehyun walks out of the haze, looking like he just stepped out of a war zone. Woman is on the ground, his glasses shattered and his body broken. He's barely clinging to life. He's coughing up blood, looking up at Jaehyun. The tables have completely turned. He starts begging Jaehyun not to kill him. Too late for that, man. Jae-hyun's eyes are glowing with a terrifying light. He doesn't look like he has an ounce of mercy left. A shot of woman's broken glasses and a pool of blood. That's a wrap for him. Jae-hyun collapses to the floor, exhausted. He wonders if everything is over. He's barely keeping his eyes open. A wide shot of the two of them on the ground. The hallway is completely silent now. Close up on Jae-hyun. He's bleeding from his mouth and looks pale as a ghost. He realizes he has no mana or stamina left. He pushed himself way past his limits. He looks at his bloodied hands. He finally got a mythic item, and now he's about to die anyway. Talk about irony. A black screen with white text shows him realizing why his luck felt so weird today. It was all a setup. He's lying flat on his back, thinking about all the times he faced death as a raider. Now that it's actually here, he's just floating in the darkness. It's peaceful, in a grim way. His vision is fading. He whispers that it's so cold. The life is literally draining out of him. Blackness is closing in. He repeats that it's so cold. This is a heartbreaking way to go. Suddenly, a system message pops up in the dark. It says a new operating system has been downloaded and asks if he'd like to run it. Wait, what? Jae-hyun sees the screen through his blurry vision. He's confused as hell. The message explains that running this will regress time to the period he most desires. A second chance. Jae-hyun's eyes widen. He wonders if regression will save him. He's found a ray of hope. He thinks that another variable has come to him. He's ready to take the gamble. He doesn't know what's at the end of the road, but he says all right. He smiles through the blood and agrees to run it. He's choosing a new path. Close up on his bloody, determined smile. He's not going down without a fight. The Nornir system has been run. The whole screen is glitching out with power. A beautiful, radiant goddess appears in a blast of light. It's like a vision of heaven. A red-haired goddess with a blindfold appears. A blonde goddess, also blindfolded, looking very celestial. A white-haired goddess follows. These are the Nornir, the weavers of fate. The blonde goddess reaches out her hand, offering him a fresh start. Jae-hyun reaches back and takes her hand. Fate is being rewritten as we speak. New system messages pop up. He's now an adversary of the gods and got 2 legendary passive skills. Talk about a level up. The message says the gods against the Aesir are watching him. No pressure, right? Jae-hyun bolts upright in bed, gasping for air. He looks completely shell-shocked. He's looking around his room, and wait, he looks way younger, like high school young. He's completely bewildered. He was just dying in a dungeon, and now he's back home? He looks at his desk, his eyes wide, wondering what's going on. He spots a photo of himself and his mom. He's totally lost. He stares at his hands. No scars, no blood. They look perfectly normal. He holds his hands up to the morning sun. It feels so real. Small sparks of magic start dancing between his fingers. It's actually happening. The system confirms it. Time has successfully reverted to his most desired period. Close up on his bright, vibrant orange eyes. He's back in the game. He wonders if he's dreaming or something. He's still trying to believe it's real. He thinks back on the tragedy he lived through. The morgue, the blood, the death. It was so real. A shadowy image of his older self appears. He really did come back from the brink. He still tries to convince himself that no, this is just a dream. Young Jae-hyun looks absolutely heartbroken. The photo of him and his mom again. This is his most desired period for a reason. He looks up and his mom is standing right there in the doorway. She's alive. He thinks this is a long dream. This is what he's been waiting for. She smiles at him with so much warmth. It's enough to make a grown man cry. Jae-hyun's eyes well up with tears. He can't hold it in anymore. He sprints across the room and gives her the biggest hug of his life. He's sobbing into her shoulder, finally letting out years of pain and regret. A dream that he never wishes to wake up from. This is his new beginning. What a way to end the chapter. Don't forget to like and subscribe for part 2. Confirmed. The system pings with the exact date, November 15th, 2020. Jae-hyun has officially pulled off the ultimate reset, landing right in the middle of his most desired period. Jae-hyun suddenly clutches his chest as a sharp pain shoots through him. He lets out a pained grunt because, guess what? Time travel doesn't come without a few side effects. The notifications keep rolling in, letting him know that non-combat limitations are gone and his body has managed to recover to 20%. He's panting hard, trying to process the fact that he isn't currently a pile of ash in a dungeon. It's a lot to take in at once. He stares at his hands, still unable to believe it. He asks himself if he's dreaming right now. Honestly, buddy, I'd be asking the same thing. He looks around and realizes he's back in his old childhood bedroom. To top it off, the system just auto-generated a quest called Rest is the Mother of Success. Talk about a cozy tutorial. The subquest details pop up. He just needs to recover his health to 80% to get a blank card reward. He wonders if it's a quest. Yeah, looks like the grinding starts early. Jae-hyun stares at the floating blue screen with a dead serious expression. He's already shifting into gamer mode. He lets out a massive sigh of relief. The weight of a literal lifetime just dropped off his shoulders. He thinks to himself that he'll start from the beginning. Now, we're getting to the good stuff. He flashes back to the end of his original life, lying bloody and broken in the dirt. It's a grim reminder of what happens if he fails again. Close up on his dying face from the previous timeline, he knows exactly why he managed to survive that nightmare. It was all thanks to that new operating system he ran at the very last second. Regression is a hell of a drug. And just like that, the history books have been rewritten. He's back in the past with a second chance. He looks at his hands, remembering how the world changed when Yggdrasil appeared. He's seen some weird stuff, so he's adapting way faster than a normal kid would. Determination is written all over his face. In this world, thinking fast is the only way to stay alive. He checks the timeline. It's 11 years ago, back when he was a third-year middle schooler. Peak awkward years, but perfect for a restart. The system notifies him it's officially changed to the Nornir system. Sounds fancy. Jae-yoon wonders if the name means anything. He swings his feet out of bed, his toes hitting the floor with a soft tap. It feels real. Too real. He stands up in his messy room, surveying his old life. It's like a museum of his own mistakes. He thinks that, truth be told, it still feels like a dream that he regressed. He's still waiting for someone to wake him up. He reaches up for a calendar on his shelf. Time to see what the plan was for young Jae-hyun. He grabs a tablet and gives a confident little smirk. He's about to break the canon event. Look at this calendar entry. Write the application for Milla's Academy. P.S. Be a combat class no matter what. Oh boy. He stares at the note he wrote to himself years ago. That one decision ruined his entire first life. He slowly reaches for a pen. You can almost feel the tension in the air. He aggressively crosses out the combat class part with a loud scratch. Goodbye, meat shield life. He knows this is his one shot at doing things right. This is a valuable, new opportunity. Smiling like he just found a cheat code, he tells himself he's not going to repeat the same mistake twice. The new goal is set. He will be a magician in this life. Absolute game changer. Cut to breakfast. He's stuffing his face with some greens. Gotta keep that energy up for all the magic training. He pauses mid-chew, looking a bit spaced out, probably thinking about fireballs instead of rice. His mom is watching him from across the table, hearing him sniffle. She looks genuinely concerned. Mom asks if something is worrying him lately. She can tell her son is acting completely different. Flashback to the massive hug from the previous chapter. That was a lot for her to handle. Mom thinks to herself that he's normally such a quiet, muted kid, so seeing him sob like that was a huge shock. Mom puts her hand down and calls his name, asking if something is wrong. Jae-yoon tries to play it cool, saying no, it's nothing. Nice try, kid, your eyes say otherwise. He flashes a bright, fake smile and says he just had a bit of a nightmare. Technically, a nightmare that lasted years. He grips his chopsticks tight as Mom repeats his word. Nightmare? She's not buying it. In his head, he sees a vision of his own dead body in a morgue. Yeah, I'd call that a nightmare too. His eyes turn intense for a split second. He's never going back to that cold slab. He looks up at his mom and tells her there's something he needs to say. This is the moment. Mom gives him a knowing look, saying, yeah, she had a feeling he might. Moms always know. She starts worrying if he's afraid of applying to Milla's Academy. She knows how hard it is. Jae-yoon just listens, looking calm and collected. He's way more mature than a middle schooler should be. Mom closes her eyes, reflecting on how cutthroat the raider world is. She admits she's not surprised if he's hesitant. Being a raider is dangerous and fiercely competitive. She thinks if he doesn't want to go, she'll just let him go to a normal school. She just wants him to be happy. Then Jae-hyun drops the bomb. He's thinking of changing his application to magician class. Mom looks totally stunned for a second, then immediately smiles, saying, yeah, that's okay. Jae-hyun is confused by her reaction, but Mom is thinking about how adamant he used to be about the warrior class. She knows he's a thoughtful kid, so he wouldn't just change his mind on a whim. She looks out the window, her profile soft in the light. She's processing the big change. She reaches out and gently cupped his cheek. It's such a sweet mom moment. She asks if this is a sudden decision, and Jae-hyun says no, he's been thinking about it for a while. Good save. She tells him he's free to do whatever he wants, as long as it's what he truly desires, and not just for money. She tells him she'll always support him as his mom. Jae-hyun looks like he might cry again. Can't blame him. He wipes his eyes with his sleeve while Mom laughs and tells him now isn't the time to cry. But then, a dark silhouette appears in the background. His father, Min Chong. Oh, the mood just went from 100 to 0 real fast. Ding, quest complete. He gets his blank card reward and he's feeling a whole lot better. His internal monologue turns dark. To get revenge against his A-rank raider father, he has to become much, much stronger. That orange eye is glowing with pure spite. Time to grind. Jae-hyun is doing handstand push-ups in his room, looking absolutely ripped for a middle schooler. Look at that form. He's not playing around. Every rep is a step toward making his father pay. He dries off with a towel, admiring his gains. He's already taking full advantage of this Nornir system. He thinks the situation's looking good for him. Confidence is key when you're planning a revolution. The biggest advantage? He literally has knowledge of the future. He knows all the spoilers. He checks his bookshelves, remembering hidden pieces and ruins he can monopolize later. He's going to be the ultimate raid leader. But he realizes he has a problem with his skills. He's starting from scratch with magic. He flops into his gaming chair, letting out a heavy guess. He's realizing the uphill battle ahead. He wonders if there's nothing he can do. He looks a bit overwhelmed by the work he has to put in. He pulls up his system profile. The blue light fills the room with a flash. Stats check. Level 7, Strength 4, Dex 2, Magic 10, Endurance 5. He's got 21 stat points to burn. He looks at his skills. Passives like Absolute Eye of God and One Watched by the Gods stayed with him. That's a huge win. He wonders why only the passive skills stayed the same. The system is definitely hiding some secrets. Turns out the skill One Watched by the Gods allowed him to retain everything through the regression. What a carry skill. Holy crap. This skill increases all stats by 1 every time he levels up. That's literally broken. He checks his other skills. Absolute Eye lets him see through illusions, and Lightning Chain is his bread and butter for attacks. He looks over his shoulder, feeling the attention of the gods on him. No pressure, just the creator of the universe watching you play. He admits he's not sure what Absolute Eye really does yet, but Lightning Chain is definitely a keeper. Back to the stats. He's got some big decisions to make with those 21 points. He figures strength is useless for a magician, but he definitely needs some dexterity to dodge attacks. Stat dump incoming. Dex up by 2, magic up by 5, and then a massive plus 14 into endurance. Wait, endurance? He reasons that endurance reduces fatigue from training. It's the ultimate grind stat. Sparks of mana dance between his fingers. He thinks he's taken care of priority 1. He's building his foundation. In his eyes, endurance is the most important thing for long-term growth. Smart thinking. He's fine with his attack skills for now, knowing he doesn't have the mana pool for high-rank spells anyway. Now for the hard part, choosing which new skills to learn with his blank cards. He flips a black card between his fingers, thinking what he needs the most is a healing spell. Support is meta, folks. He remembers how magician classes are treated like garbage in 2020 compared to warriors. It's a tough crowd. But he knows healers are the exception. They're like the royalty of the raider world. Even if they aren't raiders, healers are well received in the medical field. Total VIP treatment. He knows if he starts with a healing skill, nobody will look down on him. Respect is earned, or in this case, healed. He leans back and lets out a long breath, but there's always a catch. He thinks about woman again. He needs to start using his blank cards way more efficiently than he did before. The big hurdle? Finding someone with a healing skill to copy isn't exactly easy. They aren't just walking around the park. He looks off to the side, deep in thought. On top of that, he's already calculated the odds. He knows the system won't just hand him a truckload of cards. He has to make every single one count. He stares at his phone on the desk, wishing an option would just pop up. His phone starts buzzing. He wonders who that is. Talk about perfect timing. He picks it up, curious who's calling a middle schooler at this hour. The screen shows Kim Yoo-jung. His face goes totally blank for a second. His eyes go wide with shock. It's like he just saw a ghost. Flashback to childhood. They were neighbors and hung out all the time. She was his best friend. They're standing together as teens now. They both dreamed of attending Malays together. Look at her. Yoo-jung is a total ray of sunshine with that peace sign. She was his rock. But then we see a bloody, red-tinted vision. But something terrible happened to her in the first timeline. He clutches his head, the memory causing him actual pain. He winces and tells himself it's fine, he can change things now. He looks at her messages, and a soft smile returns to his face. She's just how he remembers. Then it hits him. Oh, right. There was her. He's got a plan. He scrolls through the texts. Yoo-jung is hyping up a visit from Saintess Yoo Sung-yoon downtown. Behold, the Saintess herself glowing with a halo and dressed like a high-tier NPC. The magic that represented her was legendary. She's the ultimate healing target. The word essay sacrifice appears in bold black. That must be her signature skill. Jae-hyun grabs his jacket. He thinks he doesn't have to worry with a big shot like her. He's moving out. He zips up his black hoodie, looking like a low-key protagonist. He yells to his mom that he's heading out for a bit. She yells back, okay, and tells him not to be too late. Moms never change. He walks down the street, his eyes glued to his phone. He's already coordinating the meetup. He replies that he'll be there in a zip. He's a man on a mission. A luxury Rolls-Royce is speeding down the highway. This must be the Saintess's ride. Inside the car, a woman in a maid outfit is briefing the Saintess on her insane schedule. Downtown lecture, then a B-rank raid, then a flight to America. The guard, Sung-jae, is watching her in the mirror with a worried look, asking if she'll really be okay in her current state. Sung-jae points out she looks even paler than before. She's clearly pushing herself past her limit. Saintess Yoo Sung-yoon gives a tired, sweet smile. She says it's okay, she just feels a bit tired. Sung-jae knows she's been pushing herself for months with this extreme schedule. He's not happy about it. He's sweating, clearly stressed out by her condition. He knows the truth. The The saintess looks out the window, looking elegant but absolutely exhausted. Sunjae thinks to himself that using sacrifice is literally eating away at her life force. It's a cursed power. He wishes there was at least one more person with a healing spell on her level so she wouldn't have to do it all alone. She shuts him down with a polite smile, saying they agreed not to talk about that, Sunjae Oppa. Sunjae grips his hand so hard it's trembling. He thinks at this rate, she will. He's sweating bullets, looking absolutely devastated. He knows she's heading for a crash. The narrator ends with an ominous warning. The Saintess of Korea might collapse soon. This is getting intense. Part 3 ends here. Jaehyun and Yoo-jung finally make it to the downtown stage. The place is packed because everyone wants to see the famous Saintess. Yoo-jung is literally dragging him through the crowd. Jaehyun's just done with it, telling her to quit the dragging already. She's looking all over the place like a kid in a candy store. Jaehyun's just standing there, waiting for the inevitable lecture. Jaehyun hits her with a, "Hey, be honest." He knows she only brought him along because she's directionally challenged. Yoo-jung gets all flustered, denying everything and telling him to let go of her hand. Classic tsundere behavior right here. But then she just grabs his hand again anyway. "Make up your mind, girl." Yoo-jung gets serious for a second, wondering how a girl who's good at everything else can be so bad at finding her way around. She starts fangirling again, telling Jaehyun he's lucky to even see the Saintess. She's really protective of her idol. Jaehyun just gives her a knowing smirk. He knows if he can successfully copy that sacrifice skill, his future is set. He thinks, maybe, the gears in his head are turning. He's already thinking 3 steps ahead. He realizes this is his chance to gain the greatest personal connection in all of South Korea. No big deal, right? The event starts and Yoo-jung is cheering her heart out. Jaehyun's just sitting there like he's at a business meeting. He's totally locked in. He's not here for the speech, he's here for the prize. A big banner welcomes the top guild, Manhwa. This Saintess is clearly a massive deal in this world. She's selling the slogan, "Save the world and the people through healing magic." Today, and there she is, Saintess Yo Sung-yoon herself. She's world famous for being a top-tier healer. Yoo-jung is absolutely starstruck. Back in the day, healers were the real MVPs who protected the citizens. She grabs the mic to address the crowd. Jaehyun is watching her every move like a hawk. She says hello to everyone. Her voice fills the air, but Jaehyun is looking past the celebrity status. She introduces herself with a polite smile. Little does she know, she's being scouted by a regressor. The crowd goes absolutely wild. Yoo-jung is definitely the president of this fan club. But Jaehyun's got a different calendar. He knows that in exactly 2 months, everything changes. He remembers the headline, "Saintess Yoo Sung-yoon will fall into a critical condition during a dungeon raid." It's a literal death clock. He knows her own healing spell, sacrifice, is the thing that's going to kill her. Talk about a tragic irony. There's only one way to save her, and he's the only one who knows it. Meanwhile, Yoo-jung is still screaming her name. Yoo-jung is being way too loud, and Jaehyun is just thinking about how much of an eyesore she's being. He tells her to shut up, but you know she won't. The Saintess starts her speech, calling this an unprecedented period of disaster. She's not pulling any punches. Ever since Yggdrasil showed up, monsters have been taking lives every single day. The world is a mess. She mentions that even with Awakened appearing, things have only gotten slightly better. It's a grim reality check. She drops the real bomb, only 20% of current Awakened are actually volunteering as raiders. That's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines. She points out the obvious. The death toll is rising, and the world needs more heroes. Jaehyun's just taking it all in. Close up on those green eyes. She truly believes the world is at a crossroads between life and death. She's practically begging people to step up. Innocent lives are being lost while the able-bodied stay home. She says they need courage. That's the big takeaway from her speech as she gestures to the crowd. She tells every Awakened listening that their courage can literally change the world. She's good at this motivational stuff. She pleads with them to please become a raider. She's pouring her heart out, trying to make the world a brighter place. She promises that her guild will help make that dream a reality. The crowd is absolutely eating it up. The applause is deafening. She really is a master speaker, and everyone is feeling inspired. Yoo-jung is clapping so hard her hands probably hurt. She's convinced her uni is the best speaker ever. Jaehyun finally agrees with her. She's right about everything she said. It's a fact. Most Awakened are terrified of the front lines. Fighting monsters is no walk in the park. Even Jaehyun admits that before he regressed, he just wanted to sell some items and live a lazy life. Can't blame the guy. Yoo-jung is gushing about how her role model is perfect. Jaehyun just gives her a haha sure look. She tells him to stop being a buzzkill and just enjoy the moment. She's in her happy place right now. Suddenly, Jaehyun says whatever, he's gotta go. He's got business to attend to, and Yoo-jung is not invited. Yoo-jung is outraged. She calls him the worst and asks if he's a school bully too. Jaehyun just smirks and tells her he already called her mom. He's always 10 steps ahead. She's totally confused, but he tells her mom is on the way. He tells her to just wait a sec while he takes off. He drops another bombshell. He officially changed his career path to magic. Yoo-jung's brain is about to melt. He even teases her to teach him some magic theory later. He's really having fun with this new life. She's screaming after him, asking why he didn't tell her earlier. Too late, girl, he's gone. She looks so betrayed as she stands alone, asking if he's really leaving her like this. Yeah, he really is. Jaehyun's back on the hunt. He knows they're around here somewhere. He spots the black limo parked by the curb. It's game time. Look at that grin. He knows exactly what he's doing and he's loving it. He walks right up to the car where Sunjae, the guard, is talking on the phone. Ballsy move for a kid. Sunjae shuts him down immediately, thinking he's just another crazy fan trying to give her a gift. He's seen it 1,000 times. Jaehyun doesn't flinch. He says he's come to meet Guildmaster Yoo Sung-yoon. He sounds way too professional for his age. Sunjae just sighs, completely done with these raider crazy fans. He's not gonna make this easy. He steps up to Jaehyun, telling him to look him in the eye. He's trying to intimidate the kid. He tells Jaehyun that no matter how big of a fan he is, he can't just walk up like this. He's acting like a literal gatekeeper. Jaehyun just gives him this calm smile, which probably makes Sunjae even more annoyed. He says coolly that it's not because of that. Then he drops the nuke. He knows that Guildmaster Yoo Sung-yoon has an incurable illness. Sungjae's heart just skipped a beat. Look at the difference in their faces. Jaehyun is in total control, and Sunjae looks like his brain just short-circuited. He says he knows the way to cure her illness. Now he's got 100% of Sunjae's attention. Sunjae looks absolutely terrifying now. This is a top-secret matter, and some random kid just blurted it out on the street. He grabs Jaehyun by the collar, yelling at him and asking where he heard that. He's losing his cool fast. He's screaming in his face, demanding to know how he found out the guildmaster was sick. This is intense. Jaehyun just stares him down with those orange eyes. He tells him there's no point in yelling so loudly. Talk about ice in his veins. People are starting to stare at the commotion. Not exactly the low profile Sunjae wants. Suddenly, the car window rolls down. The Saintess herself is watching the whole thing go down. She tells Sunjae to hold on a second. Then she looks at Jaehyun and asks if he can take responsibility for those words. Jaehyun doesn't hesitate. He says of course he can heal her illness, Guildmaster. He's all in. She's thinking that if he was lying, he would be caught in seconds. She's analyzing him, looking for any sign of a bluff, but he looks so incredibly confident. He just stands there, totally relaxed. She wonders if he actually has something to be that confident about. She asks Sunjae how much time they have until the next event. Sunjae's still in shock. He checks his watch. They've got 2 hours. 2 hours to see if this kid is a savior or a lunatic. She tells Jaehyun to get in. They need to find somewhere quiet because there are way too many eyes here. They end up in a private room. She tells him to sit down, and she's ready to get down to business. Jaehyun takes his seat, looking totally unfazed, and thanks her. She wants to go through this one by one. First question, how did he find out about her illness? She leans in close, her eyes searching his face. She needs answers. Jaehyun's matching her energy. He tells her straight up that he can't tell her that part. He tells her if she really wants to know, he could tell her, but then he wouldn't heal her. That's a pretty effective threat. She actually starts laughing. She thinks he's a bold kid. Honestly, she's not wrong. She accepts it for now. Next question. How does he plan on healing her? This is the million-dollar question. Jaehyun takes a breath, saying to be honest with her, he plans on copying her sacrifice. The room just went dead silent. She's completely stunned, asking what he just said. She can't believe what she just heard. Sunjae slams the table in a rage. The table is probably made of stone and it's cracking under his hand. He's done, yelling there's no need to listen anymore. He thinks Jaehyun is just wasting their time. He tells Jaehyun he has no idea what he's talking about. He points out that sacrifice is the guildmaster's unique skill. He yells that even they don't have a way to copy that magic. He's completely losing his mind over this. The story explains that unique skills are even higher rank than S-rank skills. They can only be obtained through hereditary succession or being a one-of-a-kind individual. Formulae for these skills don't even exist. They're monopolized by single individuals or families. Total gatekeeping. Jaehyun just sits there, listening to the lecture. He knows all this, but he's got the cheat code. He tells Sunjae to please calm down. He says he wouldn't even be here if he didn't think he could actually do it. Sunjae looks like he wants to punch him, but the Saintess tells him to chill. She wants to hear him out one more time. She sums it up, so what he's saying is, he will heal her using her own sacrifice. Is that correct? Jaehyun says yes. He explains that to heal injuries caused by a skills penalty, you need a skill of the same or higher rank. This kid knows his mechanics. And since her sickness was caused by a unique skill, there is literally no higher ranked skill in existence. Since she can't heal herself with sacrifice, this is the only logical method. He's laid out the perfect argument. Her skill is literally an offering to the gods. It's high-level stuff. There's a fundamental flaw in sacrificing your own life force to heal yourself. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. She smiles. She says if he's willing to go that far, then alright, she's willing to take the gamble. She looks legendary right now as she gathers her mana, challenging him to prove it. The challenge is officially issued. Sung-jae is still protesting, but the guildmaster has already made her choice. It's go time. She releases a massive amount of golden energy. The room is glowing like crazy. Jae-hyun just gives a satisfied smirk. Good. This is exactly what he wanted. He holds out his hand and it starts glowing too. He's pulling out the big guns. There it is. The blank card. It's ready to absorb her skill. System message. A new skill can be acquired. The anticipation is building. With one word, register. The process begins. Success. Sacrifice has been successfully registered onto the blank card. This is huge. He gives another smug little smirk. He's officially the only other person in the world who can use this magic. He tells her he knows she still doesn't trust him, so he's going to prove it right now. He activates the skill. A blinding light fills his palm as the power surges. Sung-jae and the guildmaster are both completely speechless. They're witnessing the impossible. Jae-hyun clenches his fist as the light fades. All right, he asks if they shall start the negotiations now. He looks like a total boss, standing there with the ultimate bargaining chip. And that's where the chapter ends. Stay tuned for part 4. Check it out. We're getting the lowdown on the sacrifice skill. It's a unique rank skill that can heal a whole group or blast undead with Light's judgment. Talk about being multi-talented. But here's the kicker. Since Jae-hyun copied it using a blank card, the deadly penalty for using it doesn't even apply to him. He's basically using a cheat code. Jae-hyun just gives this cool, confident smirk. He knows he's holding all the cards now and just says, "So?" The Saintess, Yoo Sung-yoon, cuts right to the chase. She wants to know exactly what he wants from her guild. She's studying him closely. The mere fact that he actually cured her supposedly incurable illness is enough to make her take this kid seriously. But she's still a bit skeptical. I mean, the guy looks like he just finished his first week of high school. Can you blame her? She's thinking to herself, totally baffled. A young kid like him is not just talking, he's trying to negotiate. Most people would be shaking in their boots, standing in front of the master of Korea's top guild, but not our boy Jae-hyun. She lets out a little chuckle, thinking how interesting he is. She's definitely hooked now. Jae-hyun drops the bomb. He wants her to please become his sponsor. Bold move, kid. Let's see if it pays off. She's a bit surprised, asking if he means a sponsor to help him grow as a raider. She's trying to see if he just wants a handout. Jae-hyun doesn't miss a beat. He admits he has huge dreams, but he needs cold, hard cash and high-level connections to make them happen. He's not thinking small either. He wants the full backing of the Manhwa Guild to support his path. She thinks about it for a second and then agrees. If he's got the guts to ask, she thinks he might actually be worth the investment. She looks him in the eye, acknowledging that he clearly has the talent to go along with all that competence. But wait, here comes the catch. However, there's always a however with these big-shot guild masters. She gives him a sharp look, saying there's a condition. The price of her support just went up. Jae-hyun stays calm, but he knows he's in a tough spot. Even though she's desperate, she's still a master negotiator. He realizes she's not losing her cool at all, despite him being her only hope. She's a professional through and through. She repeats it one more time just to make sure he's listening. Yes, a condition. She explains that her illness is a personal matter, nothing to do with the guild's business. She's drawing a line in the sand. She points out that what he's asking for, the support of the entire guild, is way beyond just a personal favor. Jae-hyun just smirks. He knows exactly where this is going. Supporting him without cause isn't exactly a fair trade in her book. He stares at her, knowing she's the one who stands to suffer if he walks away. It's a high-stakes staring contest now. She hits him with a direct question. Does he have a guild he wishes to join? Jae-hyun is totally caught off guard, letting out a confused "what?" that wasn't in his script. It finally clicks. He wonders if she's trying to scout him right now. Talk about a fast promotion. He asks if she's actually serious. She just smiles and tells him she's not the type to joke about talent. She's got a list of reasons why she wants him on her team. This is about to be a very lucrative pitch. First up, he found out about her secret illness. That information is top secret classified stuff. The fact that he dubbed that up means his investigative skills are on another level. Little does she know he's from the future. Jae-hyun looks a bit nervous. He definitely can't tell her the truth about how he knows, thinking he can't say something like that here. Second reason, he copied her unique skill, sacrifice, and he did it perfectly. That's some god-tier ability right there. She admits she's never even heard of anyone copying a unique skill before. He's a total anomaly. She's already imagining the future, thinking the possibilities are endless. She sees a literal gold mine standing in front of her. Jae-hyun is actually feeling pretty good about this. He asks if there's a third. He's ready for more compliments. She leans in close, saying yes. The third is the most important point. She notes that even though she's Korea's top guild master, he hasn't shown even a tiny bit of nervousness. most adults would be shaking, but this kid is just standing his ground. That's the real mark of a raider. She leans in even closer, practically whispering that it's quite appealing. Oh, he's definitely got her attention. She asks if this isn't enough reason to recruit him. She's closing the deal. This is an offer he can't really refuse. Jae-hyun remembers the past. After she collapsed in the original timeline, her guild fell apart. He knows how important this moment is. He thinks about the future. Joining the #1 guild now would mean instant respect and the best resources to grow. It's a tempting offer. But he's got a concern. He asks if it isn't illegal to make a contract between a guild and a student. He's a minor after all. She just smirks at him. She's already 3 steps ahead. She asks if he has ever heard of priority negotiation rights. She's got the perfect legal loophole ready. Close up on Jae-hyun's eyes. He's intrigued. He's never heard of this before. Basically, the guild supports the kid while they grow up, and once they're an adult, the guild gets the first chance to sign them. It's a win-win. Normally, this kind of elite treatment is only for genius tier monsters. Jae-hyun realizes he's hit the jackpot. They sit together in silence for a moment. The deal is hanging in the air, waiting for his move. She finds his serious attitude cute in a kid-like way. She tells him to think it over, and she'll send the contract to his house. Jae-hyun stands up, ready to get to work, saying healing first. He's staying focused on the immediate goal. He admits it's a great opportunity, but he doesn't want to rush such a big life decision. Smart kid. He's decided. It won't be too late for him to consider his next step later. Business can wait, saving a life can't. He stands behind her, preparing the spell. She closes her eyes, trusting him completely. Sungjae is watching from the hallway, looking completely lost. He still can't wrap his head around this. He thinks he can't follow what's happening. Poor guy is probably having a midlife crisis watching a teenager do the impossible. Jae-hyun's hands start to glow with an intense golden light. He looks like a pro already. Sungjae has to admit, he's seen the effect with his own eyes. There's no denying the kid has the goods. He thinks about all the famous healers and world-class doctors they tried before this. None of them could do a thing. It was an illness that people spent their whole lives trying to cure and failed. It was supposed to be a death sentence. But Jae-hyun is just pouring energy into her like it's nothing. The room is filled with shimmering golden mana. System message. Active skill. Sacrifice has been activated. A wave of healing magic surges through your body. It's working. She's surrounded by a massive, radiant aura. It looks like she's being completely reborn in that chair. Close up on her face. She can feel the sickness literally leaving her body, exclaiming that her body is healing. Sungjae is sweating bullets. He's staring in absolute disbelief, wondering if it's really curable. He immediately bows his head in a deep apology. He feels like a total idiot for doubting the kid earlier. He's practically begging him now, asking him to please take good care of their guild master. The respect is real now. Jae-hyun stays calm and professional, saying it's fine, he wouldn't believe a kid's claims either. He's taking the high road. Sungjae vows to make a proper apology later. He's totally converted to the Jae-hyun fan club now. System message. Success. He healed the target and his emergency first aid skill just hit level 19. Talk about a level up. He lets out a long breath, saying it's all done now and she should try moving around a bit. He's looking pretty proud of himself. She slowly turns around, testing out her new strength. She looks completely different. A beautiful silhouette shot by the window. The light is catching her just right, symbolizing her new beginning. She reaches her hand out towards the window, where golden light and magical butterflies are dancing. It's a fairy tale moment. She looks vibrant, healthy, and absolutely stunning. The sickness is completely gone. She can't believe it herself, saying the symptoms are all gone. She's back at 100%. She thanks him from the bottom of her heart, but then her face turns serious. She's worried about the penalty hitting him. Jae-hyun just sits there, cool as a cucumber. She thinks he sacrificed his own health to save her. Quick reminder, skills copied with blank cards don't have penalties. He's basically immune. He gives her this charming little wink and says he'll be fine. If that ever happens, she can heal him, right? What a smooth talker. She smiles back, genuinely happy, saying yes, as much as he needs. They've got a real bond now. She hands him her elegant business card, saying she'll try her best to meet all his demands and to contact her whenever he wants. She asks him to really think about that contract. She definitely doesn't want to lose a talent like him. Jae-hyun looks at the card, but he's already thinking of the next move. He says, well, actually, there's something he'd like to ask for right now. She's all ears. Whatever he wants, she's probably going to give it to him at this point. The next day, we see a training ground under a clear blue sky. Time for the next phase of the plan. A sleek black sedan pulls into the parking lot. Someone's arriving in style. Sungjae opens the door with a polite, right this way. Our boy is officially a VIP. A close-up of his cool sneakers hitting the pavement. He's looking ready for a fight. He steps out of the car, looking determined. He's not here for a tour, he's here to grind. Sungjae leads the way, explaining that this is their training facility. They're at a low-ranked dungeon controlled by the Manhwa Guild. It's hidden away in a forest, looking very mysterious. Jae-hyun knows Milei's academy is going to be full of literal geniuses. He needs an edge to stay ahead. He gives a wicked little grin and thinks he's got to level up. The grinding starts now. Stay tuned for more. We're at the entrance of a low-ranked dungeon controlled by the Manhwa Guild. Those massive stone doors with the sun emblem look ancient and ready for some raiding. Seong-jae has been busy getting things ready, stacking up crates filled with healing potions and basic tools. He knows a raider is nothing without their supplies. Since Jae-hyun is basically starting fresh, Seong-jae lends him some spare guild equipment. He hands over a magic staff topped with a glowing blue orb. Definitely an upgrade for our boy. Jae-hyun takes the staff, looking ready to go, and thanks Seong-jae for looking after him. Seong-jae's still got that worried older brother vibe though. Seong-jae reminds him that even though it's just an E-rank dungeon, solo diving is never a safe bet. He's clearly wondering why Jae-hyun insisted on going in alone. Jae-hyun just gives a casual shrug and checks his gear, saying, well, he just wants to level up a bit. Casual, like he's just going for a morning jog instead of fighting monsters. Seong-jae sighs, checking a holographic screen on his wrist. He knows he can't stop the kid, so he might as well make sure he has an escape plan. He holds out his hand, revealing a shimmering, diamond-shaped blue crystal, telling him it'll be safer if he takes this as well. He explains it's a warp stone break it, and you're instantly teleported back to the guild entrance. It's basically a literal get-out-of-jail-free card for raiders. He makes sure Jae-hyun knows to use it the second things look dangerous. He's really not taking any chances with the guildmaster's favorite recruit. Seong-jae gives a warm, slightly guilty smile, asking him to please take it. He says it's the token of his apology for being rude to him. Aw, look at him being a big softie now. He adds that it's also a thank you gift for healing the guildmaster. He's basically throwing every perk at Jae-hyun right now. Jae-hyun grips the stone and gives a nod, thanking him. He appreciates the gesture, even if he plans on not needing it. He stands before the swirling blue energy of the dungeon gate. He senses the magic power and confirms it's definitely just an E-rank. He touches the surface of the portal, feeling the energy hum against his skin. To him, this is going to be a walk in the park. Seong-jae yells one last reminder about the warp stone from the sidelines. The man is seriously stressed. Jae-hyun gives one last cool smirk over his shoulder. He says yes, well then, he'll be heading in. He steps into the light, and the system pings. YOU entered the dungeon. Here we go. Wait, what? The transition is all wrong. Instead of a normal dungeon, everything turns into a glitchy purple and red mess. Jae-hyun gets sucked into a violent purple vortex, yelling out in shock and wondering what's going on. This is definitely not an E-rank welcome. The system glitches out, announcing that the Nornir system is overriding the transport to take him somewhere specific. Someone's hijacking the trip. Red warning boxes fill his vision. The new location is Helheim's Land of the Dead. Uh-oh, that sounds like a very bad place for a living person. Back in the guild office, Guildmaster Yu Song-yoon is sitting at her desk, looking thoughtful. She's completely unaware her new favorite student is in a ghost dimension. She's still thinking about that Jae-hyun kid. He's definitely made a huge impression on her. She wonders if he'll actually be okay inside the dungeon. Even a saintess has some motherly instincts, I guess. She thinks back to his request to loan a low-ranked dungeon belonging to the guild, and specifically his request to enter it completely alone. It's a move that would baffle any veteran raider. She knows that soloing even an E-rank is basically impossible for someone who hasn't even officially graduated yet. In her eyes, he's a gifted but unpolished gem. He's got the talent, but she thinks he's lacking the experience. She's certain he knows the risks, so she's trying to figure out what his actual game plan is. She gives a little smirk of her own. She's starting to really like this kid's boldness. She wonders what kind of plan he has. She's genuinely curious to see how he handles himself. A knock at the door interrupts her thoughts. It's her secretary, Park Hana, checking in. Song-yoon brightens up and tells her to come in. She's clearly been waiting for some specific info. Hana enters the office carrying a black folder, looking as professional and cold as ever. Song-yoon gets right to the point and asks if she has what she requested. Hana hands over the file on Min Jae-hyun. She's efficient, I'll give her that. Song-yoon starts flipping through the profile, probably expecting to see a long list of magic achievements. Hana is watching her boss, wondering why she's so personally invested in scouting some random high schooler. Song-yoon's eyes scan the papers, her expression shifting from curious to confused. She freezes on one page, realizing he's a warrior class applicant. That's not what she was expecting at all. She looks completely shocked, wondering, but then, how did he use magic? The pieces are definitely not adding up for her. She looks at Hana, who just maintains her poker face. This kid is turning out to be one massive mystery. Close up on Sung-yoon's eye, she's processing a lot of information right now. She turns her chair toward the window, getting lost in thought. If he's a warrior applicant, his magic potential should be garbage, right? She asks if the data is accurate. Hana doesn't blink, it's accurate without a doubt. Look at this report. Magician class aptitude, 97%. That is a monster tier stat for a warrior. Song-yoon grabs her phone and calls for Sung-jae. She's moving at Mach speed now. she says when Jaehyun returns from the dungeon. Please tell him this right away. She's not taking no for an answer. Sungjae's voice cracks over the line, asking what she means. Poor guy is just confused as usual. She stands by the window, her mind made up. She needs to talk to this kid the moment he steps out. She gives a beautiful, slightly predatory smile, saying she wants to personally check the talent that Min Jae-hyun possesses. Oh, she's definitely going to recruit him by any means necessary. Meanwhile, back in the literal land of the dead, Jaehyun is finally finishing his wild transport. Purple energy is everywhere. He's falling to a dark, swirling abyss. Not exactly the E-rank dungeon he signed up for. He hits the ground with a painful thud, letting out a groan. That had to hurt. He pulls himself up, realizing he's in a freezing, misty graveyard. Welcome to Helheim, kid. The air is thick and oppressive. He starts coughing, his body reacting to the deathly atmosphere. He's on his knees, panting and trying to clear his lungs. It's a rough start to a training session. He grits his teeth and stands up, thinking, damn it. He knows he's in deep trouble now. He looks around at the spooky trees and headstones, wondering what's going on here. Suddenly, a massive, hooded skeleton reaper appears out of the mist. It's glowing with an eerie blue light. The reaper doesn't waste any time and swings its massive scythe. Blue energy trails follow the blade. Jaehyun barely dives out of the way. A giant beam of blue magic tears through the spot where he was just standing. He skids across the ground, his eyes wide with adrenaline. That was a close one. He grits his teeth as the impact shakes his whole body. He's realized this isn't just a regular monster, it's high tier. He looks back over his shoulder, tracking the Reaper's movements through the fog. The Reaper stands its ground, looking like the literal personification of death. This is some serious boss fight energy. Close up on the Reaper's skeletal face, its eyes are glowing with a cold blue malice. Jaehyun feels a strange sensation in his arm. He wonders if it's a paralytic poison. Great, things just went from bad to worse. He quickly activates his new skill. Shimmering golden light fills the graveyard as he uses sacrifice to purge the poison. But he's not alone. A horde of smaller skeletal warriors starts clawing their way out of the frozen earth. The air is thick with purple and black mana. It's like a literal army of ghosts is surrounding him. Jaehyun looks around, completely surrounded by shadowy, spectral figures. He's officially the main character of a horror movie. A giant, armored skeleton rises from the mist, brandishing a massive shield and sword. This is an army, not a raid. The Reaper prepares for another devastating slash. The wind pressure alone is enough to tear the ground apart. Wait, what? Jaehyun just catches the end of a spear with his bare hand. He says seriously with a bored look. He's got that OP protagonist look back. He effortlessly snaps the spear in half with a flick of his wrist. He mutters that this is fucking stupid. Oh, he's definitely about to solo this entire dimension. See you in the next one. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Yo-jung is moping on her bed. Sunlight streaming in, but her mood is definitely cloudy. She's staring at a poster of the Saintess, completely fuming, thinking if Min Jae-hyun dares to come here. She buries her face in her pillow, but those eyes are full of fire. She thinks she'll kill him for real this time. Talk about a scary childhood friend. She's ranting about how he ditched her even though he knows she's got the directional sense of a rock. He basically left her to wander in the woods. She's literally punching her bed in a fit of rage. She can't believe he had the guts to play her like that. She flops onto her back, staring at the ceiling and sighing. She just can't understand him at all. He's become a total mystery to her. Flashback time. She remembers Jaehyun saying he hates crowded places. He was always such a loner. Then she looks at his text. He'll be there soon. He suddenly agreed to go to the speech, which was totally out of character. She remembers them as kids on the swings. He always used to take her home when they were done playing. So why did he just leave her hanging this time? It makes zero sense to her. And on top of that, things get even weirder. He's switching to the magic class. After spending years dedicated to martial arts, Yo-jung thinks he's lost his mind. We see a memory of Jaehyun training hard with a wooden staff. If he's changing paths, he must have a massive reason for it. Yoo-jung is still lying there, just trying to wrap her brain around it. She thinks there's just no other explanation than that. Normally, Jaehyun is known for being super careful and calculating. He doesn't just do things on a whim. Even picking a dinner menu takes him 10 minutes because he's so indecisive. He's the king of overthinking. So how did he become a completely different person overnight? She's staring at her phone, waiting for an answer. Suddenly, her phone buzzes. She grabs it faster than a raider grabbing loot. It's her own internal monologue again, reminding her that he left her all alone. She's still planning his funeral. Back in the dungeon, Jaehyun is looking around, totally alert. He feels something coming. His eyes narrow as a cold chill runs down his spine. He wonders if it's because of the monsters. He's sensing some serious mana. He's sweating bullets, his heart hammering against his ribs. He's getting the literal shivers. 4 wraiths appear. These spooky floating ghosts are glowing with blue fire and look ready to harvest some souls. Jae-hyun grits his teeth, realized they're way more organized than a normal monster pack. He wonders if he's supposed to defeat them alone. Talk about a challenge. He looks down at the staff Sungjae gave him, thinking at least he has this with him. It's his only lifeline. System screen check. Lotus Guild entry-level staff. It's basic, but it's better than using his bare fists. The orb on the staff flares to life with bright blue light. He's ready to show these ghosts who's boss. We get some lore on the land of the dead, overseen by Loki's daughter Hel. It's one of the 9 legendary worlds of Norse myth. Jae-hyun remembers that this dungeon represents 7 of those worlds, excluding Midgard and Asgard. Very high-level stuff for a student. Look at this world map. Niflheim, Muspelheim, Alfheim. It's a literal tour through mythology. We see Svartalfheim and Vanaheim. Each world looks more dangerous than the last. And then there's Helheim, the coldest and darkest of them all. This is definitely not a beginner-friendly map. The terrors of facing enemies that just won't die are legendary here. Without divine skills, you're basically lunch. But Jae-hyun's got that main character energy, thinking, no, this is for the better. He's ready to test his new toys. He reviews the sacrifice skill info again. It's an S-rank powerhouse that turns into Judgment of Lights against the undead. He thinks of the Saintus who originally used this skill. It's a massive area of effect attack that's perfect for mob clearing. Golden light starts pouring from the ceiling. It's the Judgment of Light, and it looks like a literal orbital strike from the heavens. Jae-hyun smacks a skeleton soldier right in the face with his staff. He's not just a caster, he's got those melee instincts. A skeleton soldier roars, its empty sockets glowing blue. It looks like it wants a piece of him. Jae-hyun counters with a massive overhead swing. The impact sends bone fragments flying everywhere. He lands a heavy blow, crushing the skeleton's shield. He admits he won't be depending on just one type of attack. He charges up a golden fire spell in his left hand with a flash. He's really embracing this multi-class lifestyle. Boom. A golden explosion takes out a wraith. He defeated the wraith and gained 70 experience points. Nice. He's standing in a whirlwind of blue and gold energy. He's realized that even though he's a mage now, his body still knows how to fight. He moves like a blur, the speed line showing he's still got those warrior-class reflexes. He slides across the frozen ground, tracking the next target. He's looking way too cool for a newbie mage. The truth is, he has 0 actual mage experience. He's basically winging it with high-level skills. He grips the staff as yellow lightning crackles around him. It looks like he's trying to channel a spell he doesn't quite understand. Golden chains erupt and wrap around a wraith, dragging it down. He just gained another 140 experience points. Jae-hyun lands in a crouch, breathing hard. He's stacking that experience faster than a speedrunner. He gives a wicked smirk, thinking he can't pass up an opportunity like this. He's officially addicted to the grind. A skeleton soldier lunges from the mist. Jae-hyun thinks this is definitely doable at his current level. He spins around, the motion lines showing he's ready to counter. He's got that battle flow. He brings the staff down on the skeleton's head. It's a solid hit, but wait, what was that sound? A crack? He looks at the staff in horror. The system pings. Lotus Guild entry-level staff has been broken. Oh, come on. Talk about bad luck. Jae-hyun's face is a total picture of, I messed up. He's just standing there holding a stick with a blank look. He realizes he was fighting like a warrior again. He forgot that mages aren't supposed to club skeletons over the head with their expensive gear. He's suddenly surrounded by dozens of glowing red eyes in the dark. Without a weapon, he's basically a buffet. He breaks into a cold sweat, thinking he just ended up breaking a weapon. This is the moment he realized he's a noob at being a mage. He reaches out his hand, deciding to go all in with his skills, thinking, well, his face hardens. Breaking the staff doesn't change the ultimate result. He's still going to win. System messages flare up. Sacrifice is initiated and transforming into an attack skill. Judgment of Light initiated. The entire screen is glowing with divine power. Massive golden blasts rain down from above. A Draugr gets vaporized. 100 experience points gained. Another blast incinerates a wraith. Wraith defeated. Gained 70 experience points. He's clearing the room. Jae-hyun collapses to the ground, huffing. His level has increased by 1. Talk about a clutch power-up. A blue light surrounds him as his level up restores him to full health. He needed that big time. He wipes sweat from his brow and laughs. That was way closer than he'd ever admit. The Judgment of Light continues to rain down. He wonders if all S-rank skills are this broken. He looks off into the distance, his eyes glowing orange. He knows there was more to getting that card than just luck. He admits he lacks a mage's know-how. He needs to learn the rules before he breaks his next expensive staff. He stands up and walks through the eerie fog. He knows the Nornir system is the only reason he's in this secret dungeon. A message confirms his location. Helheim's Field of the Dead. It's as spooky as it sounds. He wonders if he should just call it a day and use the warp stone. He's had enough excitement for one afternoon. Suddenly, a wave of pure terror hits him. Something massive is watching from the shadows. He spins around, his eyes wide. He wonders what this frightening mana is. This is not just a regular mob. A dark, swirling vortex of energy begins to form in the clearing. He thinks something is coming. Red energy starts bleeding through the mist. Jaehyun is frozen in place, thinking, damn. He drops to his knees, gasping. The air itself feels heavy, like gravity just tripled. He can't breathe. He looks up through the red haze, his face pale, wondering what is coming towards him. He reaches into his jacket, his hand trembling as he grabs the warp stone. It's time to go. Suddenly, a massive black claw tears through the air with a terrifying screech. Everything goes black with jagged red text. One thing that's clear is that Jaehyun grits his teeth, his orange eye glowing with pure adrenaline. He's trapped. He covers his mouth, trying to suppress his breathing. He thinks he can't make a single sound. He hides in the darkness, thinking he doesn't know what's near him, but for now, he has to be silent. He's crouched low, his back to the monster. A terrifying red aura is creeping up behind him. A massive, winged demonic shadow looms over him. It looks like the boss of Helheim itself. Close up on the monster's glowing red core, Jaehyun is just a tiny speck compared to this thing. He wonders if this is it. Jaehyun realized he's completely outmatched. A gasp escapes his lips. The look of pure terror on his face says it all. The system confirms it. The dungeon's boss, Nightshade, has appeared. The level difference is dangerous. No kidding. Warning. Escape the dungeon quickly. Jaehyun's already ahead of you, system. He knows he can't face this. It's common sense. This is a boss he has zero chance against. He yells for his inventory, desperately reaching for the warp stone to get the hell out of there. The boss roars and lunges forward. Jaehyun barely has time to scream. He looks up in terror as the boss's massive red arm reaches for him. He finally grips the blue warp stone. He's just a second away from escaping. A massive blast of red energy hits the ground. It looks like a nuclear explosion of dark mana. The impact is devastating. The ground is literally being shredded to pieces. System alert, warning. HP is critically low. Jaehyun is battered and bleeding. He's coughing up blood, barely clinging to life. He groans, fuck, this might be the end. The Nightshade looms over the smoke, looking like an unstoppable god of death. Close up on Jaehyun's bloody face, he looks totally defeated. He's lying in a crater, surrounded by jagged red energy. He can't even move a muscle. The boss's hand starts glowing with more red fire. It's preparing the finishing blow. Jaehyun closes his eyes, accepting his fate. He can't avoid him. He's just waiting for the darkness to take him. Suddenly, he opens an eye. Something feels weird. The Nightshade is frozen in mid-swing, its red eyes staring blankly ahead. He realizes the Nightshade's movement has stopped. It's like someone hit the pause button on the entire world. A slender white foot steps onto the dark ground. A voice says, "No, that's not allowed. Who is this?" A glowing white figure appears, radiating an intense light. She calls Jaehyun an important guest. She's beautiful and terrifying all at once. White hair, horns, and eyes that see everything. She's the one destined to be the adversary. Part 4 ends with a total mystery. Jaehyun is absolutely stunned as he looks up at this mysterious woman. He's standing in the middle of a literal ghost dimension, and she just shows up like it's a casual stroll. He looks around at the frozen monster and then back at her, asking if she did this. He's trying to figure out if she's a savior or just a different kind of threat. The woman, who looks like a demonic goddess with those massive horns, gives him a mocking smirk. She notes that she thought he was supposed to be the adversary meant to kill that thing. Suddenly, she's right in his face, lifting his chin with one finger. She tells him he's still just a kid. Talk about a terrifying power move. She scans him like she's reading his stats, calling his build pretty average. She admits he's got mana, but it's nowhere near enough to face the actual Acer gods. She looks genuinely disappointed. She wonders why Loki would choose a scrawny kid like him to be the ultimate adversary. Jaehyun is huffing, barely able to stay conscious. He thinks, damn, is it because he lost too much blood? He thinks he's losing his mind. Her clawed hand rests on his throat, blood dripping from her nails onto his skin. Jaehyun thinks, is this the end for me, as the darkness closes in? But then, he sees her smirk again. No! His survival instinct kicks in hard. The question repeats in his mind as he stares into her cold, inhuman eyes. Is this the end for me? The text hangs over her face, emphasizing how precarious his situation is. No. Jaehyun clenches his jaw through the blood. He realizes if he dies here, all his plans for the future become worthless. He thinks about his revenge against his father and his dream of succeeding as a mage. If he dies, everything is ruined before it even began. He needs to endure this, in whatever way he can. Still, he's not ready to give up on his second life yet. He needs to endure this, in whatever way he can. Still, he's not ready to give up on his second life yet. She says she does like the look in his eyes. She's drawn to that desperate spark of defiance in him. The scene goes dark with a purple glow. But, chilled, the gravity of her voice is heavy. She warns him that he's far too weak and that the end is approaching much faster than he realizes. She tightens her grip on his throat. Jaehyun struggles for air as her nails dig in, letting out a pained sound. She whispers a terrifying warning. If he fails, the hell they all fear will return. She says she'll kill him first. Her eyes glow red with sudden, terrifying malice. This lady is definitely not a fan of failure. Jaehyun thinks, shit, what is this woman? As purple smoke begins to swirl around them, she adds that he's important to them, whatever that means. She starts to fade into the mist, her long white hair flowing, saying she'll give him a chance. Her voice echoes in his mind. Become stronger. Become much stronger than you are now. She points a finger at the frozen Nightshade boss, telling him to defeat this Nightshade. She gives one last beautiful, creepy smile, saying, do that and she shall give him a very special gift. Jaehyun is left alone, bleeding and gasping. Her voice repeats that as she said before, he doesn't have much time. The system pings with a new warning. Suddenly, red quest boxes fill his vision. The first main quest has arrived. Main quest Hell's Trial has been received. The goddess's image remains in the purple haze. She gives him 2 months to defeat the Nightshade in that time. Quest details: Hell's Trial, difficulty, C reward, Hell's Gift, fail penalty, D8. No pressure, kid. A massive vortex of dark energy starts swirling around Jaehyun, pulling him out of Helheim. He's caught in the middle of the purple storm, coughing up blood as he's transported away. Her final warning echoes, don't forget, if I see that you haven't grown, you will die by my hand. Chosen Child of the Nornir. The words fade into the shadows as he leaves the land of the dead. The purple mana flares up one last time as she says she shall pray for success in war. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a bright golden light. A different goddess, glowing like the sun, appears briefly, saying, whenever. The golden goddess reaches out her hand. The messages are getting cryptic as hell, with redacted text showing. Jaehyun wakes up on the ground, blinded by a soft white light. He realizes he's back at the dungeon's entrance. The trees and the stone door look exactly like before he went in. He looks around, totally dazed. He's back in the regular world, but he looks like he's seen a ghost. He sits up against the massive stone doors, huffing for air. He notices the injury is nowhere to be found. He checks his neck where her claws were. Not a single scratch. He wonders if this is that woman's doing, and what was she? She couldn't have been human. The quest screen pops up again, confirming the 2-month deadline. Hell's Trial, remaining time, 59 days. He stares at his hands, his eyes wide. He knows it wasn't a dream. This is real life now. A lore card appears. Hel. The goddess of death, ruler over Helheimer. Great, he just made a deal with the Norse goddess of death. Jaehyun is reeling. He wonders if he met a goddess. He's trying to process the absolute insanity he just lived through. He remembers her calling him the one destined to be the adversary. That word keeps repeating in his head. He asks himself why Loki would choose a kid like him to be the adversary. He's got more questions than answers at this point. Adversary, close up on his orange eyes. He's starting to realize the scale of the game he's playing in. A message pings. From now on, you are the adversary of the High Aesir. He's officially a marked man. He remembers hearing something similar right after he first got the Nornir system. It was there from the very start. Jaehyun sits in the grass, his mind racing. He's confused about why he regressed and what this adversary role actually means. He clenches his fist, digging his nails into the dirt. Even then, he thinks, one thing is clear. He looks up with a new, intense determination. He has to get stronger. If everything Hell said is true, he knows he has no other choice but to move forward. A red silhouette of Hell looms in his mind. He thinks the moment he stops getting stronger, she'll definitely kill him. Jaehyun stands up and brushes himself off. He thinks defeating the Nightshade in 2 months won't be easy, but it's nice to have a goal. He starts walking back towards civilization, thinking that based on his basic fighting skills, everything's a mess. He's being brutally honest with himself. He admits that things aren't looking so good right now. He knows the gap between his talent and his actual skill is massive. He thinks back to his years as a warrior. He's not used to fighting as a mage, and he hasn't even learned the most basic low-rank magic yet. He pulls out his phone, thinking that to move further up from here, there's nothing more important than basics. It's time for a proper training arc. He starts typing, his eyes focused. He's already planning his next move to get the resources he needs. His phone starts buzzing. A message from Representative Park Sung-jae pops up. Talk about a coincidence. Sung-jae says the guildmaster wants to see him in person tomorrow to hear his response to the contract. Jaehyun smirks, thinking it's great timing. He starts typing a reply, saying then he'll see him tomorrow and that he's optimistic about the contract. Close up on his satisfied smirk. He's got the upper hand now. He adds one final line, but only if they can do him one more favor. This kid is a master negotiator. The next day, Jaehyun arrives at the massive, modern headquarters of the Yeonhwa Guild. It's a literal skyscraper. He walks past the guild's elegant floral logo on the wall. He's walking in like he owns the place. Sung-jae meets him in the lobby and they walk together. He thinks the reason they contacted him first is probably because they saw his awakened profile. He knows his 97% magic aptitude is a magnet for top guilds. He thinks it'd be hard to find this kind of talent even if you searched the whole world. He's not being arrogant, he's just stating facts. He looks a bit sheepish for a second, thinking the reason he became a martial arts raider even though he wasn't fit for it was his indecisiveness. He remembers how society back then only glorified martial arts and treated mages like garbage. He was just trying to fit in. Older Jaehyun scratches his head in the memory. He thinks so. It makes sense. He chose that path at the time. He's finally letting go of that regret. Sung-jae opens the double doors to the guildmaster's private office. It's huge and very high-end. Close up on Jaehyun's intense orange eyes. He's ready to close the deal of a lifetime. Guildmaster Yu Sung-yoon is sitting there, looking absolutely regal with her long brown hair flowing. She says he's here. She gives him a warm, slightly mischievous smirk, saying she's been waiting for him. Chapter 9 ends on a power meeting. Part 5 coming soon. Jaehyun meets Representative Park Sung-jae again in a sleek, high-end lobby. He's standing there with his hands in his pockets, looking totally unfazed by the guild's massive headquarters. They get straight to the point, discussing the contract conditions with Guildmaster Yu Sung-yoon. Jaehyun has a slight smirk, admitting it's a pretty good offer. The narrator reveals just how sweet the deal is. Living subsidies, unlimited B-rank items from the guild with no replacement fees, and a massive 8-2 profit split. This isn't just a contract, it's a golden ticket. Jaehyun realizes these kinds of conditions are strictly reserved for A-rank raiders and above. The guild is clearly desperate to keep him on their side. But Jaehyun isn't ready to sign just yet. He looks Park Sung-jae in the eye and announces he has one final condition. Guildmaster Yu Sung-yoon leans back with a polite smile, telling him, "Alright, let's hear what kind of condition it is." She's playing it cool. Close up on her face. She looks confident and ready for whatever he throws at her. Jaehyun assumes she's already read his warrior profile. Jaehyun points out that it's been less than a month since he switched from being a martial arts user to a mage. He's acknowledging his own limitations. He admits he's a total amateur when it comes to actual magic. Park Sung-jae listens with a stoic, scarred face. Park Sung-jae looks skeptical as Jaehyun continues. The suspense in the room is thick as he prepares to drop his condition. Jaehyun places a hand on his chest and drops the bomb. He wants the guildmaster herself to teach him magic personally. Bold move for a D rank. Yu Sung-yoon tilts her head, intrigued. She didn't see that one coming. The narrator jumps in with rule number 1 for raider survival. Always play your trump card when it's most efficient. Close up on Jaehyun's glowing orange eyes. He knows exactly how big of a card he's currently playing. Park Sung-jae is internally losing it. He thought Jaehyun was bold before, but this is on another level. The narrator explains that Yu Sung-yoon isn't just a guildmaster. She's one of the world's few S-rank raiders. She's a literal god in the raider scene. To have the sheer guts to ask for a personal training session from a legend like her, this kid is either a genius or insane. Jaehyun sweetens the deal. If she agrees, he'll sign the priority negotiation contract with the Lotus Guild. She finds the whole thing interesting. She gives a bright, genuine smile, saying, okay, she'll accept his request. She's officially hooked. She tells him she already had a lot of interest in him anyway. She likes his fire. Jaehyun gives a satisfied smirk. He's just secured the best mentor on the planet. But she pauses. Before that though, there's always a but with an S rank. Jaehyun's expression goes blank. He knew this was coming. She wants to check his actual talent first. She looks at him with a mischievous glint. She wants to be absolutely sure her intuition about him is correct. Park Sung-jae is sweating bullets in the background. He knows his boss is about to do something intense. Jaehyun asks what he needs to do. He's ready for whatever test she has in mind. She snaps her fingers with a confident grin. Here we go. A massive vortex of blue energy starts roaring in the middle of the room. This is some high-level magic. The energy forms a giant, swirling portal. She calls it a mana cube. She looks absolutely regal standing in front of the storm. She's about to put our boy to the test. The mana cube is a swirling blue mess of energy. She simply tells him she'd like him to endure this. Jaehyun looks totally stunned, saying the name a mana cube. He's heard the horror stories. She smiles, calling it a perfect test. She believes a truly talented individual should be able to handle this much. The narrator explains that mana cubes are usually for B-rank raiders, and above just to test sensitivity. Using it on a kid like Jaehyun is like testing a toddler on a treadmill set to max speed. Less than 7% of mages can even endure this pressure. Jaehyun is staring into his own reflection, wondering if he's got enough mana to survive. He looks back at her, feeling like she's trying to intimidate him. She's definitely pushing him to see if he breaks. She laughs it off, promising the contract conditions won't change even if he fails. She's giving him a safety net, but he doesn't want it. Jaehyun sweats, looking at the blue glow. He knows he can't back out now. He grits his teeth, thinking he's got to move forward now, even if he fails. He's got that main character resolve. Sungjae asks if she's sure this is okay. She just smiles and tells him to prepare the device. Sungjae is genuinely worried. Even veteran mage raiders find this test difficult. He thinks she's being way too hard on the kid. Jaehyun stands before the swirling blue portal, looking like he's about to jump into a hurricane. She looks at Sungjae and asks if Jaehyun looks like a normal child to him. She thinks he's worth the risk. Sungjae closes his eyes and nods. He trusts her judgment even if it scares him. He taps a holographic panel to unlock the cube's full power. The mana cube flares up with an intense, blinding blue light. Jaehyun watches it, his eyes wide. He gulps, realizing the magic power in real life is way more intense than the books described. He's in deep now. She declares the start of the test with a confident smile. She expects great things from him. Jaehyun steps right up to the swirling edge of the cube. He takes a deep breath, closing his eyes to find his center. He needs every ounce of focus. He leans in, his body starting to disappear into the blue mana. He's pulled into the center of the vortex. The energy is absolutely wild. Sungjae and Sung-yoon watch the swirling portal intently, waiting for any sign of a struggle. Sungjae admits he's still worried about the young kid. He's definitely not as convinced as his boss. Sung-yoon is unwavering, saying he can do it. She has total faith in him. Sungjae asks why she's so certain. He needs more than just a gut feeling. She smirks and points to her head, saying it's her intuition. Classic S-rank response. She laughs, her heart racing with excitement. She can feel something big is about to happen. She gestures toward the cube. Inside the cube, Jaehyun is floating in a vast, starry blue ocean of pure mana. It looks like he's in the middle of a nebula. He's drifting in the blue void. It's quiet and eerie, like he's floating in space. He's relieved he can still breathe, since mana addiction is a real threat in high concentration areas. He's taking shallow breaths. The narrator explains that mana is usually like oxygen for raiders, totally necessary, but too much of it can shut down your lungs and be fatal. Jaehyun is on a timer. He knows wasting time here is a death sentence. The symptoms just haven't hit him yet, but they will. His first priority is to find the exit. He remembers that in a mana cube, there's only one way out. He looks around at the swirling energy. He has to find the one whirlpool that actually leads back to reality. He closes his eyes and concentrates, trying to feel the specific wavelength of the mana. He's surrounded by a chaotic mess of blue light waves. It's like trying to find a specific radio station in a sea of static. He's drifting through pink and blue nebula clouds. He's hyper-focused now. Suddenly, he feels something unnatural. A specific point in the field is pulsing differently. He turns his head towards a glowing purple aura. He's found the core. He swims towards the center of the whirlpool. The power coming from it is intense. He spots a glowing crystal in the middle of the storm, wondering if it's a crystal. The teardrop-shaped crystal is radiating a blinding light. It's the source of everything in this room. Jaehyun is mesmerized. The magic power coming from this tiny thing is absolutely overpowering. He feels as if the entire ocean of mana he's in is contained right inside that one crystal. Outside, Sungjae is still skeptical, but Sung-yoon responds with a simple, confident "of course." Sungjae narrows his eyes. He thinks she's being way too optimistic about a middle schooler. Sung-yoon thinks back to Jaehyun's impressive skills earlier. He's already proven he's not a normal kid. Sungjae asks how long she thinks he'll take. He's looking for a concrete number. She mentions her own record was 40 minutes. That was the fastest time in the whole country. Sungjae waits in silence, probably expecting Jaehyun to take a lot longer than that. He says it'll be one of two things. He's bracing himself for the worst. Sung-eun watches the cube, her long brown hair flowing. She's completely focused. Sungjae predicts either he can't get out at all, or he sets a new record. The blue energy in the cube starts to ripple. Sung-yoon agrees, but she doesn't think, he'll be coming out injured. Sungjae nods, but he's still on edge. Suddenly, she gasps. Something just went wrong. She points urgently at the cube, yelling for Sungjae Appa to look. Sungjae snaps his head over, his eyes wide with shock. He's totally stunned. He's never seen anything like this before. Massive white cracks are spiderwebbing across the surface of the energy field. The cracks spread like shattered glass, glowing with intense energy. The cube is literally falling apart. Sungjae is completely bewildered, wondering how a crack could form in the mana cube. This should be impossible. They both stare in awe as the entire structure begins to collapse under its own power. Sungjae clenches his tablet, his eyes fixed on the spectacle. He checks his watch. It's only been 10 minutes. He's totally reeling. In just 10 minutes, he's practically whispering in disbelief. He gulps as the blue lightning starts to arc everywhere. This isn't just a record breaker, it's a total system failure. Inside the mana cube, Jaehyun isn't just surviving, he's taking control. He's standing right in the center of a massive purple vortex, looking for a way out of this high-pressure trap. He spots a pulsating light in the center of the storm. The mana coming from this crystal is way denser than anything else in here. It's gotta be the core holding this whole simulation together. Jaehyun gives a sharp smirk, realizing he doesn't need to play by the rules. He thinks if so, he can get out once he breaks this. Who needs an exit when you could just shatter the room? He dives headfirst into the swirling currents of mana. Most raiders would be crushed by the pressure, but our boy is moving with purpose. He clenches his fist, pulling back for a massive strike. He's not treating this like a test anymore, he's treating it like an execution. He grabs the crystal and it immediately starts to spiderweb with cracks under his grip. The core is literally falling apart. With a deafening crash, the crystal shatters into a million pieces. He didn't just pass the test, he physically destroyed it. Jaehyun stands tall as the mana cube dissolves into floating particles of light. He looks completely unfazed, like he just finished a light workout. The system pings with a new notification. He's just acquired the passive skill Essence of Mana Application. Talk about a massive level up. From the outside, the energy field shatters with a violent explosion. The sound of glass breaking on a cosmic scale echoes through the room. Sungjae and Sungyun are left standing in a room full of smoke and falling debris. They look like they just witnessed a glitch in the Matrix. Sungjae is sweating bullets, his jaw hanging open, whispering, "My God." He's officially seen enough to know this kid is a monster. The narrator notes that normally only 7% of magicians can even break out of this thing. On top of that, it usually takes them over 3 hours of grueling effort. B ranks need 2 hours, and A ranks usually clock in at 1.5. Jaehyun is just standing there scratching his head like he's bored. Even the legendary S ranks take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. The scale of what just happened is starting to sink in. Sunjae is trembling as he looks at his watch. He mentions the previous world record holder, someone from the European Union. It was Camilla, a literal genius magician who made the Guinness Book of Records with a time of 36 minutes. That was the gold standard until today. Jaehyun just walked out like he was leaving a convenience store. He didn't just break the record, he completely annihilated it. Sunjae is doing the math and his brain is melting. Jaehyun beat the world record by a staggering 26 minutes. Jaehyun walks through the haze, looking totally casual. He has no idea he just became a global phenomenon. Sunjae lunges forward and grabs Jaehyun's hands, looking like a crazed fan. He yells that it's amazing, he broke out in just 10 minutes. Guildmaster Sungyun steps forward, her long hair swaying as she approaches. The atmosphere in the room changes instantly. She looks him dead in the eye, her expression unreadable. She asks how he was able to escape from the mana cube this quickly. Jaehyun just shrugs it off, saying, he found some kind of crystal in the cube and crushed it. Yeah, no big deal, right? Sungyun is floored. She screams, "WHH, what? You crushed it?" She's losing her cool for the first time. She explains that the crystal is the source of all the mana. An ordinary awakened wouldn't even be able to find it, let alone have the power to break it. She stares at him, realizing the kid in front of her is a once-in-a-century anomaly. He's not just talented, he's dangerous. The truth is clear. The mana Jaehyun possesses far exceeds the power of the cube itself. He was literally too big for the trap. She grabs his hands, her eyes glowing with a new kind of intensity. Okay, Min Jaehyun, she's made her decision. She stands there, looking like a literal goddess of the raider world. She's putting everything on the line for this kid. She begins by putting the Manhwa Guild and her own name, Yo Sung-eun's, on the line. Jaehyun is locked in, listening to her offer. She reaches out a hand, her cape fluttering in a dramatic wind. She swears to make him the greatest magician. This is basically a contract for godhood. She gives him a beautiful, sharp smile and asks if he's prepared. The legend of the adversary officially begins right here. Cut back to reality. Jaehyun's mom and Yoo-jung are standing outside the house waiting for him. The mood is way less intense here. Yoo-jung is checking her phone, looking annoyed. She complains that he's still not here, he's rather late today. Mom looks worried, but Yoo-jung is just ready to pick a fight. Suddenly, a massive black Rolls-Royce pulls up to the curb with a low hum. Talk about an entrance. The two of them are stunned. They're just standing there staring at the most expensive car they've ever seen in person. The car comes to a smooth stop. Even the tires look like they cost more than a year of rent. Sunjae steps out and opens the door for Jaehyun like he's royalty. The neighbors are definitely going to be talking about this. Yoo-jung's jaw is on the floor. She wonders if that isn't a really expensive car and why Min Jaehyun is coming out of there. She's losing her mind. Jaehyun waves a casual goodbye to Sunjae, saying he'll see him then. He's already acting like he's used to the luxury lifestyle. Mom looks confused, but relieved he's home. Yoo-jung is still suspicious, wondering if there's no way Jaehyun would have gotten involved in anything bad. Later that night, Yoo-jung is sitting in Jaehyun's room with her arms crossed. She's in full interrogation mode. She just says, "S.O." She's looking at him like she's about to read him his rights. She wants the truth, and she wants it now. Jaehyun is chilling at his desk, acting like nothing happened. He tells her he doesn't think being a warrior suits him and he's already submitted the paperwork to switch. He leans back and sighs, saying being a warrior would be damn tiresome now. He's definitely feeling the been there, done that vibe from his previous life. Yoo-jung looks at him like he's grown a second head, asking if he ate something bad or went insane. She's not buying the casual act. Jae-hyun just chuckles. "Hey," he says, "a person's mind is like a reed. It changes easily." Yoo-jung is absolutely fuming at his cryptic answers. She gets serious, asking if he'll really be alright. She reminds him he only picked the warrior path because he didn't want his mom to suffer financially. She points out that back in this era, being a magician is considered hard work that doesn't even make much money. She's worried he's throwing his future away. Flashback to the warrior glorification era. Magicians were seen as fragile and slow, while warriors were the only ones getting the good contracts. Close up on Jae-hyun's sharp orange eye. He knows the truth that she doesn't. He's playing the long game. He shuts the conversation down, telling her to stop talking about that. He's not wanting to dive into his trauma. He changes the subject, asking why she's over again and where her parents are. He's trying to shift the focus away from his secret. Yoo-jung flops onto his bed. "Yep," she says, "so she came over, but auntie told her to just sleep over. She's clearly making herself at home." Jae-hyun watches her, bewildered, asking why she would come to such a tiny place when she has a big house. He can't wrap his head around her logic. The narrator explains that Yoo-jung is actually the only daughter of a super affluent family. She's basically living the high life. Her parents travel the world dismantling and selling monster corpses. They're basically international elite brokers. Because they're always abroad, Yoo-jung is left home alone a lot. It's a lonely life despite the money. Since his mom is close with her parents, she's become a permanent fixture in their house. She's practically a second sibling. Jae-hyun decides to take advantage of her being there, asking her to teach him a little magic theory. Please. He knows she's a top student. She scoffs at him, asking if he's asking with just words. She's looking for a bribe. She asks him what he wants. She's not giving away her expertise for free. She taps her chin, thinking about what she can get out of this deal. She turns away for a second, a mischievous thought crossing her mind. Jae-hyun is just waiting for the punchline. She turns back with a wide, devious grin and tells him to grant her one wish. She's definitely planning something evil. Whatever she asks, she's looking way too happy about this. "I'd be careful if I were you, Jae-hyun." Jae-hyun agrees, but adds a catch of his own, a 1-year expiry date. If she doesn't use it in a year, she gets nothing. Yoo-jung thinks it's unfair, but eventually caves. She's got her wish locked in. Jae-hyun gives a smug smirk. He figures in a year, she'll definitely forget about it. Big mistake, buddy. Yoo-jung suddenly stands up, looking enraged. She remembers how he ran away at the speech and left her alone, asking if he really wants to die. She lunges at him with a pillow, yelling for him to see how he dies today. "It's on!" She's absolutely pummeling him. Jae-hyun is just trying to block the hits, yelling for her to shut up. It's a total pillow fight massacre. They're acting like real kids for once. Mom yells from downstairs that dinner is ready. "Saved by the bell!" Mom is in the kitchen looking as sweet and wholesome as ever. She has no idea a war was just happening upstairs. Yoo-jung is still breathing hard, her hair a mess. She's not done with him yet. She stares at the door, still fuming. That one wish is definitely going to come back to haunt him. Jae-hyun leans against the wall, a small smile on his face. This is the life he was fighting for. He thinks still, he guesses this isn't too bad. He's finally finding some peace in this timeline. Sunset shot over the city. It's a beautiful, calm moment before the inevitable storm. Suddenly, the mood shifts. Crows are swarming in a dark forest. Something bad is about to happen. A blade pierces right through a monster's skull. Blood splatters everywhere. Someone's out here on a rampage. It's Min Song. Oh, Jae-hyun's father. He's standing amidst a pile of feathers and blood, looking absolutely lethal. The forest is a graveyard of dead monsters. He's standing over a massive dead snake. He's not just a raider, he's a butcher. Someone calls out his name. "Seong!" Oh looks back with a cold, hollow expression. A guy in heavy red armor praises him, saying they were able to finish the raid easily thanks to him. Seong-oh just stares him down. He gives a short, cold thank you for his words. He's clearly not here to make friends. He cleans the blood off his massive sword in one smooth motion. The man is a machine. The Red Raider starts his pitch, saying someone like Song-oh would be a great addition to their guild. He's trying to scout him on the spot. Song-oh shuts him down instantly. He apologizes, but says he doesn't plan on joining a guild anytime soon. Cold as ice. The guy gets pushy, grabbing Song-oh's shoulder, telling him to come on and not be like that. Big mistake, buddy. Song-oh looks back over his shoulder, his eyes glowing with a terrifying red light. He's radiating pure killing intent. The guy is still talking about his Scarlet Guild and the best treatment. He has zero survival instincts. Song-oh smirks, a dark, twisted look on his face. Pesky, he thinks. He's done being polite. The Red Raider finally feels the pressure, letting out a confused, "What?" He looks genuinely terrified now. Song-oh is surrounded by a thick purple aura of pure malice. He looks like a literal demon in human skin. He's holding a glowing purple orb of energy. Whatever this is, it's not human magic. He thinks about how humans are murky and slovenly. He's looking down on them with total contempt, noting their vulgar sense of greed. He thinks that it's truly what one would expect from a human. The words are dark and heavy. He's officially not one of the good guys. Close up on his eyes, they're empty, cold, and void of any humanity. But then he thinks, no, he's wrestling with something. He stands alone in the blood-red sunset, surrounded by the carnage he created. He thinks humans aren't the only ones like that, are they? Suddenly, he snaps out of it, looking confused and wondering what he was doing here again. It's like he was possessed. Chapter 11 ends on a terrifying cliffhanger. See you next time. Alright guys, before the first lesson officially starts, the Guildmaster wants to see what Jaehyun is actually made of. In other words, she's checking his battle sense and reflexes right out the gate. And by checking, she means a full-on spar. Jaehyun is standing there looking a little caught off guard, but he's not backing down. Jaehyun lets out a little laugh, asking if this isn't a bit much from the very start. He's playing it cool, but you know he's feeling the pressure. She just smiles and throws his own logic back at him. She doesn't think something a kid who broke out of a mana cube in 10 minutes should be saying. She takes her stance and gives him the go-ahead, telling him to now try to attack. She is way too relaxed for this. Jaehyun's eye narrows as he realizes it's no wonder she had this whole thing planned from the beginning. She even suited up last time just to get him ready for this moment. Jaehyun takes a deep breath, mana starting to swirl around him. He's shifting gears from student to combatant in an instant. Look at that form. He drops into a low, focused stance, his eyes locked onto his target. He's not moving like a newbie mage at all. The Guildmaster watches him carefully, noting every detail of his posture. She's looking for those warrior habits he hasn't kicked yet. He places his left foot forward, firmly planting himself on the ground. This is all about balance and explosive movement. He bends his knees slightly, coiling his muscles like a spring. He's ready to dodge or strike at a moment's notice. He lowers his shoulders as much as possible to keep his center of gravity low. He looks more like he's preparing for a street fight than a magic duel. It's the classic warrior posture, a stance that allows him to easily dodge and move. He might be a mage now, but his body still remembers the sword. He's off. He launches forward with a burst of speed, his hand glowing with energy. She just watches him come with that same calm smile. She's seen this 1,000 times before. Jaehyun throws a punch, a bright flash of light exploding on impact. It looks like a solid hit, but wait. She caught it. She grabbed his hand effortlessly, her fingers digging in with a crushing grip. Talk about a power gap. Jaehyun's face says it all. He's sweating, his eyes wide with pure shock. He thought he was fast, but she's on another level. She gives him a little smirk, clearly enjoying his reaction. He really thought he had a chance, didn't he? With just a flick of her fingers, she releases a pulse of energy. It's like she's just swatting a fly. Jaehyun is sent sailing backward by a massive shockwave. He's skidding across the floor like a rag doll. He's down on one knee, gasping for air. He just thought he could at least get one hit in, but he realized that despite her being a healer, this is what should be expected of an S-rank raider. She walks toward him, her heels clicking ominously on the tile. She decides they're on a first-name basis now, telling him she'll call him Jaehyun informally from now on. She looks down at him, her expression a mix of curiosity and critique, asking if he said he was originally a warrior. He confirms that he was. She points out the obvious flaw. He's still dashing forward like he's holding a sword, and asks how a magician can just jump forward like that. She asks him the fundamental question: what does he think is the biggest difference between a warrior and a magician? Jaehyun looks up, answering correctly that it should be whether you fight your opponent from a close or long range. She nods, glad he at least knows the theory. Now he just needs to put it into practice. She explains that the magician class normally weakens their opponents from a distance before landing the final blow. It's not about being a brawler. If he keeps closing the distance and fighting too much, his low defense is going to get him killed quickly. She admits she was being too complacent. She needs to push him harder if he's ever going to learn. She thinks she should take this a bit more seriously. When an S-rank says that, you know it's time to pray. She tells him he needs to see how a real magician fights. Jaehyun looks like he's ready for round 2 though. Blue mana starts surging around her as she readies an attack. She says she'll be attacking, and while it won't be enough to seriously hurt him, she's not going easy. She smirks, reminding him that besides, she's a healer. If she breaks him, she can just patch him right back up. How comforting. Jaehyun is gritting his teeth, his nerves shot. He's feeling the raw power radiating off her. She knows he's still hiding some of his true potential, telling him that she knows this isn't everything he's got. She's trying to bait him into showing his real hand. So, she says, do it properly this time. She's done playing nice. She wants to see what he's really got. Jaehyun is surrounded by crackling mana and floating blue crystals. He's finally locking in for the real fight. She fires a barrage of magical beams. They're tearing through the air, heading straight for him. He dives and slides across the floor, dodging the lasers by a hair's breadth. He's using that warrior speed to stay alive. He's flipping and twisting through the air like an acrobat. He shouts out that it's his turn as he preps a counter. Yellow lightning starts dancing around Jaehyun's body. He's pulling out the big guns now. The system confirms it. Active skill lightning chain has been activated. It's shocking how fast he's learning this. He launches the attack. The golden light is blinding as it arcs toward the guildmaster. A massive lightning strike slams into her position. The floor is probably scorched after that one. She's actually impressed. An A-rank skill, and lightning chain at that. She notes that it seems like he's concealing quite a bit of talent. She's actually starting to enjoy this lesson. But she prepares an instant counterattack. A blue magical circle forms in the palm of her hand. A high-speed energy bolt zips past Jaehyun's head with a sharp sound. If he hadn't moved, he'd be missing an ear. Jaehyun is sweating, his eyes wide as he barely tracks her movement. He thinks, damn, it's too fast. A massive blast of ice and water energy hits the ground near him. The impact is huge, throwing up a cloud of vapor. She lectures him while he's reeling. No matter how good a skill is, if you can't hit your target, then it's useless, don't you think? Facts. The dust settles, and Jaehyun's silhouette is just visible through the haze. He's still up, but he's seen better days. He's panting hard, his clothes are shredded, and he's covered in soot. He thinks, oh my, as he looks down at his condition. He's reached his limit, right? She's actually surprised. This is unexpected. She lowered the power of her spell, but she didn't expect him to still be standing. She readies another round, the room filled with glowing geometric shapes, asking then if he'll be able to endure this too. Jaehyun is leaning forward, his hair covering his face. He's huffing like he's about to pass out. Suddenly, his eye flares with a brilliant gold light. A high-pitched humming sound fills the air. Something big is coming. A massive surge of blue mana erupts from his body. He's forcing his magic to the absolute breaking point. Notifications flash, universal derivation has been activated, and her holy arrow spell was just destroyed. He's breaking her magic. The guildmaster is completely floored. Her spell? No way. She's never seen anyone do this before. She wonders if he somehow reverse-engineered her spell and destroyed it in that short time. That's some high-level mental calculation right there. She starts smiling again, clearly fascinated by this kid, saying he really keeps surprising her every time and wondering how many more surprises he has hiding. Jaehyun gives a tired, cocky smirk through the sweat and says he doesn't know. He's definitely feeling himself now. He throws one last, desperate lightning bolt. It's a powerful attack, even without his staff. She looks completely calm, her eyes following the electricity. She parries the lightning bolt with a simple flick of her wrist. She is just too fast for him. She notes how swift he is, but she also notices the tingling sensation in her hand. She's impressed by the raw power. It's almost unbelievable that this much power is coming from an untrained kid. He's a total diamond in the rough. Normally, to a magician, incantations are something that always accompanied casting as a rule. Of course, it's not impossible for high-level magicians. It wasn't unheard of to lower the output of the spell. But that child is still a beginner in magic. She wonders how on earth he is casting spells without incanting. Jaehyun is trembling, sweat pouring down his face. He's completely out of mana. To him, she's a complete monster. She smiles warmly, her hair flowing in the magic breeze. She says he's really full of surprises. Jaehyun's vision starts to blur. He's seeing her through a hazy, tired lens. The world starts spinning. He's reached his absolute limit. He lets out a confused sound as he sees her looming over him, telling him he's still too young. Everything starts to fade to black. She stands over his fallen form, looking like a victorious warrior. Jaehyun falls flat on his back with a heavy thud. He's totally out for the count. He stares up at the ceiling, totally dazed, wondering what just happened. His brain is still trying to process the beatdown. She leans over him, her long hair falling around his face. She gives him a playful, mocking look, asking what he was thinking and if he didn't think he'd win. Welcome to the big leagues, Jaehyun. Guildmaster Sung-yoon is standing tall, while Jaehyun is bent over, catching his breath. He's definitely feeling the burn from that first session. Jaehyun is flat on his back, staring at the ceiling in total shock. His only thought is about that last attack. We see a replay of the impact. Jaehyun was sent flying before he even realized what happened. He admits he couldn't even see the strike coming. He picks himself up, his orange eyes burning with determination. He finally understands the massive gap between a normal raider and an S rank. Sung-yoon watches him closely, her expression calm but observant. She's clearly calculating her next move. A collage showing Jaehyun's hybrid style, combining his warrior reflexes with his new magic speed. It's a combination that shouldn't work, but it does. Close up on Sung-yoon's face. She's thinking to herself that if any kid can pull off the impossible, it's definitely this one. She tells him she had a specific thought while watching him fight. Jaehyun looks up, curious about what a pro thinks of his mess. She gives a sharp smile, explaining it's a style many have dreamed of, but no one has ever mastered. A fighting style unique to him. She leans in, asking if he doesn't find the idea interesting. Jaehyun looks like his whole worldview just shifted. A fighting style only I can learn? The weight of those words is clearly sinking in for our boy. She gives a playful grin and tells him he needs to call her teacher from now on. Things just got official. Sung-yoon looks proud as hell of her new recruit. She starts to add something else. Congratulations on becoming my first apprentice. Talk about getting a legendary mentor on day 1. Cut to later, Jae-hyun is at his desk, looking a bit spaced out. A familiar voice calls out to him. He's snapped back to reality with a start, letting out a confused sound. He's clearly not used to being interrupted when he's brooding. It's Yeojun. She's got a mouthful of food and is glaring at him from across the desk, calling his name. Jae-hyun is not impressed. He tells her to finish swallowing before she tries to pick a fight. Classic sibling energy right here. He looks at her cup of ramen. He bought it as payment for her teaching him magic theory, but he's regretting the price tag. She's already on her 4th cup. Jae-hyun is genuinely shocked, asking if she's still not tired of it. She wipes her mouth, looking totally satisfied, saying, yeah, she's not tired. She's ready to get back to the books. We see Jae-hyun's notebook. He's been drawing out magic classifications like basic, buff, and healing. He's taking this seriously. Yoo-jung starts pointing out the key classifying points. Jae-hyun is just impressed. She's actually a decent artist. System pings. His magic efficiency and derivation understanding just shot up. Studying with a pro is definitely paying off. Jae-hyun sees the notification and wonders if it's happening again. The system is practically gift-wrapping these upgrades for him. He realizes the Nornir system alerts him every single time he makes even a tiny bit of progress. It's a constant ego boost. It's as if the system itself is cheering him on, explicitly wanting him to improve as fast as possible. Yeojung is impressed. She asks if he's really the same guy who was obsessed with being a warrior. His magic growth is terrifying. He casually mentions he memorized all the formulas in 3 days. Yoo-jung looks like she wants to throw her ramen at him. She demands he call her teacher too. Jae-hyun reluctantly folds, saying, "Alright teacher, what a pain in the ass." She rants about how she started studying way before him. The jealousy is real, and it is hilarious. She's flailing around, complaining that he's catching up too fast. He's basically a speedrunner at this point. Jae-hyun stays focused. He says magic must suit him, just like his aptitude score suggested. He's done with the sword life. A dark vision of hell looms in his mind. He thinks he's the one who should be complaining, considering his life is literally on the line. Yeojung takes another sip of her soup. She starts to say that she never said anything about it before. Her tone is getting a bit softer. She admits she was genuinely shocked when he originally chose the warrior path. She knew he was wasting a god-tier magic stat. She points out that magicians in this era don't make much money, so throwing away his talent seemed like a crazy move. She leans forward, really wanting an answer, asking how he could just throw away all that aptitude. Jae-hyun looks away, his expression going cold. He tells her she should know better than anyone how society treats mages right now. He gets emotional, mentioning the way people view magicians right now. A look of intense pain or memory flashes in his orange eyes. He flashes back to a dark place. He's bound in heavy red chains, looking completely broken and defeated. We see a mysterious figure cloaked in red mana. Jae-hyun wonders if he really chose this new path of his own accord. A silhouette appears in a sea of red energy. Jae-hyun is questioning if his current choices are just another set of chains. He shakes off the memories, wondering if he really chose this path of his own accord. The doubt is starting to grow. Yeojung snaps him back to the room, asking if he's practicing his casting. She's got a sharp eye for a teacher. Jae-hyun admits he's learning casting from another teacher. Yeojung is not happy about his casual tone. He corrects himself, yes, teacher, but internally, he's rattled by those sudden memories, wondering what that was just now. A ghostly image of hell appears in the room. Jae-hyun wonders if he's losing his mind or if he really heard something. Close up on his eyes. He forces himself to snap out of it. He doesn't have time for a mental breakdown. He remembers Hell's deadline. He has only 2 months to defeat the Nightshade. The clock is ticking. He closes his eyes tight, thinking now isn't the time to lose focus. He needs to be a productivity machine. He taps his pen against his face, plotting, thinking he should think of something more productive. For example, he thinks of a specific man sitting on a couch, someone who holds a very important item. The guy is talking about a valuable pill that will be a game changer for raiders. Jae-hyun needs that loot. He's determined to get that pill to help him overcome this wall. He's looking for any advantage he can get. The text says, "That can help me overcome this wall." The boy is clearly planning a heist or a very expensive purchase. Transition to the guild's training hall. A loud clang echoes as metal hits metal. Someone is getting a beatdown. It's a massive, high-tech training floor. Sung-jae is walking through, acting as the drill sergeant for a group of rookies. Sung-jae is in full instructor mode, looking stern as hell as he surveys the training raiders. He's shouting corrections at everyone, telling Raider Park Woo-jin to watch his waist when he swings his sword. He's not pulling any punches. He barks at a female raider next, telling Raider Kang Jina her casting is slow. He says slow healing equals dead colleagues. Guildmaster Sung Yoon walks up behind him. She's been observing the whole session from the shadows. She notes that the average rank is better than last year, but she seems a bit distracted herself. Sungjae notices her spaced-out look and calls out to the guildmaster. He's curious what could distract an S rank like her. She snaps out of it and apologizes, looking a bit sheepish. Sungjae just gives a knowing smirk. He asks if she was thinking about Min Jae-hyun. He totally called her out. Sung-yoon is blushing just a tiny bit. She admits it freely, saying she really can't fool him. Appa, he hit the mark. Sungjae mentions that what she wants to teach the kid is something, asak, that hundreds of legendary raiders have tried and failed. It's basically a forbidden or impossible technique. She reminds him that he's seen the kid's talent himself. She's betting everything on his potential. She's full of praise, saying he moves with the perfect efficiency of a veteran. No wasted mana, no wasted steps. She looks out the window, her gaze landing on the training rookies, saying if another S-rank magician is to appear in the future, it will undoubtedly be Jae-hyun. That is a massive statement coming from a legend. She admits that her effectiveness in direct battle is low because she's a healer. She needs a heavy hitter. A vision of Jae-hyun surrounded by blue energy appears. If he appears like a comet right now, he will literally turn the entire magic world upside down, and she can't wait to see it happen. Part 6 coming next. Behold the holy grail of raider items, the elixir of magic reinforcement. It's literally a glowing brown orb sitting on a fancy red pillow, looking like it's worth a fortune. The narrator explains that this thing permanently boosts the magic power of whoever chugs it. We see a guy in the background looking absolutely thrilled with his power-up. It's an item every magic class raider would sell their soul to get. But back in reality, we see some purple sludge bubbling away in a pot, not exactly looking like a miracle drug. Jae-hyun is standing over the stove, looking frustrated. He's stirring this gross, purple-black smoke with a ladle, and things are definitely not going according to plan. He finally snaps and slams the counter, yelling, "Fuck this." The pot explodes with a loud sizzling sound, sending purple goop everywhere. Chemistry is hard, man. He rubs his forehead, looking completely exhausted, wondering how many times he's done this. Breaking the laws of magic from your kitchen isn't as easy as it looks. He looks into the sink, which is now filled with the burnt remains of his latest failure. That's at least 3 sets of expensive ingredients down the drain. Jae-hyun is sweating, realizing he's literally burning through all his cash. The recipe said the liquid was supposed to turn white, but it's looking more like sewer water. He watches the pot boil, feeling totally stuck. He can't even ask anyone for advice because, in this timeline, the elixir hasn't even been discovered yet. He crouches on the kitchen floor, surrounded by smoke and failure. It's a long way from being a legendary hero when you're just a guy making a mess in his mom's house. Flash forward to November 2020. The narrator confirms that at this point in time, absolutely nobody knows the secret recipe for this magic juice. This elixir won't officially be shared with the world for another 5 years. Jae-hyun's basically got a futuristic cooking book that he can't quite read yet. He stares at the burnt gunk on his ladle. It's a huge burden knowing you're the only person on the planet who holds this secret. The kitchen is a wreck, covered in purple splatters. He's the only one who knows the ingredients and the method, yet he's still failing. The truth is clear. The only person with the knowledge at this moment is him. No pressure or anything. He recalls the past. Before he regressed, the recipe was publicized for free by a world-famous alchemist. We see a silhouette of a man in a lab coat. The alchemist in the memory, a guy with messy hair and glasses, hoped the elixir would help raiders everywhere. Noble guy. And here he is, Lee Ji-sang. He looks like a total nerd, but he's basically the Einstein of magic chemistry. Jae-hyun decides to give up on the DIY approach, thinking there's no use in continuing to try. If he can't cook, he needs to find a chef. He gives a wicked little smirk. He's going to bet on a different possibility, one that involves meeting the actual inventor. As the guy who actually made the elixir, Lee Ji-sang should know the secret. Now Jae-hyun just needs to find him. Jae-hyun looks pretty pleased with himself. Even if he can't brew the potion, making a friend like Lee Ji-sang is a massive win for his future. He thinks it'll be beneficial. The plan is simple: track down the genius and get him on the team early. He recalls that Jae-sang is currently a first-grade senior attending Mills Academy. That's a good starting point. Jae-hyun's eyes glow with focus. Then my destination is, he thinks. He's already packing his bags in his head. Behold, Mills Academy, a massive, futuristic city inside a dome at night. It looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Suddenly, the doorbell starts ringing like crazy. Talk about perfect timing for an interruption. It's Yo-jung! She opens the door and shouts for Jae-hyun that she's home. She's about to walk into a very smoky surprise. The kitchen is filled with thick, ominous purple smoke. It looks more like a dark magic ritual gone wrong than a cooking accident. Yo-jung stares at the burnt ladle, her face pale with shock, wondering what's happening and if she should call the cops. Honestly, that's a fair question. She looks around the house, terrified, thinking it doesn't look like anything's been taken. She's trying to rationalize the disaster. She grips a spatula like a weapon and starts sneaking through the smoke, wondering if there's a robber that leaves messes in kitchens without taking anything. Logic isn't her strong suit right now. Time for a history lesson. After Yggdrasil appeared, an endless swarm of demons spilled out, including this terrifying dragon. Only a few elite raiders were able to establish strong footholds against the invasion. We see a few of them, including Guildmaster Sung Eun, looking like total bosses. One of the best was Quickblade, Lee Jae-shin. He looks like a high-level assassin with those glowing eyes and spiky hair. But then, he just vanished. Korea's first S-rank raider went missing. That's a massive hole in the country's defenses. Lee Jae-shang is actually Jae-shin's youngest son. He's the person Jae-hyun needs to track down right now. Jae-hyun is at a terminal where a receptionist asks him where to. He's moving fast. He asks for a portal to Daegu, please. He says it with a straight face, but you know he's going into a war zone. Daegu is a ghost town now, closed off because of a massive demon infestation. It's definitely not a vacation spot. Crows fly over the ruined skyscrapers of Daegu. It's a place where you fear for your life the second you step out of the portal. The receptionist looks shocked, asking if he's a student from Mills Academy. She can't believe a kid is going there voluntarily. Jae-hyun gives a calm smile, saying no. He's not even a student yet, just a guy with a death wish. He says he's still just a prospective student, like he's just going to orientation. He lets out a long breath. He's finally arrived at the gates of the Lion's Den. He stands before the main gates of Mills Academy. The scale of the place is insane, with that massive blue dome glowing in the background. He looks at the school with a heavy heart. It's a place filled with terrible, yet familiar memories from his past life. He shakes off the nostalgia and starts walking, thinking there's no time to reminisce. He's got work to do. The narrator warns that this area isn't safe at all. Danger is literally around every corner. Demons are still roaming the streets, waiting for an easy meal. This isn't a school, it's a combat zone. Jae-hyun enters a high-tech lobby where everyone is dressed in black suits. It looks more like a secret government base. He's wearing a temporary entry pass, wondering where Lee Jae-sang is hiding. He knows the kid won't be easy to find. He remembers Jae-song was in the martial arts class, though he didn't care much for his talent. He's looking for the person, not the stats. Flashback to Jae-song getting beat up in training. The kid hates fighting, which is a bit of a problem in a school for killers. Jae-hyun walks down a quiet corridor, looking like he owns the place. Then, to the lecture halls, he heads toward a crowd of students up ahead. He can sense some trouble brewing. He suddenly stops and turns his head. He's heard something that doesn't sound right. He looks around a corner and sees a large group of students crowding around someone. Classic bullying in progress. He overhears them talking. One asks if they shouldn't stop that. The other says, why should we? Nothing good will come out of helping that stuttering bastard. These kids are the worst. Jae-hyun's expression goes cold. He hears the word stuttering, and he's putting the pieces together. He stands in the shadows, his face obscured except for one glowing orange eye. He's found his target, and someone is about to have a very bad day. He thinks a slight disturbance should be fine. He's decided to step in and play the hero for a minute. Jae-hyun shoves his way through the circle of bullies with a flash of movement. He's not asking nicely. He calls them a bunch of cowards with no balls. Bold move, let's see if they can handle the insult. He walks right up to the main guy, his movements smooth and threatening. He throws a powerful shoulder check that sends a green-haired student flying, making the kid let out a pained grunt. That's one way to start a conversation. Jae-hyun grabs the green-haired kid by the shoulder before he can fall. The kid looks absolutely terrified. The poor kid can only stammer out that he's sorry while shaking. He's clearly been through a lot today. Close up on Jae-hyun's intense orange eyes. He's looking right through the kid, searching for the truth. A middle-aged man in a suit looks over, clearly annoyed, asking who he is. He's trying to act tough, despite being an adult bullying kids. He mocks the kid again, calling him a little stutterbug. This guy is a piece of work. The green-haired kid is sobbing, tears streaming down his face as he whimpers. It's heartbreaking to see. Jae-hyun stares at the crying boy, his expression softening just a tiny bit. He's confirmed it. Found you, Lee Jae-sang, he thinks. The search is officially over. See you guys in the next one. Jae-hyun stands tall, positioning himself right between the bully and his target. This dude is literally a human wall, and he's not moving an inch. Jae-hyun looks over his shoulder and asks if Hyung is alright. Jae-song just stares back, looking totally shell-shocked by the sudden rescue. The poor kid is completely lost, stammering out a confused sound, asking who he is. I mean, wouldn't you be if a random student just started taking names for you? The bully reaches out a hand toward Jae-hyun, looking super unimpressed. He asks if he's the stutterer's little brother, like he's trying to figure out why a newbie is interfering. The bully looms over him, noting that they don't look alike one bit. Jae-hyun just gives him this intense, orange-eyed stare that says, keep talking, see what happens. The bully continues his trash talk, saying Jae-song never mentions his family, so he assumed they were all monster food. Jae-song just looks down at his shoes, totally depressed by the low blow. Close up on the bully's face, he's got that smug I'm in charge grin as he tells Jaehyun they're having an important discussion. Jaehyun looks like he'd rather be doing literally anything else. Jaehyun just swats the guy's hand away like it's a fly. He warns him that if he doesn't want a bad situation, he should probably go wait somewhere else. The bully's face drops instantly, replaced by a look of pure, offended shock. Big mistake, buddy. You don't just dismiss a bully like that and expect him to be cool with it. Jae-sung is still shaking in the background, tears welling up in his eyes. He's never seen anyone stand up to this guy before. Jaehyun flashes a polite, totally fake smile and suggests that it would be best if Jae-sung went to the nurse's office. He's trying to get the victim out of the splash zone. He asks if he can walk, but Jae-sung's brain is clearly fried. Look at those dizzy eyes. The kid is seeing stars without even being hit yet. The bully grinds his teeth and lets out a low sound of annoyance. You can practically see the steam coming out of his ears at this point. The bully lunges forward and grabs Jaehyun right by the collar. He's officially reached his limit with this bastard. He gets right in Jaehyun's face, asking if he wants to die because, apparently, he can't understand a polite warning. Jaehyun doesn't even flinch. He just stares back with his cold, shadowed face and those glowing eyes. This dude is terrifying. Jaehyun notes to himself that this is the second time already. He's really starting to get annoyed with people touching his clothes. Jae-sung is just standing there in the background, looking absolutely awkward as the silhouettes of the two fighters tower over him. He's probably wondering if he should leave. Jaehyun looks down at the hand on his shirt, wondering why people keep grabbing his collar so often lately. It's like a magnet for bad decisions. Flashback time, Yo-jung is teaching him magic theory. Step 1, have a clear image. Step 2, calculate the formula. Step 3, construct the spell and execute it. Yo-jung is showing off with some water magic, looking like a total pro. She gives a confident grin, asking if he understands. She's really enjoying being the teacher for once. Flashback to the Guildmaster too. Jaehyun visualizes the image he wants, a beam of light that shoots out like an arrow. Simple and effective. Guildmaster Sung-yoon looks on, her silhouette framed by the intense blue mana as she gives him the signal, now. Back in the present, the system notification pings. Active skill Holy Arrow has been activated. It's go time. Jaehyun points a single finger, and a massive arrow of white light explodes right in the bully's face. That is some point-blank disrespect. The bully is reeling, his face lit up by the magic as he realizes he messed with the wrong mage. The bully lets out a scream as the arrow connects, and Jae-sung is just standing there with his mouth hanging open. Jae-sung is completely floored. He can't believe Jaehyun just cast a high-level spell without even an incantation. The other students in the hall are starting to gossip, wondering what the fuck just happened. No one even saw him cast anything. A student wonders how that even makes any sense, and how a simple holy arrow could break a warrior's arm like that. The power level is definitely sus. The bully is hunched over, clutching his arm and sweating bullets. He looks like he's trying to figure out if he should run or keep fighting. He grits his teeth, worried about his reputation. He usually struts around like he's the king of the school, so this beatdown is embarrassing. He looks up with pure rage in his eyes, telling Jaehyun he doesn't know where a bastard like him came from, but he won't let him go. Talk about a sore loser. The bully lunges forward again with a pained grunt. Jaehyun just lets out a tired sigh, like he's dealing with a persistent fly. The bully is screaming as he charges, his face twisted in a desperate snarl. The bully's arm starts glowing with mana, and he's preparing for a direct strike. He's putting everything into this one. Jae-sung screams out a warning for him to be careful. He's terrified that his savior is about to get smashed. The bully swings his arm, but it slams into an invisible blue barrier right in front of Jaehyun's face with a loud thud. Jaehyun doesn't even move an inch. He just watches the impact with this calm, almost bored look. Close up on Jaehyun's orange eye glowing intensely as he focuses his mana. He's taking this seriously now. Flashback again. Sung-yoon explains the mana barrier. You have to wrap mana evenly around your whole body. That way, any attacks just bounce right off. She's demonstrating it by letting lightning and energy hit her like it's nothing. Back in reality, the system pings. Active skill mana barrier has been activated. The bully lets out a frustrated sound as he's putting all his weight into the barrier, but he's not even making a dent. He looks like a guy trying to push a mountain. Jaehyun holds out a glowing hand, his barrier shimmering with blue geometric patterns. He looks so cool here. The bully lets out a frustrated grunt as he realizes his arm is stuck against the invisible wall. He's totally outplayed. Jaehyun suddenly grabs the bully's face with a massive hand. That is going to hurt in the morning. The bully is muffled, letting out a pained groan as he's pinned down. He's gone from hunter to prey in about 3 seconds. Jaehyun looks down at him from the shadows, his face totally obscured except for those glowing eyes. He asks if he's done. Cold as ice, man. Mana starts swirling in Jaehyun's hand again. He's preparing a point-blank execution. Active skill Holy Arrow has been activated. Round 2, let's go. A massive blast of white light incinerates the air as it hits the bully right in the face. The bully is sent flying back, crashing into the ground with a loud thud. He's definitely not getting up from that one. Jae-hyun stands over the defeated bully as the smoke clears. Total victory. Jae-song is speechless, just staring at the back of this mysterious student. He wonders who on earth he is. Jae-hyun casually pulls some stuff out of his pockets, looking totally unbothered by the fight he just ended. He gives a sideways glance with his glowing eye, checking on the kid he just rescued. Jae-sheng flinches with a terrified squeak and looks away. I mean, he just saw this guy vaporize a bully, so can you really blame him? Jae-hyun just stares at him blankly, probably wondering why the kid is so jumpy. He starts walking toward Jae-sang with a steady pace. The hallway is silent now. We get a shot of the bully lying on the ground, bruised and broken. Jae-hyun really didn't hold back. Jae-hyun looks at the fallen bully and thinks, whoa, he really got him good. He seems a little surprised by his own power. He gives Jae-sang a skeptical look, wondering if the kid always looked this pathetic. He lights a small flame in his hand and sighs. Oh well, he's decided to be helpful after all. He pulls out a high-grade red potion bottle from his inventory. This is some expensive medicine he's about to use. He looks at the potion, admitting he didn't buy it for this, but it can't be helped. He's got a soft spot for the underdog. Jae-sung's eyes go wide as he recognizes the bottle. He realizes what it is. He knows exactly how valuable that potion is. He pops the cork off the bottle. He's not hesitating at all to use it. He pours the glowing red liquid right onto Jae-sung's face. It's an aggressive healing style, but it gets the job done. The potion glows as it hits the wounds, instantly starting to heal the kid. Jae-sung is left breathless, his eyes reflecting the magic of the potion. He's never been treated so well in his life. The bully starts to wake up, looking confused as the healing magic spreads. Jae-hyun notes that whoever made this potion did a good job. Jae-hyun turns to leave, asking Jae-sang if they shall get going now. He gives one final cold look back, saying to the nurse's office, that is, he's still playing the part of the helpful upperclassman. Jae-sung is left standing there, trembling and sweating, still trying to wrap his head around his mysterious savior. Talk about a life-changing day. Jae-hyun and Jae-sang are heading up the stairs of a clean-looking facility. It's a nice, quiet change of pace after all that hallway drama. Jae-sang is totally on edge, stammering out that he doesn't think this is the way to the nurse's office. He's looking at Jae-hyun's back like he's expecting a trap. Jae-hyun just keeps walking with a steady pace while Jae-sung follows behind, letting out a nervous little squeak. The power dynamic here is absolute. Jae-hyun stops and scans the area, noting he doesn't feel any presence nearby. He says no one should be able to hear them, sounding way more like a spy than a student. Jae-sang's eyes go wide as he realizes he's being isolated. This kid's survival instincts are finally screaming at him. He looks down, a shadow falling over his face as he thinks, he knew it. He came to me knowing who I am. Kid's got some serious main character drama. He finally asks the big question, did his father send him? Jae-hyun looks back, totally blank-faced. Jae-hyun realizes he's accidentally tripped on a major nerve. He thinks it seems like he's seriously misunderstanding things and wants to calm the kid down. Jae-hyun plays it off cool, asking how he would know who his father is. He's lying through his teeth, but his poker face is god tier. Jae-sang gives him the most skeptical look ever. Jae-hyun knows he hasn't convinced the kid one bit. Jae-sang finally asks, then why did he come find him? He's still trying to figure out what this OP newbie wants. Jae-hyun cuts to the chase. He wants him to do a favor for him. Poor Jae-sung can only stammer back, a favor? Jae-hyun gives a friendly smile and tells him he wants him to make a potion. Jae-sang looks like he's about to have a heart attack, stammering out, PPP potion. The kid starts panicking, waving his hands and claiming he doesn't know how to make that kind of thing. His eyes are literally spiraling. Jae-hyun isn't buying it. He knows the truth. Huh? He says, you're good at it. Alchemy. He pulls out that same glowing potion bottle and drops the nuke. Wasn't it you who put this up on the black market? Checkmate. Jae-sung is totally busted. Hand over his mouth and everything. He manages to choke out, how? His internal monologue is going into meltdown. He wonders how he figured that out. There's no way he was able to track him down through the black market. Jae-hyun just smirks, knowing exactly what the kid is thinking. Tracking someone on the black market is supposed to be impossible. Jae-sang is sweating bullets, agreeing in his head that the market's security is airtight. He's totally confused. We get a cool graphic for the black market, a trading system that's supposed to protect identities perfectly. It looks like some high-end hacker UI. Everything goes through the Acer system, so the security is literally god tier, or at least it was until a regressor showed up. Jae-hyun looks off to the side, thinking if it weren't. He remembers a red-haired guy and thinks he never would have considered selling that eye if it wasn't for the market security. This dude has deep secrets. He shakes it off, thinking there's no use dwelling on that now. He's focused on the present. Jae-sung is still standing there, looking like he wants to disappear into the floor. He's totally at Jae-hyun's mercy. Jae-hyun is just relieved that the Nornir system and the black market are operating normally. He's playing a very different game than everyone else. He looks at the potion, knowing that without it, things wouldn't have gone so smoothly. He's definitely a the ends justify the means kind of guy. The text confirms, things wouldn't have gone so smoothly. This potion was the ultimate icebreaker. He smiles at Jae-sang and asks if he's right. It's a totally friendly question that feels 100% like a threat. Jae-sang tries to play dumb, but Jae-hyun knows he's a terrible liar. He stammers that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Nice try, kid. Jae-hyun tells him straight up. He understands that he wants to play dumb, but he also doesn't have time for that. He's got 2 months to save the world, so he's not here for games. We see a shot of Jae-sung's lab, filled with books and potion bottles. This is where the magic happens. Flashback to Jae-sang in the lab, registering an item on the black market. He looks way more confident when he's around beakers and tubes. He wonders now if it was a mistake to put that potion up for sale. Hindsight is 20/20, especially with a regressor around. He lets out a heavy sigh, thinking he didn't expect something he did for money to turn out like this. Welcome to the plot, buddy. He looks totally dejected, staring out the window. His quiet life as a secret alchemist is officially over. He shuts his eyes tight, terrified of what happens if his father finds out. This family has some serious baggage. He suddenly turns into a total beggar, pleading that he'll do anything. He's desperate to keep his secret safe. He bows his head low, begging Jae-hyun to keep it a secret from other people. This kid is really going through it. Jae-hyun puts a steadying hand on the kid's shoulder and tells him simply, he didn't. He clarifies that he didn't bring this up to blackmail him. He's not a total villain, despite what his face says sometimes. He hands the glowing potion bottle back to a shocked Jae-sang. The kid didn't expect to get his loot back, Jae-hyun explains. He just needs a good alchemist. He's building his own Avengers team. He needs someone who can brew the high-level potions he's going to need for his adversary quest. Jae-sung looks up, the words, a good alchemist, echoing in his mind. He's finally feeling seen for his actual talent. He studies Jae-hyun's face and realizes the dude isn't lying. He wonders if his father really didn't send him, finally starting to relax. He finally asks the big question, who, while looking into Jae-hyun's eyes. Who are you? He wants to know the name of the guy who just saved him in his secret business. Jae-hyun gives a charming smile, saying he's a prospective Miller's Academy student, Sunbae. Talk about a humble introduction. He finally gives his name, please call me Min Jae-hyun. Jae-sang repeats it like it's a prayer. Jae-sung clutches his potion bottle to his chest. He's found a person he can actually talk to. He tentatively leads Jae-hyun away, saying first, like he's inviting him into his private world. He looks over his shoulder and says he'll listen to what he has to say. The alliance is officially formed. They enter a room that looks like a studio or lab. It's cluttered but has a cozy nerd cave feel to it. Jae-hyun looks around and gives a genuine compliment. Your studio has a nice vibe. Jae-sang just blushes and stammers out his thanks. They sit down on a bed and a stool to talk business. It's a very intimate setting for two guys who just met. Jae-sung leans forward, still looking a bit nervous. He's ready to hear what kind of crazy request Jae-hyun has. He asks the million-dollar question. So, the potion you want made is... Jae-hyun gives a knowing little smirk. He's about to change this kid's life forever. The elixir of magic reinforcement. Jae-sung's eyes go wide. He's never heard of anything that permanently increases a raider's magic power. He stands up in total shock, asking if it permanently increases, and if that's possible. This is literal science fiction to him. Jae-hyun looks him dead in the eye and says, of course it's possible. He's speaking from experience after all. He visualizes the older version of Jae-sung and thinks, this is an elixir you yourself made. Time loops are crazy. The text emphasizes the prize, a permanent magic, power increase. This is the ultimate goal. Jae-sung immediately starts brainstorming, asking what kind of ingredients he would need to use for that kind of effect. He's in genius mode now. He starts listing off items like mandrake roots and spring water from Jotunheimer. He looks like a totally different person when he's talking shop. He shakes his head, thinking those wouldn't be enough. Jae-hyun is watching him intently, impressed by how fast his brain is working. Jae-hyun notes that his atmosphere has changed. The stuttering mess is gone, replaced by a true prodigy. Jae-sung is inferring the recipe just from hearing the desired effect. This kid is on another level of talent. Jae-hyun gives a wicked little smirk. He's realized he absolutely must get this kid on his side at any cost. Jae-sung gasps as the weight of the task hits him, stammering out, but for that kind. He stammers that it might be better to ask a different alchemist. He's still insecure about his own god-tiered talent. Jae-hyun lunges forward and grabs the kid by the shoulders. He wants him to do it. He'll get him whatever he needs. Total faith. He knows in his head that with a recipe, other alchemists could do it, but he's not looking for others. He knows that the only person who can truly push the boundaries of alchemy is Lee Jae-sang. He's betting on the person, not the process. Close up on his eye. He thinks it makes sense to invest in him. The favor, he's a total strategist. He gives a soft, encouraging look and asks if he'll do it. Jae-sang looks totally dazed, but agrees. The kid is still worried about failing. Jae-hyun just gives a dismissive hand wave and says, it's okay if he fails. Jae-sung is totally bewildered by this level of trust, asking if he's sure, and that if he fails, Jae-hyun will be at a loss. He's not used to people caring about him. Jae-hyun scratches his head and gives a tired sigh. He says investing is never easy. There are times when you fail. He's sounding like a weary CEO. Close up on Jae-sung's eyes. They're welling up with tears. Poor kid has never had anyone believe in him like this. Jae-hyun gives a warm, genuine smile, saying he'll leave it to him. He's officially passed the torch to the future world-class alchemist. Jae-sung finally breaks down into happy tears. He says, okay, it's the first time someone's trusted him like this. Mission accomplished. Jae-hyun gives a small, satisfied smirk as he looks out the window, thinking he has made a valuable connection. The future is looking bright. The early morning sun spills through the windows of a quiet room. It's the calm before the storm as our boy prepares for his next big move. Jae-sung is sitting on the edge of his bed, looking completely lost in thought. He's been through the ringer lately, and it's clearly weighing on him. Close up on Jae-sung as he stares into the distance. You can practically see the memories playing in his head. He recalls Jae-hyun's words. He's investing because he thinks that Jae-sung has the ability, senior. That kind of trust is literal poison to a kid with no self-esteem. Jae-hyun gave him that casual, no-pressure smile, reminding him that investing isn't always easy and failure is part of the game. Jae-sung wonders to himself, have I ever had anyone believe in me this much in my life? It's a heartbreaking realization for someone who's always been the underdog. Jae-hyun gave a small wave and said he looks forward to working together. He's already treating Jae-sung like a partner, not just a tool. Jae-sung is still totally shell-shocked by the validation. It's like his brain can't even process being valued for once. He remembers a wooden training sword connecting with his arm, a brutal reminder of all the times he wasn't good enough. Flashback to a younger, teary-eyed Jae-sung. He grew up believing he was a coward and completely untalented compared to his high-achieving siblings. The shadow of his father looms over him, a reminder of the approval he never could quite reach, especially after being left all alone when he lost his mother. But then he hears it again. It's alright to fail. Jae-hyun is the first person to tell him he doesn't have to be perfect to be worth something. He thinks of it as being received for the first time. The sheer emotional weight of that simple trust is enough to break him. Jae-sung is sobbing into his hands, finally letting all that pent-up trauma out. This kid is finally starting his healing arc. Time keeps on slipping. The Hell's Trial quest timer is pinging like crazy as the days and weeks fly by. Remaining time, 10 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes. The deadline for his life or death trial is practically breathing down his neck. A massive beam of blue energy tears through a training hall. Someone's been putting in overtime at the gym. Jae-hyun is looking sharp, his orange eyes glowing as he preps his next spell. He's not a newbie anymore, he's a combatant. Guildmaster Sung-yoon is in the middle of a mana storm, looking absolutely regal. Sparring with an S rank is the ultimate training cheat code. The two of them are moving like blurs, magic clashing in every corner of the room. It's high-speed wizardry at its finest. A barrage of blue mana arrows zips through the air, looking like a deadly light show. Jae-hyun catches a direct hit on his mana barrier with a loud crack. He's gritting his teeth, feeling every bit of the pressure. System pings. Active skill Holy Arrow has been activated. Jae-hyun is pushing his limits, desperate to close the gap. Sung-yoon is blocking his attacks, but look at the intensity. She's not just playing around anymore. A jagged crack appears right in the center of her mana shield. Talk about an oh crap moment. Close up on Sung-yoon's shocked eyes, thinking a crack in the shield. She definitely didn't expect a student to break her defense. Jae-hyun is panting, totally wiped, but he did it. Even she has to admit he's grown strong at a truly unbelievable rate. The two mages stand in the smoking ruins of the training hall. It looks like a war zone in there. They share a silent moment of mutual respect through the haze. The student is starting to become a peer. Jae-hyun is surrounded by a final discharge of yellow lightning. He looks like he's ready to level the whole building. Sung-yoon stands amidst the fading mana, her long hair flowing. She looks like a literal goddess of battle. The energy clash between them was enough to make the air itself vibrate. Sung-jae steps in to call it, saying time's up and they've both worked hard today as well. Someone had to stop them before they brought the roof down. Sung-jae gives a nervous sideways glance at the carnage. He's clearly rethinking his career choices right now. The narrator notes that this hall is made of arc metal, which is basically indestructible, yet it's covered in massive cracks and gouges. Sung-jae realizes if he hadn't stopped them in the middle, he would have just saved the guild a multi-million-dollar repair bill. Sung-yoon is all smiles, praising Jae-hyun for his ridiculous strength. She's officially a fan of her own apprentice. She asks if he's studying theory separately, and Jae-hyun admits he's learning from a friend. Poor Yo-jung, relegated to just a friend. Sung-yoon is relieved, admitting she was worried since she's not great at the book-smart side of magic. She asks if it seems like he has a really intelligent friend. Jae-hyun gives a dry, well, I guess, while remembering the chaos of his study sessions. Flashback to Yoo-jung being her usual weird-ass self. She's brilliant, but her personality is definitely an acquired taste. Jae asks if he's really planning on raiding a dungeon again so soon. The boy never stops. Jae-yoon nods, saying he needs to test out how effective his training actually was in a real fight. Sung-yeon tells him to do his best, assuming an E rank will be a total breeze for him now. Jae-yoon knows the system is baiting him into something way more lethal, thinking how great it would be if it were really an E rank dungeon. He tries to maintain a cool head, but the doubt is real, wondering if he can really do it. He visualizes the C-rank boss, Nightshade. This is a monster he could never have touched in his first life, even as a D-rank warrior. He wonders if he can go up against such a foe all alone. He's really starting to feel the pressure of the adversary title. No, he's finished all the preparations. Jae-hoon slaps his cheeks to lock in. It's time for actual battle. His orange eye glows with new resolve. He can do it. He meets up with Jae-sung, who looks like he's been living in the lab for days, telling him he's here. Jae-sung tentatively hands over a small box. This is the product of all his hard work. Yes, Young, Jae-hoon says. You've worked hard. He takes it with a smile, looking genuinely impressed. System chime, consumable item name, Mana Enhancement Pill. It was created by an excellent alchemist and has a massive effect boost. Jae-hoon asks if it's okay to chug it right now, and Jae-sung gives him a nervous, "Yeah!" The system confirms he has ingested the Mana Enhancement Pill. Jae-hoon's eyes pop as he feels the power surge through his veins. Magic stat has increased by 15. Jae-hoon is stunned, letting out a confused sound. That is a massive jump for a single pill. He calls the effect unbelievable. He's officially leveled up his baseline before even entering the dungeon. Jae-sung is bowing an apology for the taste, but Jae-hoon tells him the results make the bitterness seem sweet. The narrator notes that alchemy is fundamentally a profound and difficult science. Even with the same ingredients, the result depends entirely on the alchemist's skill. Jae-sung is basically the Einstein of potions. Jae-hoon realizes any other alchemist probably wouldn't have even given him a +5 boost. He definitely picked the right partner. He gives a big, proud grin, telling him he really is talented, Hyung. He's finally getting through to the kid. Jae-sung is touched, saying it's only because Jae-hoon believed in him and thanks him. Jae-hoon tells him he's the one who should be thankful, and then points out the obvious, the kid needs a nap. He tells him he looks like he hasn't been sleeping well. Jae-sung rubs his sleepy eyes and promises to help with anything else Jae-hoon needs. What a loyal little assistant. Jae-hoon watches him go, his expression hardening. He's ready with this. He stands alone in the dark hallway, the weight of the future on his shoulders, thinking it's finally tomorrow. A bold promise on a black screen, tomorrow. I will defeat the Nightshade. The quest timer pings again. Remaining time, 9 days, 22 hours, 47 minutes. The clock is ticking toward his destiny. A creepy, clawed, demonic hand reaches out from the darkness. It's Hell herself, watching from the shadows with those terrifying horns. She says there will be a delightful guest coming today. She's definitely ready for the show. The clock is ticking, and the deadline is closer than ever. Jae-hoon has exactly 9 days, 22 hours, and 47 minutes left to complete Hell's insane trial. He stands before the massive dungeon gate, looking like a lone warrior ready to storm a castle. The sun symbol on the doors is a reminder that he's entering territory controlled by the top brass. Check out the gear loadout. He's rocking a C-rank trainee Valkyrie's ring and necklace. These aren't just for show, they're essential for surviving the hellscape he's about to enter. To finish the set, he equips the trainee Valkyrie's earrings. Having all 3 pieces unlocks the Mana Extortion passive skill, basically a Mana Leech cheat code for our boy. Jae-hoon adjusts his earring, looking confident and ready for the grind. He knows his current condition is at its absolute peak, and this equipment should be enough to even the odds. He gives a final look over his shoulder at Sungjae, who's still watching like a worried parent. He begins to say then as he gets ready to make his move. Sungjae gives a firm nod, closing his eyes in silent respect. He's done all he can to prepare the kid. Now, it's all up to Jae-hoon. Jae-hoon steps into the blinding white light of the dungeon portal with a sudden flash. He's gone, leaving the real world behind for a realm of monsters and ghosts. Inside the transport, mana winds whip around him like a hurricane. He's caught in a vortex of blue energy as he's whisked away to his destination. Suddenly, the system glitches out with a bright red warning. The Nornir system is overriding his transport, taking him to a location he definitely didn't pick on the map. The final destination is confirmed, Helheim's Field of the Dead. Talk about a terrifying welcome mat for a teenager. Jae-hoon is sent plummeting through a violent purple and black portal. He's falling headfirst into the land of the dead, and there's no turning back now. Jae-hoon sticks the landing like a pro, his sneakers crunching into the frozen ground. He's arrived, and the atmosphere is already feeling heavy. He stands alone in a misty, moonlit graveyard, letting out a breath. The eerie silence is a lot creepier than a room full of monsters. Close up on that intense orange eye as he realizes he didn't fully process the scale of this place before. The stakes just became painfully real. ominous purple mana is literally seeping out of the cracks in the ground and the twisted trees. This entire zone is saturated with the Nightshade's terrifying presence. He visualizes his target, the Nightshade boss. If he can take down this six-eyed shadow monster, he'll finally get some answers. He thinks of Hel, lounging on her throne of bones in a blood-red haze. Defeating the boss is the only ticket he has to see the goddess again. He mutters the name of his great enemy, Loki. It's clear that the Norse god of mischief is the puppet master behind all his misery. Suddenly, a skeletal archer pulls back a glowing blue bowstring in the darkness with a high-pitched sound. The first attack is incoming. Jae-hyun remembers the Nornir, the weavers of fate who gave him this second chance. He's not just fighting for himself, he's part of a cosmic game now. A barrage of arrows slams into his blue mana barrier with a crash. He's taking fire from all sides, but his defense is holding steady for now. Jae-hyun stands his ground, determined to survive this trial. He thinks to himself that he has many things to ask the gods who are watching him. He looks up with glowing orange eyes, radiating pure battle intent. The training wheels are officially off. He unleashes a massive blue magic blast that vaporizes a whole pack of monsters in a single shot. Talk about an explosive start. We get a flashback of Sung-yoon explaining the true nature of a battle mage. It's not just about throwing spells from the backline. She calls it a hybrid-type profession that uses both magic and martial arts. It sounds like the ultimate build, but there's a catch. She notes that while many have tried to master this style, most end up being jacks of all trades, masters of none. The people who have succeeded in it don't exist. She's basically telling him he's trying to do something that's never been done before. She points out that at long range, it's not as good as a pure magic class. We see Jae-hyun firing some weak-looking mana crystals to prove the point. He tries to juggle melee and magic, but the clunky transition makes him look like a beginner again. And at short range, it's not as good as a dedicated martial arts class either. Jae-hyun looks totally overwhelmed by the speed of the attacks. He takes a heavy blow and gets sent flying. He's realizing that being a hybrid is a recipe for disaster if you don't know what you're doing. He looks at the monsters closing in, realizing that his current style isn't specialized for either range. He's stuck in no man's land. However, Sung-yoon pokes him right in the chest, her eyes sparkling with mischief. She's got a butt that's about to change everything. She gives him a beautiful, knowing smile, telling him it's different for him. She's seen the potential that no one else has. Back in the graveyard, massive pillars of golden light rain down from the sky. It's the judgment of light, and it is absolutely obliterating everything in its path. The XP is rolling in. He's defeated a Draugr, a Wraith, and a Skeleton Soldier. He's clearing the floor like a high-level raider in a low-level dungeon. Cut to a different part of the forest. There's a traditional-looking house hidden away in the trees. Something tells me this isn't part of the dungeon. Sung-jae is standing by a tree, frantically checking his phone. He looks like he's waiting for a message that just won't come. He's typing away, probably trying to get a hold of Jae-hyun or his boss. The man is a literal bundle of nerves. Suddenly, he stops and looks back into the bushes, thinking he feels a strange presence. His warrior instincts are finally kicking in, close up on Sung-jae's narrowed eyes. He hasn't received any reports of anyone else being in this restricted area. Someone's trespassing. He readies a surge of cyan mana in his hand. He's not taking any chances with an uninvited guest. A sleek orange car comes tearing through the forest path, kicking up a massive cloud of dust. Whoever it is, they've got style. The driver, a woman with long blue hair, rolls down the window. "Ah, Sunbae," she says. "You're in such a remote area." She sounds way too casual for someone who just sped into a guild facility. She steps out of the car, looking sharp in a suit and tie. She says it was hard finding him as she leans back against the door. Sung-jae recognizes her immediately. It's Yeonju. She gives a cool wave and says it's been a long time. Sung-jae doesn't look happy. He wants to know what brings her here and why she isn't at her own guild doing her actual job. Yeonju just checks her phone, totally unbothered. She says she's working right now, but her work seems to involve a lot of social calls. She gives him a side eye and admits she came all this way specifically to see him since he wasn't at the Lotus Guild. Creepy much? Sung-jae isn't buying the nice to see you act. He knows she hasn't contacted him once since college graduation. He thinks to himself that she's definitely not the type to come see him for no reason, especially out in the middle of nowhere. He asks if she's managing this dungeon too, but she just brushes him off, saying it's not an outsider's business. She's throwing his own attitude back at him. Yeonju finds it strange that he's managing dungeons now. She asks if he got demoted or something. Ouch, that's gotta sting. She gets serious for a second, her tone shifting. "Sunbae," she says, "I have something I want to ask you. Here comes the real reason she's here." She drops the bomb, the rumor that Yo Shangun is sick. She's fishing for information on the guildmaster's secret illness. Sung-jae's face goes totally dark. She asks if it's true, but his expression already gave her the answer she wanted. He tries to play it off as obviously just a rumor, but you can see the sweat on his face. He wants to know where she heard that. Yeonju just gives this smug little hand gesture, saying she has a lot of ears. She's letting him know her curator guild is watching them. Sunjae is internally fuming. He realized she's basically admitting to hiring spies to follow them. The disrespect is off the charts. He sighs, thanking her for the heads up. He says it looks like he has more work to do thanks to her. He's already planning how to plug the leak. He tries to end the conversation there, but Yeonju says there's one more thing. This lady just won't let him leave. She holds up her phone, showing a picture of Jaehoon and Sungyoon together, asking if he knows this kid named Min Jaehoon. Sunjae's heart just skipped a beat. He's totally caught off guard by her having a photo of their secret rookie. She notes that he's been frequenting the Lotus Guild building and meeting with Representative Yoo Seong-gun a lot lately. She's really done her homework. She asks if he knows the reason behind their meetings. She's suspecting that Jaehoon might be the key to the Guildmaster's recovery. Sunjae shuts her down hard. That is also not an outsider's business. He's a total brick wall when it comes to guild secrets. Yeonju just lets out a long, bored sigh. She's clearly disappointed that her college sunbae is still such a goody two-shoes. She turns her back on him, saying she didn't think he'd tell her anyway. She was just taking a shot in the dark. She hops back in her car, calling him a stuck-up goody two-shoes. Yeonju definitely likes to have the last word. Sungjae watches her, thinking about how he has to at least pretend to work since he's being paid by the guild. The corporate life is tough. Yeonju gives one last look through the window, saying she will get going now then. See you again, Sunbae Nim. The orange car peels out, leaving Sungjae alone in the woods once more. That encounter was definitely a warning shot. Sungjae rubs his head, looking totally exhausted. He thinks, first off, he's got to report to the representative. He knows the spies are a massive problem. Back in Helheim, Jaehoon is chilling on a literal pile of skulls. He looks like a dark king sitting on his throne under the full moon. He senses a massive presence approaching, thinking he's here. He's been waiting for this moment for a long time. The system pings with a terrifying red notification. The dungeon's boss, Nightshade, has appeared. Here we go, the big one. A massive burst of blue mana light explodes in front of him. The air itself is being torn apart by the monster's arrival. Jaehoon doesn't even move. He just watches the light show with a calm expression, thinking it's been a long time. The nightshade looms over him, its multiple red eyes glowing with pure malice. It looks even more terrifying than the first time. Jaehoon stays seated on his throne of bones, surrounded by glowing mana crystals. He gives a cold, determined look, thinking it'll be different this time. The Nightshade boss is absolutely losing it, roaring as this terrifying red aura explodes from its body. It looks like things just went from bad to run for your life real quick. The boss swings its massive claws, but Jaehoon is already a blur of movement. He barely slides past the red energy trail talk about a close shave. Jaehoon isn't just running, he's calculating. He starts constructing a spell, with those glowing geometric symbols forming a shield around him as he locks onto his target. The boss screeches as a barrage of blue mana beams hammers into its chest. Our boy is finally dealing some real damage. The ground shatters as the magic connects, kicking up a massive cloud of snow and debris. Direct hit. The monster is still alive though, hunched over and breathing heavy as its multiple red eyes glow with pure hatred. It's hurt, but it's definitely not out. It starts gathering even more red energy, the ground literally vibrating from the pressure. It's prepping for a big one, and Jaehoon needs to move NOW. A violent shockwave of red energy rips through the area. The boss is trying to level everything in a desperate attempt to catch its breath. Close up on Jaehoon's glowing orange eyes. He's completely focused, reading the boss's every move like a pro. He's literally calling his own dodges in his head, telling himself one step to the left as he weaves through the chaotic red slashes. This dude's reaction time is just insane. The boss looks totally frustrated, its multiple eyes darting around as it tries to track its slippery target. It can't believe a human is dodging this easily. He continues the rhythm 2 steps to the right. He's moving with so much grace it looks like a dance, leaving the monster hitting nothing but air. Another massive swipe, but Jaehoon is already gone. The boss is swinging wildly now, completely out of its element. Jaehoon keeps up the pressure, dodging another overhead smash. He's in the zone, making this high-ranked boss look like a total amateur. He's being almost mockingly precise now, telling himself to tilt his head slightly to the left, then to take a large step to the right. He's barely moving an inch more than he needs to. The Nightshade is fuming, letting out another piercing screech. It knows it's being toyed with, and it hates every second of it. Jaehoon gives a cold smirk and starts charging yellow lightning in his hand, asking if it's flustered now that things aren't going its way. Talk about some top-tier trash talk mid-fight. System ping, active skill lightning chain has been activated. Our boy is about to show this shadow monster what real electricity feels like. He launches a massive golden arrow of light right at the beast. The speed is so intense it leaves a brilliant trail across the dark sky. The golden chains erupt from the bolt and wrap tightly around the boss. It's caught in a literal lightning cage. The chains glow with intense power, digging into the monster's shadowy skin. There's nowhere to run now. Jaehyun grips the air and pulls, using his mana to tighten the restraints. He looks like a god of thunder pulling a beast to heal. The chains hum with electricity as they constrict. The Nightshade is struggling, but the more it fights, the harder it gets shocked. A massive explosion of yellow light. The boss is being completely overwhelmed by the elemental damage. It roars in agony as its form starts to flicker and dissolve under the intense light. Total annihilation is just a few steps away. Jaehyun stares at the smoke, his face hard. He mutters that it's still not enough, knowing this thing is way more durable than it looks. More beams of white and cyan light rain down from the heavens like orbital strikes. He's not giving it a single second to recover. The beams smash right into the boss's multiple eyes. That is some high-precision bullying right there. The boss lets out a final, desperate scream as it's bombarded from all sides. The red background shows just how low its health is getting. The monster stumbles back, smoke rising from its charred body. Jaehyun is still standing tall, looking like he hasn't even broken a sweat. Close up on his face. He's not celebrating yet. He knows bosses always have a second phase. And there it is. The boss is surrounded by a weird, glitchy, blood-red aura. It looks like the system itself is breaking. Jaehyun readies another attack, a target lock-on appearing right over the boss's core. He's going for the finisher. System warnings fill his vision. Warning! The boss monster Nightshade has entered a berserk state. All its stats just jumped by 1.5. Great. The interface starts glitching out with red boxes and distorted text. Something is definitely overriding the standard dungeon rules. Jaehyun's eye widens as he sees the strange error message. This definitely wasn't in the strategy guide. The text is a mess of symbols, but one thing is clear: stigma of death. This is a cursed status effect he's never seen. The system pings with a new condition for removal: death-eating the Nightshade. Basically, win or die. Simple enough. He wonders what a sudden death penalty is, thinking he's never heard of anything like this before. Even as a regressor, he's hitting new territory now. He tries to use universal derivation to hack the system and fix the error, but the screen is just a mess of purple smoke and symbols. He looks genuinely shocked for once, asking what's going on. The skill isn't working like it usually does. Notifications are overlapping and failing. The penalty is still active, and he's starting to feel the pressure. A shadow of hell is seen in the background, giving a malicious grin. She's definitely the one messing with the settings. Jaehyun yells Hell's name into the void, asking how she can just interfere like this. He realizes he's just a toy in her game. A countdown timer appears right in his face. 9 minutes and 28 seconds until sudden death. The stakes just hit the ceiling. The boss lunges again with purple claws, sensing its victory. He thinks there's nothing he can do. He can only defeat it with haste. He's all in on speed now. The Nightshade moves like a blur, but wait, it's not attacking. It's making a break for it. Jaehyun is stunned, wondering if the boss monster is running away. It's trying to stall out the timer. What a cowardly move. The monster fires some projectiles backward just to keep him at a distance. It's playing for time, and it knows it. 8 minutes and 32 seconds left. Every second the boss stays away is a second closer to his death. The boss is literally screeching and laughing as it retreats. It's a literal troll in monster form. Jaehyun is sweating, his expression hardening into pure annoyance, thinking, wow, this bastard, look at it taunting me. He realizes the strategy. It knows it will win as long as it prolongs the fight. Smart monster, but bad move. He thinks of using a wide area skill it can't dodge. Golden light starts gathering around him like he's becoming a sun. The boss stops and looks back, sensing the massive mana buildup. It knows something bad is coming. Suddenly, shards of golden light fill the entire area. Jaehyun is caught in the middle of a trap he didn't see coming. System ping. YOU have failed to resist. You have temporarily acquired a fear debuff. Oh, come on. Jaehyun is frozen in place, sweat pouring down his face. He lets out a confused sound because he can't even lift a finger. The boss takes advantage of the opening and slams into him. Blood splatters across the dark snow as he takes a massive hit. He's coughing up blood, but the system pings that the debuff is gone. He's hurt, but at least he can move again. The boss follows up with a massive wave of red mana. It looks like it wants to end this right here. Jaehyun skids back through the snow, spitting out dirt. He's looking pretty ragged now, and the timer is still going. 7 minutes and 11 seconds left. He watches the boss, analyzing its patterns, wondering if it's not able to use CC skills continuously. He tries to figure out if there's a cooldown on that fear skill. He needs to know if he has an opening. He realizes that once it sees that he's about to cast Light's Judgment, it might interfere again. He's realizing his big finisher is too slow to use safely. Close up on his thinking face. He has to think of another way. He's a strategist at heart, and he's finding the solution. He stares at the Nightshade's multiple red eyes glowing through the dark. He thinks, now that I think about it, a plan is starting to form in his mind. He remembers hitting it in the eye earlier. Its line of sight is probably narrower than before. He's found the blind spot. Active skill wind boost has been activated. Swirling green energy surrounds him as he buffs his speed to the max. Dexterity has temporarily increased. He's feeling lighter than air, ready for the final sprint. He moves like a blur. The boss is swinging at empty air as Jae-hyun disappears from its sight. He's darting around the battlefield, completely staying out of the monster's narrowing line of sight. Suddenly, he appears right behind the monster, asking if it thought he was going to blindly run toward it. He raises a glowing hand, a wide grin on his face. He calls it gullible. He's got it right where he wants it. System ping, active skill flash bomb has been activated. It's about to get real bright in here. A blinding white light fills the entire screen. The boss's silhouette is frozen as it's completely blinded. The monster is screaming in pain, its hands covering its eyes. It's totally defenseless now. Jae-hyun stands in the center of the light, holding up a massive golden orb of pure energy. This is the real finisher. He thinks he finally got it. He looks absolutely cold and triumphant as he prepares the final blow. He slams the energy right into the boss's head, cursing the fucking bastard. No mercy for the cowardly shadow monster. The impact is devastating. The ground is literally exploding in every direction as the energy shreds the nightshade. 4 minutes and 11 seconds left. He's ahead of the timer, but the battle isn't officially over yet. He looks down at the smoking pile that used to be a boss, noting that it's persistent as he sees it still twitching. He sees it trying to rally one last time. He just smiles, saying it still has the energy to follow him, but it's already too late. Active skill sacrifice has been activated. The system detects undead monsters on the field, including our boss. The skill changes into an attack mode. This is the legendary sacrifice technique he copied from the Saintus. Columns of brilliant golden light rain down from the sky, incinerating everything they touch. It's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The countdown timer is rapidly hitting 0. The tension is through the roof. The numbers keep dropping. Jae-hyun just stands there calmly as the particles of light drift around him. The countdown hits 6. A wide shot shows the utter destruction. The nightshade is nothing but a few scraps now. The countdown hits 5. Jae-hyun gives a small, tired smile, thinking he did it. He's officially beaten the first trial. 4, 3, and the boss is finally completely gone. The nightmare is over. System ping. Yo, you have defeated the dungeon boss Nightshade. Hell yeah. He's obtained a new title. Who has overcome the first trial. That's definitely going on the resume. Hell is back, and she looks genuinely impressed. She thinks, sure enough, there was a reason behind his choice. She invites him to come to her temple. The screen goes black with a final, chilling message. I invite you in. Chapter 19 ends with our hero stepping into the House of Death. Stay tuned. The system is blowing up. Jae-hyun officially downed the Nightshade boss, and the branding of Death Curse is finally gone. He's raking in 500 stat points. Talk about a payday. The rewards just keep coming. He just snagged the shadow armor, and his level shot up by 3 points instantly. You can hear the grinding paying off. The screen glows gold as he earns the title, One Who Overcame the First Trial. He looks like a tiny silhouette against a massive wave of divine energy. The system is doing a deep scan, checking the user's credentials, while Jae-hyun just stands there, totally overwhelmed by the light. The credentials check is complete. The summons is official. Hell's Temple is calling for him. He's being pulled into a massive, shimmering purple vortex. Check out the scale of this place. Jae-hyun looks like an ant standing in the middle of a colossal, frozen cathedral. This is Hell's territory. Jae-hyun looks around, whispering that this place is Hell's Temple. It's spooky, quiet, and definitely not somewhere you want to hang out for long. Suddenly, his eyes go wide with a gasp. He senses something massive and dangerous closing in fast. A giant skeletal beast with glowing red eyes lunges out of the shadows with a roar. It looks like a literal nightmare in a dog's body. Jae-hyun dives back, shouting shit as the monster's skull face gets way too close for comfort. This isn't the welcome party he expected. The monster looms over him, radiating heat and malice. He's cornered against the temple walls by this hulking beast. We get the boss's name, Garamar. Close up on that glowing red eye, this thing is the guard dog of the underworld, and it looks hungry. A calm voice echoes through the hall, telling it to escort the guest in. Garmar stands down, but the path ahead is filled with literal flames. Garmar stands guard at the massive entrance, surrounded by fire and crackling yellow lightning. It's the most intense front door I've ever seen. Jae-hyun walks past the giant beast, trying to keep his cool. He thinks he has finally reached this place, focused on the throne ahead. He stares into the distance, lightning sparking off the floor. He's one step away from meeting a goddess. He marches through the falling particles, his shadow long against the marble. The atmosphere is thick enough to choke on. Bright light pours through a stained glass window, revealing a throne in the center of the hall. Someone is waiting. Jae-hyun doesn't hold back, yelling, "Hell, I've come to see you." He's got some serious guts for a human. A massive clawed paw is visible in the foreground. It's like everything in this temple is built for giants. Hel is lounging on her throne of bones, looking totally unimpressed. She says she didn't think he'd be able to do it, with a smug grin. She stands up, white mana swirling around her like a storm. She looks beautiful and absolutely terrifying all at once. She purrs. Congratulations, child who is destined to be the great enemy. She's officially acknowledging that he beat her trial. Jaehyun is done with the riddles. He looks her dead in the eye and asks what it was for. He wants answers about why she sent the Nornir system and why he had to fight for his life in that dungeon. Straight shot of our hero. He's not here for games. He wants the truth behind his regression. Hel just smiles that creepy, knowing smile. She's enjoying his frustration way too much. She holds out a clawed hand as she drops the truth, to raise him into the great enemy. No pressure, kid. Jaehyun repeats it. Great enemy, huh? He's trying to process being groomed for some cosmic war. He looks up at her, demanding to know why it's him. Out of all the people in the world, why did the gods pick him? Hel just leans back, saying you were born with that as your fate. Classic gods, always blaming it on destiny. Jaehyun's eye narrows. Fate? He clearly doesn't like being told his life is already written for him. Hel explains the role. He's meant to be the enemy of the Aesir, specifically the one to kill the top god, Odin. Talk about a heavy to-do list. She adds that this is exactly what Loki and the other gods want from him. He's basically a hitman for divine beings. Darkness closes in with the ominous text, and we want from you. The pressure is building. Jaehyun is completely baffled. He wonders if she wants him to kill Odin, saying he doesn't follow. I mean, it's a lot for a Tuesday. Hel turns cold, saying he doesn't need to understand. She never needed him to understand. She's done being nice. Jaehyun is visibly fuming. He's tired of being used as a tool in their divine chess match. Hel puts a finger on his lips to quiet him, whispering that he must be upset as she looks right through him. She gets right in his face, mocking his confusion, saying he probably can't understand why he has to be a pawn in the gods' game. She moves away, floating through the temple. But keep this in mind, she says, her tone getting serious. She looks back over her shoulder with an intense stare, saying this isn't the story of just them half-Aesir gods. She touches his face one last time as she begins to say so. The magic starts to hum. Purple smoke swirls around Jaehyun as he starts to fade. She warns him that the world is heading towards its end. Her eyes glow with power. She claims Odin wants everything under his feet, and that's why they need Jaehyun to stop him. Jaehyun reaches out desperately as he's pulled away, yelling for her to wait. He still has something to ask her. Too late, buddy. She waves him off, telling him to become strong, and that she'll be counting the days until she meets him again. Jaehyun is fully consumed by the purple teleportation magic, another forced exit from the goddess. Hel's eyes glow in the dark. She asks someone unseen, so do you intend to just keep watching? A mysterious, glowing light floats behind her. It looks like another ancient entity is lurking in the shadows. The light speaks with a deep, echoing voice. I don't recall inviting you here. Someone is definitely cranky today. Back in the real world, the bright sun shines through the forest trees. Welcome back to Earth. Jaehyun wakes up on the grass, looking totally annoyed, thinking, damn it, this situation again? Regression is exhausting. He covers his face in frustration, thinking in the end, she answered none of his questions. Typical gods, right? A notification sounds as he pulls himself together. At least he got something for his trouble. The system pings. Hel's gift has arrived. Better late than never, I guess. He just learned a passive skill, Hel's Blessing. It nullifies any abnormal status effects. Jaehyun is stunned, letting out a confused sound. That's a literal lifesaver. Back in the temple, the light orb is talking. Ooh, it says, forgive this old man's lack of manners. I couldn't be patient. The light is actually Mimir. He's hovering near Hel and Garmer, excited that she finally met with him. Garmer growls at the intruder, but Mimir just laughs, calling him a faithful friend. This orb has a lot of personality. Mimir gets right to the point anyway. Hel, how was it seeing him face to face? He's dying for the gossip. Hel looks thoughtful. She says it's too soon to judge, as the great enemy has only just taken his first step. She gives a side eye to the floating light, questioning if that's so. She's keeping her cards close to her chest. We see Mimir's silhouette, an old man with a long beard. He teases her, saying it seemed like she liked him. Hel looks up at the ceiling, letting out a soft sound of thought. She's reflecting on their meeting. She finally admits it with a bright smile, saying the great enemy's growth was more than she expected. Jaehyun is officially making waves. She thinks back to him standing his ground. He even overcame the constraints she put on him just to reach her temple. Close up on her face. I'm glad I misjudged him. High praise coming from the goddess of death. Mimir flares up with joy, saying, that's a relief. It eases his mind to hear he's doing well. He's clearly rooting for our boy. Hel narrows her eyes at him. Fine, she says. Is that all you wanted? You must have something else to say. Mimir tries to play dumb, claiming he doesn't know what she's talking about. He's a terrible liar for a giant of wisdom. Hel calls him a sly old man, saying his deceptive look reminds her of her second brother. Oh, the shade! She notes that Jaehyun's law of causality was definitely twisted. She's onto the fact that he's from the future. She laughs at the Giant of Wisdom title, saying it's outdated and what a regrettable thing to say. She points out that Jaehyun's left eye is definitely the one Odin sacrificed at the Pond of Wisdom. The lore is getting deep now. Mimir's orb floats high in the cathedral. Hel demands to know what he and Loki are actually planning. Close up on her piercing gaze, she's not letting the old man off the hook easily. Mimir's light pulses gold. He says, "Forgive me, Hel," sounding genuinely sorry. He says he really wishes he could tell her, but it's too early. He's playing the long game just like everyone else. Hel looks away. Fate, well, fine, she's used to waiting. She's a goddess, time is nothing to her. Mimir notes that Hel has a good idea in mind, even if she's waiting. They both know the war is coming. Light particles dance around them. Hel acknowledges that Jaehyun is still inexperienced and has many obstacles ahead. She holds up a ball of swirling purple energy, deciding he needs a guide. The final shot shows a brilliant guiding light. He needs a path through the obstacles, and it looks like he's about to get one. End of chapter 20. First day at Mills Academy is just a week away. We're at a high-end mall where the elite gear up before the semester starts. Jaehyun lets out a heavy sigh. The pressure of being an adversary is starting to settle in. Park Hana notices him spacing out, asking if he looks too good and if something is bothering him. She's got that sharp professional gaze, waiting for an answer. She can tell when a student is stressed. He plays it cool and gives her an, it's nothing. Hana doesn't push it, saying, then let's buy the rest of the items we need, and shows him the way. As they walk, his mind is still stuck on the goddess. He thinks something bothering him, huh? It does bother him that none of his questions were answered after all that trouble. He looks down, thinking about his meeting with Hel, but at least he got something out of it. And that something is a massive power-up, Hel's Blessing, an EX rank passive that nullifies any abnormal status. Talk about a cheat code. He checks his system window while they walk, still trying to wrap his head around his new stats. He's got a whole collection of EX rank passives now, one who is observed by the gods and Supreme God's Eye. He's officially breaking the game. He thinks these are unheard of ranks within the Aesir system. He's playing a completely different game than everyone else. OFF, GR8X. These skills don't even follow the standard rules. They're basically skills that shouldn't exist. He figures that if his other skills are on this level, then Supreme God's Eye must be worth a fortune too. Hana watches him walk, but he's thinking about what the half-Aesir gods want and why they're going to such extremes to find an adversary. Flashback to Hel's chilling words. They want him to kill the top god, Odin. This isn't just a quest, it's a divine hit job. He takes a deep breath and clenches his fist, thinking this will do. It's time to stop overthinking and get to work. They're at a high-end equipment counter, and the clerk is already losing it, letting out a gasp. He's never seen anyone buy gear like this. Look at that price tag, 299 million won. That's a lot of zeros for a simple shopping trip. Jaehyun hands over the guild card without blinking. The onlookers are whispered in shock who spends 300 million on an expendable mana blade. He checks his phone, scrolling through a shopping list that goes on forever. He looks a bit drained. Gear shopping is apparently more exhausting than fighting skeletal reapers. Hana looks over the list with him, asking if that's the list of things they need to get. It's definitely a long one. She's the perfect guild guide. She introduces herself as Park Hana from the Lotus Guild. She explains that the representative wants to give him a present since his entry into Milla's is right around the corner. Jaehyun is already looking at the next store, asking if she's free right now. He's not wasting a single second. Fast forward to him buried in shopping bags. He thought she'd just give him a miracle potion, or maybe one or two artifacts. He stares at the massive luxury mall, thinking he didn't expect this and wondering if this is the Lotus Guild's playground. Hana is on a mission, telling him to let's go check out the armor now, but Jaehyun stops her with a quick wait. He pulls up his inventory and explains he doesn't need armor, he already has something. He's still rocking the shadow armor he got from the Nightshade boss. B-rank gear that teaches the conceal skill. That's top-tier loot. He knows he won't find anything better in a standard shop, even a fancy one like this. His eyes linger on the conceal skill info. He's realizing just how rare his equipment really is. Hana is genuinely impressed, saying armor with this kind of rare skill is even harder to find. She asks if he needs an artifact with a concealing feature to pair with it. She thinks it over. Those are super rare and hard to track down. Jaehyun just dismisses it with a no. He waves his hand, trying to play it off, saying he was just accidentally thinking out loud and that there aren't many people who learn that skill anyway, right? He adds that it's hard to get unless you get lucky in a dungeon, keeping his secrets close to his chest. Hana nods in agreement. Correct, she says. The only raider in Korea who has conceal is my brother. Jaehyun stops dead in his tracks, asking about her brother. He's finally connecting the dots. She looks at him like he's lived under a rock. Manager Park Sung-jae. Did you not know? The representative must be pranking you. Jaehyun visualizes the terrifying, scarred face of Park Sung-jae, and it all makes sense now. Hana starts walking again, telling him, let's skip the armor section and look at weapons. She leaves Jae-hyun to process the family revelation. He asks if it's really true. Still slightly stunned, the family resemblance is definitely non-existent. He watches her walk, thinking how different she is from her scary brother. Their vibes are just too different. Suddenly, the system pings again. Someone agrees with the user. Green wisps start dancing around his head. A sudden, sharp headache hits him like a truck. Something is reacting to his presence. His eye starts glowing that ominous yellow-orange again. He recognizes the light, thinking it isn't from the treasure game. He's found something hidden. Hana senses something is wrong and turns back, calling his name and telling him to wait. A bright, golden light erupts right in the middle of the mall corridor. Jae-hyun is caught in a data surge. The light's so bright it blinds everyone else around him. System notifications stack up fast. Supreme God's Eye just unlocked a new low-rank skill. He's learned Detection. EX rank detection. It lets him judge the value of unknown items and see through all illusions. He's basically a human X-ray machine now. He stares at the glowing screen, wondering what in the world is going on. The Nornir system is activating the skill by itself. Elsewhere, a brutal duel is coming to a close. An opponent is slammed hard into the training room floor. The loser grinds his teeth in frustration, cursing, "Damn it. He never even stood a chance." A shadow falls over a face. This is An Hoyeon, and he looks totally detached from the fight he just won. He's surrounded by white mana swirls, standing tall over his defeated foe. He didn't even break a sweat. The announcer calls it official. The duel is over. An Hoyeon is the winner. In the spectator box, a man with glasses watches with a smug, cold grin, agreeing that it was an easy win for him. Hoyeon walks away, but the spectators aren't done whispering. The gap in skill is obvious. Everyone sees him as a future S-rank raider. He keeps his head down, looking bored and completely hollow. Winning doesn't seem to give him any joy. He walks past an older man who gives a simple, "Good job." Hoyeon responds with a cold, "Thank you, father." His father isn't satisfied, telling him not to be too happy. It was a match he should have won easily. Talk about some tough parenting. Hoyeon just stares at the floor, his face hidden by his hair, saying he's aware. His father says he'll have to prepare for the next thing on his schedule and that he has to go buy some things, so he should come down after he showers. The pressure never stops for this kid. One word describes his entire life: UN comfortable. He's trapped in a role he never chose. He's in the shower, letting the hot water run, but it doesn't wash away the feeling of being a puppet. He's leaning against the wall, eyes closed tight, thinking he's sick of this mechanical life where he has no will of his own. He looks up through the steam, looking totally broken, thinking this is not the raider he wanted to be. The question haunts him. Whehe rung. Suddenly, the system shows a legendary item, Mystiel 10, a growth-type branch that contains unknown magic power. It grants magic power detection. It's an A-rank passive that boosts mana sensitivity to the extreme degree. This is a game-changing artifact. Jae-hyun stops in his tracks as he reads the name Mistiltane. He knows exactly how big of a deal this is. A vision of a golden branch embedded in rock appears in his mind. This is what the system is pointing him toward. He looks around the corner, sensing a presence, wondering if this is also the Nornir system's little prank. He sees him. An Hoyeon is walking by, looking like he's carrying the weight of the world. The future top raider is right in front of him. We're starting at the massive Millas Mall. This place is huge, but it's about to become a literal war zone. Inside, we see An Hoyeon looking at gear with his dad. He seems hesitant, asking if they need that much, while his father just keeps pointing at expensive items. His father, looking stern in his glasses, tells him it's all for him. He's clearly projecting some major expectations onto his son. Hoyeon tries to bring up his mother's hospital fees, but his dad just cuts him off with a sharp enough. Talk about a toxic household. The old man claims the fees are his problem to figure out. He tells Hoyeon to shut up and just focus on his training. Hoyeon just bows his head, defeated, saying, "Yes, father." He looks more like a prisoner than a future S-rank raider. Close up on Hoyeon's eye under his cap. The kid is completely dead inside, just going through the motions. He stands in the middle of a crowd, hearing people whisper about him being a martial arts genius. He thinks to himself, "What am I doing here?" He pulls his hood lower, feeling like a monkey at a zoo. He's questioning if this is the life he actually wanted. Flashback time. We see a younger Hoyeon when he first awakened. He's surrounded by a beautiful, swirling blue mana. His mother is there, smiling warmly and patting his head. Back then, he actually dreamed of being a hero. His family was struggling in the dark, and he was their only ray of hope. You can see the contrast between his happy younger self and his cold father in the background. But that ray of hope was nothing more than a tool to his father. The dream turned into a job real fast. Hoyeon feels like a machine now, just a tool that obeys commands. He's lost all his original passion. He wonders if someone as pathetic as him can endure 3 years at Mills. He's totally doubting himself as he stares into the void. Suddenly, the mall speakers start crackling. This can't be good. An announcement blares through the hall. There's been a dungeon break near the mall. Everyone stops in their tracks. Hoyeon looks around, shocked. Demons in the middle of the city? He knows this dungeon break wasn't supposed to happen yet according to his memory of the original timeline. Mall staff are screaming for everyone to follow them to safety. The raiders are supposedly on their way, but things are getting chaotic. Hoyeon's dad is already making a run for it. He yells back, asking if Hoyeon is not coming. He's looking out for number one. The dad reminds him he's a genius who will control the future of South Korea. He's still thinking about the investment. He tells Hoyeon that if he gets hurt here, he'll be at a disadvantage for the Milea's entrance event. He says there's no need to get involved here. Hoyeon just stands there, watching the crowd flee. He looks totally conflicted. He realizes his father is right. The official raiders will be here soon. But in the meantime, demons are already tearing through the building and people are dying. Hoyeon's eyes sharpen under his cap. This is a chance, he thinks. He's done being a tool. He takes off, his feet hitting the ground with a loud thud. He's choosing the path of a real hero. His dad is screaming in the background, yelling for Hoyeon to get back here right now. Hoyeon doesn't even look back. He thinks it's a chance to prove his worthiness and independence as a raider. This is his declaration of freedom. He sprints through the empty mall streets, a lone silver-haired blur against the wreckage. He has to check if the current him is someone his mother would be proud of. He visualizes his mom in the hospital. This is his real motivation for getting stronger. Suddenly, he stops. He's sensed something in the shadows. A low-rank goblin-like demon jumps out. It looks feral and hungry. He's not just facing one, he's surrounded. A whole pack of demons is closing in from every alleyway. Hoyeon is totally frozen. Sweat is pouring down his face as he realizes the danger is real. His body won't move. The pressure is making his pupils shake. He's having a literal panic attack in the middle of a demon swarm. The demons screech and lunge at him. He's completely defenseless. He curses, "Damn it." Hoyeon is staring at his shaking hand, telling it to move. He's trapped in his own fear. A big text box emphasizes his failure. You were where it was going to be dangerous. The demons are seconds away from tearing him apart. It looks like it's game over for the genius. A demon jumps through the air with a knife, aimed right for Hoyeon's throat. A voice cuts through the chaos, asking how he can be so afraid of a mere low-rank demon when he's been dreaming of becoming a raider for so long. The voice is right behind him. Hoyeon looks up, totally dazed. A massive kick sends the demon flying. Someone just stepped in and saved the day. Hoyeon's hair is blown back by the shockwave. He stares in awe at his savior. Jae-yoon stands there, looking totally cool in the middle of the carnage. He's the wall between Hoyeon and the monsters. Close up on Jae-hyun's face as he looks down at the shivering boy, starting to say his name. Hoyeon is wide-eyed, gasping for air. He can't believe a fellow student is this powerful. Jae-yoon asks if it's Hoyeon, recognizing the silver hair. Flashback to earlier, Jae-hyun is buying that piece of rock, Misteltein, from the unknown item corner for 50 million won. He's definitely a high roller. Park Hana is freaking out in the background, yelling his name and asking why he's at the unknown item corner. Jae-hyun looks at the rock, smirking. He wonders if it looks like just a rock to other people's eyes. He knows he found a literal treasure. He hides the rock and tells Hana it's nothing. He's already planning his next upgrade. He decides he doesn't need to buy a standard weapon either. He's got his own plans. Hana looks worried as the speakers crackle again. The announcement about the dungeon break hits the room. Jae-hyun isn't running for the exit, he's running for the fight. Jae-hyun's eye glows orange, and he thinks of the demons. He's already in battle mode. He takes off like a rocket, leaving Hana shouting his name in the dust. He crashes through a massive glass window. Shards are flying everywhere as he dives into the fray. He lands perfectly in a cloud of dust. This dude has some serious main character energy. He surveys the street, which is absolutely swarming with demons. He activates a massive mana circle around his feet. The ground is literally cracking from the pressure. A huge explosion of magic incinerates the center of the demon pack. Shards and smoke fill the air. Jae-hyun walks through the smoking crater, totally unfazed, thinking there are more than he expected. Close up on his focused orange eye, he knows he needs to clear the area fast before anyone gets hurt. He fires another massive yellow lightning strike. 2 more groups of demons are wiped out instantly. He's leaping over rooftops and wreckage, moving like an acrobat. He dives down and delivers a crushing kick to a demon's head. He's a total beast in combat. He stops and looks around, sensing another presence, recognizing someone. He finds Hoyeon, who looks absolutely pitiful sitting on the ground without his cap. Hoyeon is trembling, whispering about his hat like he's lost his security blanket. Jae-hyun thinks to himself, to think he'd see the unfortunate genius, Hoyeon, in a place like this. He knows this kid's future reputation. Hoyeon looks up at him, totally lost. Jae-hyun realizes he's a fellow Miles student. The text confirms it, right, he's a fellow Miles student. Jae-hyun starts walking past him, saying whatever, he needs his help. He's not taking no for an answer. Hoyeon screams, "Wait, behind you," as a demon lunges at Jaehyun's back. Jaehyun just charges a massive golden fire orb in his hand, not even looking back. He says he knows. Boss move. Close up on Hoyeon's terrified face, Jaehyun explains, "They can't let the demons get to where the people are." Jaehyun looks back over his shoulder with a cold stare, asking if he plans on staying there on the ground. He points his finger and yells for him to get his shit together and wield his weapon. It's exactly the wake-up call Hoyeon needed. Hoyeon finally finds his resolve and stands up, saying, "Okay," he's ready to fight. He thinks to himself, weirdly, when he heard him say that. He clenches his hand and looks at his feet. The shivering has finally stopped. The shivering that was holding him prisoner stopped. He's officially broken his mental blocks. Hoyeon watches Jaehyun's silhouette walk toward the monsters. He thinks, yes, that's a true raider. He's found a real role model. Jaehyun looks back, smirking through the smoke, thinking about what he has to do now. Hoyeon draws his sword, looking focused for the first time in years, thinking he has to save people. The dream is back. See you in the next one. Wide shot of the absolute wreckage left behind at the mall. Jaehyun and Hoyeon are walking together through the dust and rubble like they've just finished a light workout. Jaehyun gets straight to business, asking Hoyeon if he knows how to use the skill Aggravate. He tells the kid to get his head in the game and start aggroing the demons nearby. He points out that the area is crawling with goblins and warns Hoyeon not to miss a single one. He orders him to lure in as many as he can, sounding like a veteran raid leader. Hoyeon looks up, determination finally replacing the fear in his eyes. Blue energy starts sparking around him as he tells himself he can't afford to hesitate anymore. Hoyeon readies his sword with a sharp motion. He's accepted the challenge and is ready to do his part in this fight. He takes a long, deep breath to steady his nerves. This is the moment the genius finally steps up to the plate. System ping. Hoyeon activates the active skill, Cry of Aggravation. This is a high-level tanking move that's definitely out of place for a student. A massive radial shockwave of mana blasts outward from Hoyeon. The system confirms, demons within a 50-meter radius are watching you. Total aggro achieved. The nearby goblins are immediately triggered, their heads snapping toward the noise. The skill is pulsing with an intense blue light, drawing them in like moths to a flame. Another pack of goblins lets out a collective screech. The Cry of Aggravation is working like a charm, turning Hoyeon into a literal demon magnet. The demon's eyes glow a sinister red as they launch a full-on charge. They're completely focused on Hoyeon now, ignoring everything else. Jaehyun watches the chaos from the sidelines with a calculating look. He notes that Hoyeon is already at a level high enough to pull off such a sophisticated skill. He starts reminiscing about the original timeline. Before he regressed, the highest rank Hoyeon ever reached was B rank. He remembers that despite the hype, Hoyeon broke under the pressure very quickly. That tragic end is exactly why people called him the genius of misfortune. Jaehyun's orange eyes glow with a cold intensity. But who cares, he thinks, looking totally unfazed by the kid's past or future failure. Bold white text on a black background hammers the point home. A weak nadir can be fixed. This is the core of Jaehyun's philosophy. He sees Hoyeon's potential as a very useful tool for his own goals. He's definitely recruiting for his future squad right now. Hoyeon is in the thick of it, surrounded by lightning and swirling mana. He screams, yes, as he finally starts fighting for himself. A massive yellow mana strike vaporizes a goblin in a single hit. The power output is insane for a student his age. Hoyeon follows up with a lethal wide swing, his blade carving through the air with a sharp sound. Goblins are dropping like flies around him. The battle is over as quickly as it started. Jaehyun and Hoyeon stand tall amidst the smoking piles of demon corpses. A man in a tan trench coat walks out of the smoke, looking completely bewildered and asking, "What is all this?" as he stares at the carnage. The two boys turn to face the newcomer. Hoyeon looks exhausted, but Jaehyun is as calm as ever. Close up on the official, Park Gyung-hoon. He looks like a tired salaryman who's just walked into a literal nightmare scenario. Gyung-hoon introduces himself as a member of the National Raider Association's management. He asks the million-dollar question, "Did you two take care of all these goblins?" Hoyeon is stammering out a frantic, "Yes, yes," while Jaehyun just gives the official a cool, silent stare. Gyung-hoon is doing a mental ID check. He recognizes Hoyeon's signature ash hair and eyes, wondering if this really is the legendary genius. He rubs his neck, admitting he has no idea how to explain this to his bosses. Two high schoolers soloing a mini-horde is a logistical nightmare for him. The text reiterates his shock. The other one looks about the same age too, yet these two took care of all the demons on their own. Jaehyun breaks the silence with a cold, focused look, saying he was going to talk to him about that anyway. He's taking control of the situation. He suggests a cover-up. Just tell the higher-ups that the association handled the demons. He points out pragmatically that no one would believe they did it. Gyung-hoon looks skeptical, pointing out that what Jaehyun is asking is technically against the law. He's a guy who likes his paperwork clean. Jaehyun doesn't miss a beat. Well, he says, no one's watching though. He points out the lack of working CCTV in this disaster zone. Kyung-hoon eventually shrugs and agrees. He figures if they don't want the fame, he might as well make his life easier. Jaehyun looks at Hoyeon and tells him he'll still get rewarded for the raid. He's looking out for his new investment. He tells the official to just give his share of the reward to Hoyeon and keep it a secret that he was even there. Hoyeon is absolutely speechless. Jaehyun knows he doesn't need the petty cash as long as he has the Lotus Guild's black card. He's playing for much bigger stakes. He realizes it's way more beneficial to have a talent like An Hoyeon indebted to him. The long game is the only game he plays. Kyung-hoon says it's manageable, but Hoyeon finally finds his voice and yells for him to wait. Hoyeon is confused and outraged, asking what he's talking about since Jaehyun defeated them all. He can't believe Jaehyun is just handing over the win. Jaehyun gives a small, mysterious smirk. He's determined not to draw any unwanted attention before he enters Mill's academy. He shuts down any more questions with a simple, he has his reasons. Hoyeon is left staring at him in awe. Jaehyun thinks back to his first life. He had no talent back then, and he was just an average D-rank warrior. He clenches his hand, thinking about his revenge. He has to keep things on the down low for now. His revenge has to be quiet and discreet. A silhouette of young Jaehyun appears. He knows he has to grow strong in a place where his father can't reach him. Bloody red marks cover the screen. He's waiting for the perfect moment to rip his throat out. This kid is motivated by pure spite. Hoyeon is having a moral crisis, wondering what he should do since it's something he couldn't have done on his own. He looks at Jaehyun's back, feeling that it's not right to take credit for another person's victory. But then he thinks of his mother in the hospital. With this money, he might be able to help better mother's condition. He wanted to be a raider with integrity, but the reality of his bank account is a much harsher master. The dark thought hits him. If he lets this money go and his mother passes away because he couldn't pay for treatment, could he handle that? He's really struggling with the choice between his honor and his family's life. Jaehyun picks up on the vibe. He notes that Hoyeon's expression is way too serious for this to be just about his ego. He decides to give the kid a little nudge, thinking he should help him decide. Then, he turns around and tells Hoyeon to just think about it logically for a second. He reminds him that his actions were significant and that had he hesitated, people might have actually died. He tells him not to feel like he doesn't deserve it. Jaehyun is a master at making people feel justified in their difficult choices. Hoyeon looks down, his resolve finally softening. He whispers that he's right, accepting the reality of the situation. A bold text box summarizes his realization. IT wasn't something I should have hesitated on in the first place. Hoyeon admits that if he'd lost someone important while overthinking, his dream would have been meaningless. He promises to repay Jaehyun for this favor. Kyung-hoon watches them from behind, thinking to himself that Jaehyun is surprisingly good at dealing with people. The official agrees to continue with the plan, calling Jaehyun an extraordinary guy. Jaehyun turns to walk away, saying yes, he'll get going now. He's got other things to do than babysit a genius. Hoyeon calls out after him, desperate. He wants to please tell him his name and number at least. He's definitely not letting this connection go. Jaehyun gives a casual wave over his shoulder and a bright smile. He tells Hoyeon not to bother with the formal speech since they're the same age. And since they're both entering mills, they'll see each other often. He's already making plans for their high school years together. Hoyeon is left completely stunned, wondering if they're the same age. He can't wrap his head around another teen being that powerful. The text summarizes the arc. THUS-MY preparations for Miles were complete. Time skip. It's the first day of Miles Academy, and the auditorium is absolutely packed with noisy students. Gossip is already flying. Someone asks if that's him, the genius martial arts dude. Another replies, An Hoyeon? He's just a different breed. Suddenly, a girl with long dark hair walks past. Someone asks who that is though, saying she's really pretty. Close up on the new beauty. She's got a very cool, distant aura that sets her apart from the rest of the rookies. Her name is dropped in a big text box, SEO Ina. Jaehyun is in the crowd with Kim Yojung. He notes that Ina is already the center of attention, which is to be expected of a future top-tier raider. He thinks it would be advantageous to bring her to his side eventually, but he notes she's different from the others. He realizes there's no need to rush things since he's already got a solid crew with Seonjun, Hoyeon, and Jaesang. Yojung catches him staring and teases him. Hey, she says, I know she's pretty, but it's kinda creepy when you keep staring like that. Jaehyun is totally caught red-handed. Close up on Seo Ina's face. She's definitely going to be a major player in this story. The ceremony officially begins as a voice calls out, Nice to meet you, students. A man with a wide, slightly creepy smile takes the stage, saying he is the chairman, Gu Ja-in. Jaehyun's face goes dark. He remembers exactly what this guy looked like from his first life. Gu Ja-in, I guess this is the start. A sudden, dark flashback of Kim Yojung bleeding and crying out. This is the tragedy Jaehyun is here to prevent. Back in the present, he looks at Yojung, who is standing safely beside him. He's not going to let that happen again. He tells her to be strong, reminding her that anything could happen at a place like Mills. Yo-jung just gives him a bright smile and asks why he's suddenly acting so caring. She promises not to worry, she's gonna do super well. Jae-hyun remembers she was actually a top 3 mage student. He hardens his resolve. He won't let her die this time. Guja-in continues on stage, saying they're about to officially begin the entrance ceremony. He leans in with a smirk, saying that a normal ceremony would just be boring for elite students like them. He begins to say that you all should already know. As he reaches out a hand and the atmosphere in the room changes, he gives a sinister, wide grin, saying at Mills' entrance ceremony, there's a special event prepared. The rules are simple. All students, new and old, have to try and steal each other's name cards in an enclosed space. WE will now begin the new student hunt. It's officially a battle royale, folks. Suddenly, a massive magic circle erupts on the floor. The students are being teleported out of the hall. Someone asks what's going on. It's a magic circle. The room is filled with white light as the teleportation magic takes hold. Yoo-jung screams as the light starts to consume her. She looks totally panicked. She loses her footing as the ground disappears beneath her. She's being pulled into the unknown. Jae-hyun yells her name, diving toward her, saying it's dangerous if she falls. He grabs her hand with a loud thud just in time. He's not letting her go through this alone. He pulls her into a tight hug as the magic swirls around them. He's acting as her human shield. The teleportation completes in a brilliant flash of blue light. Cut back to Representative Park Sung-jae. He notes that today is Jae-hyun's first day at the academy. Song-gun is there too, looking a bit regretful. She realizes time has flown by and she forgot to send him a good luck text. Sung-jae asks if the new student hunt is 3 days long this year as well. He knows how brutal the event is. Song-gun looks worried. She notes that they won't be able to contact him for the entire 3-day duration. Sung-jae reveals he already sent a text in her stead yesterday. She asks what he said, curious. Sung-jae smirks, pulling up his phone, and starts to tell her. Back in the hunt area, Jae-hyun and Yoo-jung have landed in a lush forest under a clear blue sky. Yoo-jung is looking like she's about to throw up, groaning. Jae-hyun just asks if she's okay with a deadpan look. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears behind a nearby tree. They're already being watched. Close up on Jae-hyun's glowing orange eye. He's already recognized the intruder, thinking it's that kid. It's Seo Aina. She's standing in the shadows, looking as cool and deadly as ever. Jae-hyun remembers her fate, and she will become an S-rank raider after Yoo Song-gun. He recalls her stats, a 92 in magic aptitude. She's the genius who is supposed to revolutionize the mage class. Back in the office, Song-gun looks at Jae-hyun's reply. He said not to worry. Close up on Seo Aina's face. The hunt just got a lot more interesting. We're cutting to the Mills Academy central control room. This place looks like a high-tech fortress designed to watch every move the students make. A group of instructors is marching down the hall, led by some very serious-looking dudes. You can tell the mood in this place is strictly professional. The staff are discussing the crop of talent this year. They specifically mention that An Hoyeon is so promising he's already getting scouted by international guilds. They move on to the magicians, noting that cadets like Seo Aina, Kim Yoo-jung, and Lee Soo-hyuk all hit aptitude scores of 90 or higher. That's elite tier, no matter how you slice it. Instructor Kim Seok-gi mentions that some cadets have changed their career paths, but the profiles haven't been updated yet. He's clearly trying to keep things organized. Chairman Gu Ja-in is just chilling in his chair, looking totally unimpressed. He tells them not to bother, claiming whimsical people who change paths on a whim don't belong here. The narration notes that while everyone at Mills is talented, there's always a few who are just a cut above the rest. We see some basic cadets training, but they're just background noise compared to the main cast. An Hoyeon is shown again, looking cool and distant. He's the gold standard for the current generation of warriors. Chairman Gu Ja-in gives a sinister little smile. He calls average talents stepping stones for real geniuses. This guy is definitely not winning any Teacher of the Year awards. He holds up a small remote, talking about giving people another chance at reawakening. He's sounding more like a cult leader every second. We see a dark vision of raiders drowning in blood-red silhouettes. Ja-in believes that if 100 C-rank raiders have to be thrown away to train one A-rank, it's a price worth paying. He thinks those who fail were simply unable to prove themselves. Talk about a brutal philosophy. This dude basically sees his students as disposable batteries. The chairman looks out over his domain, thinking that his real role is just to pick out excellent gems to offer to some mysterious him. Who's the puppet master here? He touches a ring on his finger, muttering that he can't delay things any longer. The clock is ticking for whatever dark ritual he has planned. The freshman hunt is explained as taking place in a man-made demi-plane created with high-level magic. It looks like a literal galaxy trapped in a sphere. Inside this plane, the school can control time and space, making it the perfect and most dangerous training ground. Jae-yoon looks up at the fake sun, already sensing the weirdness. The The stakes are real. Around 5% of cadets fail this event every single year. Failing here means your career as a raider is over before it even started. Yojung and Jaehyun are crouched in the brush, looking weary. This event is designed to make you realize just how limited your abilities really are. Jaehyun keeps his eyes peeled, warning Yojung that they can't let their guard down for even a second. He knows how cutthroat these seniors can be. Suddenly, Seo Ina appears in the clearing, her long, dark hair flowing. She looks like a predator searching for prey. Jaehyun is specifically worried about her. He remembers from the future that she's a variable he can't easily predict or control. Chairman Gu Jae-in's creepy grin fills the screen again. He's about to announce the rules of the game. His face appears on floating magic screens throughout the demiplane, saying he shall now explain the rules of the freshman hunt. Rule number 1. Students can only use skills that are C rank or below. This is a massive nerf for our boy Jaehyun. The goal is simple: steal name tags. Each name tag you snag earns you points for the semester. The point distribution is totally unfair. A senior taking a freshman tag gets 10,000 points, but a freshman taking a senior tag gets a massive 100,000. It's a high-risk, high-reward bait. Jaehyun's eyes narrow as he processes the rank limit. This is a direct hit to his arsenal. He realizes this basically seals his A-rank skill, Lightning Chain. He's going to have to get creative if he wants to win. But then he notices a loophole. The chairman didn't say a single word about unique skills. Our boy has a secret weapon. The chairman signs off with a cheerful, "I hope that you all have a great time," which sounds like a total lie coming from him. He adds one last detail: all skill power is diminished to 1/10 of its usual level for safety. Yeah, okay buddy, more like to make the struggle last longer. Jaehyun looks up at the sky and mutters, "Bullshit." He sees right through the chairman's fake concern. Seo Ina looks cold and detached. Jaehyun knows the chairman's real goal is just filtering out the weak and picking the most talented gems. The text confirms the chairman's dark intent, filtering out the useless ones, and picking out the talented. Yojung looks genuinely scared, realizing the academy is basically a shark tank. Jaehyun tells Yojung they need to get moving. He wants to find a shelter immediately since they have to survive in here for 3 whole days. The narrator explains that the demiplane has several survival features hidden throughout. There are traps that give debuffs, healing ponds, and even a nightmare forest. It's basically a twisted amusement park. The key is finding a stable ecosystem for food and shelter. You can't plan a counterattack if you're starving or freezing. You needed a place to stay before you could plan for anything else. Jaehyun is thinking like a true survivalist. Yojung points out Seo Ina in the distance, asking if it wouldn't be safer to bring that person along. She notes Ina looks like another magic cadet and thinks having more numbers is always better in a battle royale. Jaehyun isn't so sure. He knows Ina is a powerhouse, but he's worried about her temperament. Flashback of Ina in the future, surrounded by a terrifying white mana. Jaehyun thinks to himself, she isn't a variable he can control. He remembers a news report from the original timeline. Ina was a top-tier raider, but things ended badly. Apparently, she lost her senses in anger and ended up jeopardizing the lives of a lot of people. She's a loose cannon. He tells Yojung it's not an easy decision to make, asking if she can say for certain that she won't betray them. He points at Ina, who looks incredibly wary of them, saying she doesn't seem to trust them one bit. Jaehyun and Ina share a tense look. The air is practically crackling with mutual suspicion. Yojung pipes up, telling Jaehyun that Ina is exactly like he was when they were younger, lonely and defensive. Before Jaehyun can stop her, Yojung runs toward Ina, waving her hands. Jaehyun shouts for her to wait, totally caught off guard. Yojung gives Ina a friendly invite. She asks, if it's alright, would you like to come with us? The two of us are magicians too. Close up on Ina's piercing yellow eye. She's analyzing them, looking for any sign of a trap. Jaehyun sighs, realizing she has a point. Magicians have a harder time solo, so grouping up is the only logical move. Ina gives a flat what, looking totally baffled by the sudden friendliness. Suddenly, the wind picks up and a massive sandstorm begins to swirl around them. 2 figures emerge from the dust with a violent landing. The seniors have arrived. The seniors, Shin Jun-sung and Kwon Soil, look like they're having the time of their lives. Jun-sung laughs that it seems like they'll have an easy time earning points this year. Soil, a blonde senior, looks confused, saying she only detected 2. She points at the group, her eyes wide with shock. Jun-sang stares at Jaehyun, his face going pale. What the hell, he thinks, I can't feel anything from that guy. Jaehyun is a literal ghost to their sensors. Jaehyun stares them down, cold and ready. He knows these guys aren't magicians, they're warriors. Yojung is panicking, asking if they should just make a run for it. Hey, she says, those seniors are warriors, wouldn't it be best to escape? Jaehyun doesn't move an inch. No, we have to catch them here. We won't be able to escape from them anyway. He remembers Soil from his past life. She has a unique skill that lets her find any target she focuses on within 300 kilometers. Running is literally useless. Close up on Soil's eyes glowing as she activates her skill, Search. She's already locked on. Jaehyun knows if they don't take these two out now, they'll just round up more seniors and hunt them down as a pack later. Junsang tries to stay cocky, telling Soil not to be careless even though there's something strange about that hottie. He charges forward with a massive blade, laughing. He says he's still just a freshman, and it's not like they've only run in this event once or twice. He yells for them to just watch. He'll take care of them all in an instant. He swings down with a loud thud. Jaehyun gives a sly, side-eye look. He's got a surprise waiting for this overconfident senior. Jaehyun blocks the strike with his bare arm. The impact is huge, but he's not even flinching. Junsong's jaw is on the floor. He can't believe a magic freshman just parried his sword with his arm. Soil mocks her partner from the sidelines, saying seriously, "You fat bastard, I told you something was off about him." Jaehyun looks totally bored, saying it's been a while since someone swung a sword at him. He's clearly not intimidated by a student-level attack. Soil warns Junsang again, her expression getting serious. This freshman is not normal. Junsang grinds his teeth, claiming the block was just luck. He's definitely in denial about the power gap. He screams there's no way he wouldn't know the name of a freshman skilled enough to counter his attack. He launches into a series of rapid slashes. Junsang is huffing and puffing, sweating buckets as Jaehyun continues to dodge every single hit. He screams, "Why?" totally losing it. Jaehyun moves like a shadow, weaving through the blade's path with effortless grace. It's like he's playing with a toddler. He suddenly closes the distance and pins Junsong's arm, asking how on earth he was able to survive with such a physique all this time. Ouch, that's a heavy burn. Jaehyun delivers a point-blank punch that shatters the senior's defense and sends him crashing into the ground. Seo Aina is left completely speechless. She's never seen a magician fight like a close-quarters combat specialist before. Jaehyun towers over the fallen senior. He says if he leaves his name tag behind right now, he'll let him go. He'll give him 3 seconds. He's not messing around. Close up on Jaehyun's glowing orange eyes as he reaches out a hand, telling him to leave his name tag and scram. The boss has arrived at the academy. End of chapter 24. Shin Junsong is sweating buckets, pinned to the ground and absolutely terrified. Those mana shards are flying everywhere. He's lucky he's still in one piece. He's having a literal existential crisis right now. He thinks he can't believe this, unable to process how a magic freshman is currently mopping the floor with him. Jaehyun towers over him like a grim reaper, those orange eyes glowing through the shadows. Junsong is shaking, wondering why this kid looks like he's ready to commit a felony. Close up on Jaehyun's mouth as he delivers the coldest line of the day. "Don't say I didn't give you a chance. Yeah, okay buddy, you're officially a menace." Jaehyun delivers a massive overhead punch that looks like it could level a small building. Junsong is definitely feeling that one in the morning. Kwon Soil is just standing there in shock, her hair blowing in the wind as she watches her partner get deleted. She realized the vibe just shifted from easy points to run for your life. A pillar of blue mana light shoots into the sky, signaling an exit. System message: player Shin Junsang has been eliminated. 1 down, 1 to go. Back in the control room, the instructors are losing their minds. One notes that the first eliminator amongst the freshmen has appeared, clearly not expecting the mages to be this aggressive. The leaderboard updates, and it is absolutely staggering. Player Min Jae-hyun has obtained 100,000 points. He's basically speedrunning the semester on day 1. Instructor Jong Yisu is staring at the screen in total disbelief, asking if it's not An Hoyan but a Min Jae-hyun. Her whole worldview is being challenged right now. She asks the room who that is, but no one has an answer. The dark horse of the freshman class has officially arrived and he's kicking doors down. The instructors are scrambling to check the data. One says no, Instructor Jong Yisu, there's nothing wrong with the results. They're double-checking the system because they literally can't believe a freshman did this. Instructor Kim Ji-yeon confirms everything is legit on her end. The mystery of the OP newbie is only getting deeper for the academy staff. Chairman Gu Ja-in is just sitting there with that punchable, smug grin. He's the only one who doesn't look surprised, which is honestly more terrifying. Close up on the chairman's face, he looks like a proud parent who just watched their kid win the lottery. He's definitely got plans for our boy Jaehyun. Back on the field, Kwon Soil is fuming with rage, screaming, "Why oh you? What the hell are you?" She's totally rattled by her partner's defeat. Jaehyun is already moving on to the next target. He calls out to Yoo-jung to get ready and accept his party invite. Yoo-jung is trying to keep up with the chaos. Yoo-jung checks her system notifications and sees the party confirmation. She looks at Jaehyun's back, wondering if he was always this strong. She's getting a front row seat to his evolution. Seo-ina is still lurking in the background, holding her staff and watching the whole thing go down. She's like a silent judge, analyzing the potential of her new teammate. Soil grits her teeth, cursing out her fallen partner. "Ha! Shin Junsong, you stupid. Things have gotten more complicated. She knows a 3-on-1 is a death sentence." Wide shot of the trio Jaehyun, Yoo-jung, and Ina. They look like a literal boss raid team. Soil realizes that even without the monster freshman, this fight is way too dangerous for her. She readies her twin daggers, her eyes narrowing. She thinks she should get rid of at least one of them and get away from here. She's picking the path of least resistance. Soil takes off like a blur. She's moving so fast, she's barely a shadow against the white snow. She appears right in front of Yoojung in the blink of an eye, Yoojung yells, caught off guard by the senior's sudden burst of speed. Yoojung doesn't panic though. She immediately starts channeling a water spell, blue mana swirling around her staff to create a defensive blast. Jaehyun watches with a smirk, noting it's not a bad decision. He's analyzing Soil's desperation move with clinical precision. Soil's strategy is simple. Cause a mess with a rush attack, find an opening, and bail. It's the best plan she could come up with in a losing situation. However, a massive wall of blue mana erupts between the two. The power level is definitely higher than it should be for a normal student. Soil is absolutely floored, wondering how she was able to react in time to her speed. She didn't expect the childhood friend to have reflexes on par with the seniors. Yoojung's eyes flare with an intense orange light. The narrator notes that Soil's plan would only work if Kim Yoojung were just an ordinary person. Spoiler alert, she's definitely not. Yoojung shouts, "Binding!" and magical water chains whip out to ensnare the senior. Soil barely manages to leap back with an annoyed sound. Soil grips her daggers tight, her breathing getting heavy. She's being forced into a corner by a couple of freshies, and it's wounding her pride. Soil is suddenly bombarded by a barrage of mana projectiles. She's taking hits all over as the freshmen keep up the relentless pressure. Yoojung is in total control of the field, her staff glowing as she clashes magic against Soil's raw speed. She looks like a totally different person in battle mode. Jaehyun watches the fight, his arm crackling with yellow lightning. He thinks he should probably step in, worried that a senior might still be too much for Yoojung to handle alone. Suddenly, a new chant begins, Holy Light of Alfheim. A pause icon appears in the air, signaling the activation of a high-tier skill. Seoina steps forward, finishing the incantation. Form a radiant holy sword. Her eyes are glowing with a terrifyingly calm light. A colossal pillar of divine light crashes down from the sky. Fraction of Alfheim. It's a move that looks more like an S-rank ultimate than a student spell. Jaehyun is stunned into silence. He's getting a first-hand look at the power of the genius he remembered from the future. The holy sword is starting to solidify. The radiant blade pierces through Kwon Soil with zero effort. The speed and power are just on a completely different level. Soil collapses into the snow, coughing up mana. "Ah, damn it," she groans, realizing her hunt just ended in total humiliation. She thinks all three of them were monsters. The truth is final. System message. Player Kwon Soil has been eliminated. The points are being handed out. Corresponding to the level of contribution, player Kim Yoojung's has obtained 50,000 points. Yoojung is huffing, clearly wiped out from the effort. Seoina also scores a cool 50,000 points. She stands there totally unfazed, asking if by any chance she interrupted. She's the literal personification of no chill. Yoojung flashes a bright, happy smile. "No way! I won thanks to you!" She's already treating Ina like a new best friend. Jaehyun stares at Ina, realizing he definitely needs to reevaluate her potential. He asks if her offer from before is still valid. He's ready to make a deal. He notes she's taciturn, distrusting, and, well, incredibly talented. He's definitely seeing the value in having her on the squad. Seoina gives him a tiny, almost unnoticeable side-eye. She's finally lowering her guard just enough to let them in. System ping, you have formed a party. The dream team is official. Leader Min Jaehyun, members Kim Yoojung and Seoina. Cut to a different part of the forest, the Nightmare Forest, nearby shelter. It's a glowing blue dome nestled among the purple trees. Looks cozy, if you ignore the monsters. A senior finds a massive footprint in the mud. He notes that there are signs people have passed by this way, tracking the freshies like a bloodhound. Two seniors are conferring in the woods. They know about the freshmen who wiped out Junsong and Soil, and they're looking for a bit of payback. The senior leader gives the orders, telling the others to stop searching for now and just keep an eye around here. He's setting a stakeout. They're watching the shelter dome from the shadows. The narrator reminds us that this hunt is a marathon, not a sprint. They have 3 whole days to catch their prey. The seniors are smirking, convinced the brats can't hide forever. Now, let's see what those great freshies look like, shall we? Yeah, you're about to find out, buddy. They're lurking in the bushes, waiting for movement. The forest atmosphere is thick with purple fog and tension. Suddenly, one of the seniors snaps his head around. A blue beam of light just zipped past his head with a ping sound. Someone's shooting. Player Kim Sung-hoon has been eliminated. One of the seniors just got vaporized into data before he could even draw his weapon. Talk about a rude awakening. The leader is panicking, pointing into the trees. He stammers that it's over there. They finally spotted their attacker. Yoojung is seen darting through the trees. She's moving fast, staff in hand, playing the part of the perfect bait. The senior screams, "Damn, catch her!" They're charging through the forest after her, completely falling for the oldest trick in the book. Yoojung gives a cheeky little smirk over her shoulder, counting if there are about 5 of them. She's making sure the whole pack is following her. She lets out a confident breath. Everything is going exactly according to plan. She's leading them right into the lion's den. She starts trash-talking them while she runs. "Ah, really? You're like dogs after a bone. You moving around in such a big group. Aren't you embarrassed?" The disrespect is absolute. The senior leader is red-faced and screaming, "Yo, you, stop right there." He's completely lost his cool, which is exactly what she wanted. Yo-jung keeps on sprinting, laughing to herself. She thinks how simple-minded they are as she nears the final phase of the trap. In a dark, secluded part of the woods, Jae-hyun is waiting patiently. He's the anvil to Yoo-jung's hammer. Flashback to their strategy session in the shelter. Jae-hyun pointed out that staying holed up is a losing move. They need food, and more importantly, they need points. He says more than anything, they need to obtain points. Jae-hyun is focused on the objective, acting more like a seasoned veteran than a new student. Yoo-jung and Ina are both staring at him, realizing he's not just talking about survival. "Hey you mean..." Jae-hyun gives that signature wicked smirk. Yeah, he's done being the prey. "We're gonna hunt some seniors." The title card for the counterattack just dropped. It's time for the freshmen to take over. Yoo-jung stops dead in her tracks in a new clearing. She's reached the designated spot for the ambush. The seniors are hot on her heels, charging blindly into a field of strange, yellow, glowing mushrooms. They have no idea what they just walked into. A red system warning flares up. WI yarning. A Class 1 organism that bestows a deb lives here. It's a literal minefield. Yoo-jung looks back with a gotcha expression, saying she found it. Her eyes are glowing as she prepares to bail. Wind boost activated. She takes off like a rocket, leaving a trail of blue mana. She's leaving the rest to Jae-hyun, trusting him to finish the job. The seniors are left standing in the middle of the mushroom field, looking totally confused. A text box reminds us, "IFU, fail, you're dead." The final notification confirms the trap. YOU have entered the paralyzing spore mushroom habitat. It's game over for the seniors. See you in the next one.